양주
또 진짜 이 좁은 구역에서 상대방 계속 붙들어 놓으니까
예.
오케이 그럼 시야만 따고 내려갈게요 였는데 아니면은 이거
얀.
자, 일단은 에어본 잘 들어갔고요.
그래.
근데 일단 기적 실현 타이밍이 정말 좋았어요.
자, 그런데 기적 실현 타이밍이 좋았지만 더 뭐가 보이지는 않아요.
양호수 타이밍 완벽했고요.
자, 이러면 샬롯 혼자 남았을 때 살아나갈 수가 없고 셀리는요 더
그렇죠.
불가능하거든. 너무 아파.
잠시만요. 강풍.
한대
안돼.
연아.
받고 나가는데 근데 문제는
좋아요.
이거를 CNJ가
CNJ.
보고 있거든요. CNJ 시야 잡아놨기 때문에
뿅.
너네 이거 왜 밀려나고 있어 하면서 킬 하나 챙겼고요.
자, 그런데 여기서
제키도 옵니다.
이스까지도 잡아낼 수 있을 것 같은데요.
근데 이거 역으로 CNJ도 휩쓸.
터미네이트 일단 해놨는데
뒤쪽으로 KW,
말씀해주신 것처럼 휩쓸리는 각이 나오다가도 자 KW 너무 잘 들어가서 일단 교환이 됐습니다. 나쁘지 않아요.
자, 그리고 승전보 지금 들어오게 되면서 이러면 CNJ 이득.
와 이거 이득 진짜 크게 봤습니다. 잡는다면 얘기가 달라지긴 해요.
자, 35초 정도 남아있었는데 일단 먼저 알론소부터 포커싱 여기에 스펠 투자가 좀 되고 있습니다.
자, 이거
잘
근데
버텨요.
잡아야 돼요. 막아야 돼요.
시간이 빨리 잡고 시간 벌고 잡았어요?
이러면
그 다음에
미드
여기서 뭐
위험하죠?
하나라도 잡으면 제키가 일단은 자 저기서 돌리고 있으니까
자, 한 명 잡아냈고
자,
두번째
지금
상태에서
들어왔거든요?
백수
와 근데
펠릭스 월드
진짜 펠릭스 회피로 열대를 회피한 것 같아요. 조금 더 걸어보는 거죠.
예.
불도 좀 돌리고
크로스피고 내려오고 있기 때문에 미르김이 이제 다시 진입합니다.
그나마 이제 변수로 하늘날이 타면서 들어가는 걸 좀 노려보려고 했었던 것 같은데 완전 뒤쪽까지 빠져 있었기 때문에 그런 변수가 강해지지 않았습니다. 하지만 자 거리 좀 나왔으니까 들어보는 거 자 짝컨으로 잘 끌어내줬어요.
이러면은 다시 한번 빈센 선수의 체력이 회복될 때까지 선을 봐야 되는데요.
그렇죠. 자 투원들 쉽지 않습니다. 그리고 여기서 전설. 자 메이킹
잠시만요.
하지만 펠릭스가 살아있어요. 펠릭스 봐야 돼요. 펠릭스
쉴드 되나요?
이후에 자 로마틱 혼자서 이거 메이킹 할 때는
쭉
지금
빠져서.
따라가야 돼요. 아까는 실시합니다. 따라가서 정선 필정
빗나가요.
자, 이거
들어가는데
꽃 모읍니다. 꽃 모아서 쉴드 턴에
로마틱
한번
와,
해주세요.
로마틱 로마틱
해피.
3초에 멜리를
와 로마틱.
10. 자, 스타면 위험할 수 있었던 상황이었고 이쪽은 프레이어 그리고 CNJ 스포츠.
자, 일단 일단 궁극기가 잘 깔리긴 했거든요. 리아의 게임.
오 이거 일단은
그리고 마무리.
오 정사필중을 쓰는 타이밍에는 미아 볼수 있어서 좀 좋았긴 하나요.
곡사 떨어지면서 가드 활용하고 있는 CNJ 위쪽에서 부산대 스타를 만났는데
와.
오, 로마틱,
제대로
로마틱,
걸었는데요. 이거 그냥 밀어버리죠.
와 그리고 시크포인트까지 그냥 덮어주니까 버틸 수가 없어요.
자, 4일차가 되자마자 또 이런 큰 승리를 만들어낸 CNJ와 이쪽은 아웃 오브 더 블루 그리고 양조 웨일즈입니다.
자, 그래도 페나 선수가 위쪽에 있는 질 선수 잡아내줬는데 이 다음에 구독딜을 할 수가 없는 환경인 것
그렇죠.
같은데요.
궁극기미 사용됐고요. 이렇게 되면 나가야죠. 살아야 됩니다.
자, 그래도 이나 회복 중.
한번 상대방 깊었으니까 클로이도 딜이 안 나오는 건 아니거든요. 지금 오전설이에요.
자, 다행히 데뷔마를렌 살아갑니다만. 자, 아웃 오브 블루 다시 한번 위쪽으로 올라가면서 양조 웨일즈와 거리가 가까운데요. 하지만 자, 수화 내려오면서 FN 태룡이 성당시야 가져갑니다.
위치 좋습니다. 상대방 못 빠져나가게 지금 세로를 막아버렸고
그렇죠.
거기 때문에 이제 상대방 못 나갔으니까 몰아 넣은 거 그대로 잡아먹는데요. 좋아요.
이러면 양조 웨일즈 터미네이트가 될 것 같습니다. 히카시 마무리하면서 예.
하나 남았고 자 지스 앞쪽으로 들어갔는데 오 강력 피했어요. 와 지금 자 지스기 진짜 여기서 메이킹을 너무나도 잘해줬기 때문에
자, 그러면 FN은요?
그렇죠. 완벽하게 그냥 뉴스타를 요리했죠, 지스.
네, 정말 힘든 상황이 좀 이루어지고 있는데 자, 일단 도전 한번 보겠습니다. 파랑색 한 번 뚫었고요.
한 번 더.
한 번 더. 와, 그래서 일단은 노바틱 선수가 프리디라는 구도가 나왔고 그리고 서은솔 선수가 오히려
와,
공격적으로
뒤쪽으로.
상대방을 쌈싸먹는 그림을 만들어 놨거든요.
네.
그렇죠. 니아 쪽을 뚫어주는 플레이가 너무 좋았고요. 그래서 부산 페스타가
오.
완전히 산계에 가면서 상대를
먹고 1등하면
여기서 한
0은 아니에요.
35점 정도 먹으면서 해야 될 것 같은데 일단
자, 근데
먹었습니다.
35점 만들어 가나요?
잠깐만 프레이어를 잡으면?
잡긴 했거든요. 자,
그러면 프레이어 일단 7점 마무리로 끝이고요.
TK가 17이 되어 가는 거죠, 지금.
자,
자,
모점까지
프리비티의 노래.
잡으면요.
자, 모점 일단은
그대로 마무리
가는
단
길에
한 대. 단 한 대.
끝까지 잡으러
잡아야
가야 돼요.
아.
그렇죠.
그래서 아웃 오브 더 블루 기회는 남았습니다.
다음 한번 걸어봐서
자, 한번 빨아들여 준 건데요. 그리고 대지메아를 끌고 들어가서 빈틈 잡아내면
빈틈 잡으면 변수가 사라졌어요. 잠깐만요. 이거 뒤쪽으로 뺐다가 하면
와,
되는데
빈지러시.
빈지러시 좋아요.
자, 그리고
빈틈 살아남고
승전보도
있는데.
받아주기 때문에 진 선수 살아남고
우와!
미드 게임 잡았는데요.
잠깐만요. 진짜예요?
잠깐만 27점이거든. 지금
해야 돼요.
그래도 해야죠.
해야죠.
아웃 오브 더 블루는 해야죠.
아웃 오브 더 블루 할 수 있는 팀이잖아요.
자, 해볼게요.
어,
따로 떨어졌을 때 대치고도 안 주겠다. 싸움 걸어봅니다.
페이스로
하지만 에어블이
나왔어요.
맞지 않았고
아,
필살
근데
양쪽 두개 빠졌어요.
버텼어요.
와,
버텼어요, 덴마.
상대방이 거리 조절 너무 좋아요. 아, 여기까지가요. 아웃 오브 더 블루.
세제 메아리가 활용이 되고
와,
이러면은
박무스 한 번, 로마트 선수의 무빙 한 번으로 살아남은 게 너무 큰데요.
자, 한 명 남아 3대1 구도. 부산 베스파는 너무 강했습니다. 당해주지
진짜.
않는데 당해주지 않네요, 로마틱.
판단은 정말 좋았거든요.
네.
결국 대치고도 주면 안 되니까 싸움 먼저 걸었고 마침 리오가 따로 떨어져 있었기 때문에 정말 좋은 상황이었는데 근데 그 뒤로 빠져주는 그 플레이들 그리고 수아의 커버 이런 게 너무 좋다 보니까 상황이 쉽지 않았습니다.
자, 위쪽으로 헤이즈 떨어지면요. 자, 다시 한번
자, 밖에는 좀 부족하죠.
그렇습니다. 자, 마지막 한 명까지 잡아내면 부산 베스파 무료. 이렇게 5일차가 다가오게 되면서 이제는 문의를 찾아 살릴 수 있는 시점이 되었는데요. 너무나 필중은 피해 나가고요.
조 선수가 좀 깊었죠.
자,
그래서 잡혔고.
와, 이거는 정사필중 맞추고 나서 한번 수아가 그러면은 이제 닿을 수 있는 거리가 되니까 한번 호응해봐 였던 것 같은데
이러면 리오까지 주게 되죠.
안 맞았고
리오
아,
괜찮아요?
맞았어요.
오!
요나 빠져나가면서 옆에서 모전 선수 보자 좋았습니다.
자, 이러면 CNJ도 괜찮아.
입니다. 섀도우 골든라이트가 6등으로 마무리되면서 8.5점을 가져간 이번 첫 번째
자,
라운드인데
요플레이가 따라왔는데요.
루미.
지금 이거 살리려고 가지고 왔는데
비켜!
자 끌어냈고 자
잡혔어요.
그럼 우리가 쓸게 빨리 잡어
잡고 시간 채우고
자,
프리레스로
좋아요. 오히려
정말 사이였네요.
시간까지
네.
들어갔습니다.
네, 사실 경기메이트 입장에서도 저런 구도로 사태가 먼저 물리면 위험했는데 자, 프레이야
너무 아픈데요. 이렇게 같이 들어오는 폭킹 구도 제로진 살아나갑니다만은
버텨봤는데 CNJ 위치를 알고 있기 때문에
이제인가요? 싸움을 이렇게 붙이다니.
와,
경기
자 그런데 로마티 거리 조절 좋거든요. 스톰 체이서 그러니까 이바가 지금 포킹 계속 때려보는데 스킬이 닿지 않고 있어요. 그러다 보니까 풀피 유지됐고요. 그리고 자 마지막 그쪽으로 왼쪽으로 이동하면서 먼저 뚫어야 되는 거 오버프라이드가 됐습니다. 서서히 빠져줬고요.
자, 이러면 늑대맹수 빠졌기 때문에 로마트
그렇죠.
선수도 할 말이 많아졌어요.
그 방출. 자, 헤이즈의 HP가 많이 깎인 상황에서 한 번 더 일단은 HP 회복턴을 봐야 하는 서은설.
그렇죠. 이 턴에 밀어내고서 오버프라이드가 좀 이득을 보겠다인 것 같은데 회복하고 오면 부산 베스파가 조금 더 유리. 자, 붉은 폭풍까지 기다렸다가 할 것 같습니다. 부산 베스파. 자, 붉은 폭풍 6초 남았기 때문에 오삼커 선수 시간을 벌어야 돼요. 지금 16초.
쪽으로 빠져서 살짝 견제를 봐주고 있었고요. 배우 선수 하늘나리 타면서
Good morning. Welcome back, everybody, to Eternal Return Masters Season 9, Phase number 1. We are here once again, but this time around, it is the last day, unfortunately, of Phase number 1. This event will be over after today because we are here now for the finals. All the days that we played, 5 days until now, all culminating up to this one last day. My name is Shuvi Senpai. I'll be one of your casters for tonight, like usual. And alongside me, joining me in the basement dungeon, Superior as always. How are you doing, my friend, today?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm really excited, obviously, for the finals for today.
Yeah.
It is going to be such a treat.
Yeah, me as well. For some reason, it seems like the Korean side sent it over to a break. I'm assuming they were having some kind of technical difficulties or something like that. But let's just kind of have a moment between you and I, right? I think this is a moment, even though the Korean side is on a break, where we can just kind of chill for a bit and talk about some stuff about whether it's Eternal Return Masters. You also had your ERCS performance earlier today as well. If you want to talk about that a little bit before we start heading into ERM, I'd also be really inclined to hear something about that as well. Anything you want to discuss for a second while we wait for the KR side, Super?
Yeah, I mean, your CS was pretty fun today. A lot of pretty solid teams, I think, in our group. Fortunately, we did not make it to the final stage, but we did end up making it obviously out of semis into the LCQ. Ended up placing third. Had a really good game number 6. I think we got like 29 points at the very end in that final game. But yeah, just barely not able to get there.
Yeah, 6 games for a semifinals is quite a hefty amount of games. I think it was Storytellers and Omerta that made it out at the end after what I heard. 2 teams that are also very good within their own right. As Super mentioned, over on the North America side of things. I almost said North Korea for some reason. My goodness. No, the North American side of things, the NA region, or I should say the Americas region as a whole for Season 9. Yeah, Storytellers, a team that came up from ERCC, I believe, in Season 8 that had a pretty good showing, so they stuck together and actually started competing for ERCS, only to make themselves a qualifier for finals off of semifinals immediately. Omerta, same thing as well, pretty solid team across the board. That team has been around for a decent amount of time. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good performance. Well, actually I say a decent amount of time, but it's
just kind of formed together because they're like a bunch of players or pretty solid players on the North American ladder, and they just decided, because they're the Korean friend group that all got together and decided to form a team. I think for the ERCS for phase number 1. I don't know if they're gonna stick together, but I think if they have a pretty solid performance, I'm sure they're gonna continue playing together for phase 2 as well.
It just works. That's how North America has been, after all, pretty much ever since the inception of this region's competitive. You just slam together whatever you want to play. It's always been a little bit more of a, I play my thing, you play your thing. If it mashes well together, then cool. If it doesn't work, well, we'll try to brute force it together kind of region. That's exactly the kind of vibes that I got from that side. But either way, hope you had a really fun time during ERCS. Yeah. It's going to be a really fun time next week as well for LCQ, and then finals on Sunday if you decide, if you are, I say decide, but if you do end up making it over into the finals. So good luck on that as well next week.
Yeah, we played a bunch of different team comps. We even tried the Sua Rio Sua Rio Haze team comp, and funnily enough, I think it was the first time on the competitive side I wasn't the one playing Sua on my team. So
that is, what was the last time I ever saw that? Because typically, even if you swap off of Sua, you're going on to something else. Like I've seen you attempt the Mai every now and then. I've seen you attempt Rio every now and then too, back in the days. But no one else on your team usually goes to Sua, so that is quite funny to be able to hear.
Yeah, we had Hercules, and I just wanted to try it out. It was pretty good. Unfortunately, we got hit with a really bad third party, so we just ended up wiping. We were pretty set up to actually winning that game, but yeah, sometimes things just don't go into your favor.
Yeah, classic Eternal Return. For those of you guys who are in chat and want to see the games of Eternal Return Challenger Series Alpha Block semifinals, if you weren't around for that earlier today, then you can definitely go back into the VODs. If you're on Twitch, the full VOD should be there. The YouTube VOD, on the other hand, might be a little bit messed up because there were some broadcast interruptions at the beginning portions of the stream. So if you do want to watch the full VOD, you might have missed maybe games 1, 2, possibly part of game number 3. You will have to come over to the Twitch side of things and actually get access to the VOD that way. Other than that, I think the Korean side is now back on schedule. They are off of the break, so we're going to be talking a little bit more about ERM for today. All right. So we are on checkpoint system. We'll go over the overview in just a second. So let's talk a little about what is actually going to be happening today, Super. Let's take a look at the overview, and we can slowly discuss, when we're looking probably at like the formats, how checkpoint even works, because it's going to be a little bit confusing for a lot of our newcomers. Schedule-wise, at the top left, everything is done except for that last day. Day 6, final stage, the last day of the event, is going to be here right now. 10 million Korean won distributed to the teams after today. The prize pool going to be distributed for the final 8 slots. Congratulations to those teams if they do end up making it over there. And then the point matrix, same thing as everything before, if you've been here in the previous couple of days.
Yeah, 10 points for first place. You get 1 kill score and 1 point for each kill. And here's the format for you guys. Obviously, we are on our little golden box on the very right side here. So ignore everything else. We've already finished through that. Obviously, if you do want to see how the format works, there it is for you guys. We are on our final stage. So the box on the very right there, it's going to be a 65-point checkpoint format. So a little different than on the NA side. The NA side is 70 points, so 65 points over here. These teams are going to have to get into that 65 checkpoint breakpoint and then win a game as well. And these are going to be our first place teams from our groups. And look at the roster we have for today in the final stage. 7 out of our 8 teams are going to be National League teams. So is this a ERM finals or is this a National League finals?
I have no idea. It is a very, very tough lobby to be a part of. And the problem is Overpride is the one that kind of ruined it being an 8 out of 8 lobby today, right? We could have had another couple of, KL League teams starting to make it up here, but unfortunately they weren't able to get through the knockout stages, which is why we are only down to 7. But we do know that Overpride from the performance yesterday is a team that can hold their own. The only question is, how well can they hold their own? Because they just barely kind of scraped into the top 4. I say that even though there was a distinctive difference between 4th and 5th place, scraping in just on by to get into that top 4 to make themselves a spot in the finals. Overpride has a lot of things they need to show us today in order to make sure we know this team is ready for something like the season finals. But this start is already great to begin with for that team.
100%, because you could see the teams here in the final stage here that are going to be joining us for today. Sagnam Rocks, New Rise Gangwon, Auto Arms, and Team Always Incheon. So 4 powerhouse teams that are going to be joining us for the finals. It's going to be a tough road ahead from these teams that are coming from the knockout stage 6.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a long road ahead today in general, but you and I have no idea how many games are going to be played. Same thing for the players as well. So it all comes down to how many teams actually decide to be really locked in today, how well they're going to be able to kind of dominate this lobby, or if the entire lobby as a whole decides to kind of band together and make sure that whichever team is in checkpoint doesn't end up winning. We could see a repeat of what we saw during the season finals. If we do end up seeing that, I think some people who are kind of new to the Eternal Return Masters environment, or at least competitive, they're going to be in for a show.
Yeah, that was some crazy work that we saw in the season finals there. But I'm curious, Shubi, how many games are you going to be predicting for today? Because, usually we do one of these every time we have the, checkpoint formats. What's your thoughts on that?
Today is one of those days that even if it's a finals, I think it's going to be about 5 to 6 games. And the reason being is because Daejeon Auto Arms seemed really reliable, I think, when it came to the group stages. You and I were actually talking about this a little bit before we started the evening here today, where Daejeon Auto Arms is definitely a solid team. Their roster seemed like it was cohesive enough to the point where even with the short amount of time this roster has had to practice with each other, or I should say specifically one circle, they are very stable enough to the point where we did see a lot of pretty much one circle focused gameplay, the macro gameplay, and everything of the sort that comes with that player. So I think it definitely could be a short series here today if Daejeon Auto Arms gets to do what they want. But if they don't, and a lot of the other teams actually prevent them from doing that, we could be in for a fun series.
Auto Arms, I don't blame you. Auto Arms is just such a powerhouse team, right? They're already doing really good in the previous season. Having Sad Hands, Loken, Cinema, and Taeyong. But now with the addition of One Circle, they're even stronger, right? They just look so strong and so comfortable on these meta type of team comps. And I'm very excited to see exactly what these teams are going to be playing as well, jumping into the finals here. And sort of to see, the metagame, taking place and what characters might actually get banned out.
Yeah, me as well. It's all the bans that I think is going to be the main focus after all, right? We've been looking at it for the past few days. Surprisingly enough, yesterday was actually one of the rare cases where we didn't have too many bans, which is not something common this late into a phase, right? So I think today is going to be a little bit of a different story because now we have 7 KL teams. The only problem with that is because they're also KL teams, for people who are a little bit unfamiliar with the other tournament, is that most of those teams are going to have backup compositions that these guys have to be comfortable with. So I think the ban format, while it is going to be cool for us to keep track of which characters are going to be prioritized, it shouldn't really matter in the grand scheme of things on how these teams decide to operate.
Yeah, I think Overpride might have a character that's going to be contested, which is going to be that my pick. We'll have to see, how they do end up maybe adjusting. I think we have seen Overpride swap off the Mai, so I think they should be okay. But yeah, I think all these teams are definitely going to be, most likely going to be looking for that Mai Yusina, or maybe we'll see that Sua double backline team comp that we did end up seeing a lot more, or that team had a lot more of a showing in the most recent knockout stage.
Yeah, it's after all of our teams do have substitutes. I don't think not the Mai, but the Eva is really under any threat. What was the other character they ended up playing a couple of times? It was the Eva as well as the Hearts.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of interesting because Storm Chaser typically did play with a heart in a lot of the compositions or I should say a lot of the team rosters that Storm Chaser played in the previous teams that he has been on. So going to be a little bit more on the comfort side. Of course, without the Mai, it'll be a little bit uncomfortable to operate it, but you still do have the priority pick on that heart. If we do end up seeing some teams playing triple DPS, as a lot of people have seen throughout the course of the weekend, heart will also get banned, and that's actually when, in previous teams for Storm Chaser, that's when he struggles. So I don't think the Mai ban is going to be that big of a deal, but the heart definitely will be.
Yeah, we'll have to see jumping in very shortly here. It looks like the Korean side is taking a little longer, but that's what me and you are here for, Shubi.
Yeah. I'm seeing some stuff in the chat, and I think they're right. Because it's 03CU on Team Overpride. That's right. It's not the heart. It's going to be Nadine. Whether it's bow or crossbow, it doesn't matter. It's going to be Nadine. Most likely for 03CU. People in the chat are absolutely correct. Look at that. We're already getting corrected, and it's pretty much minute 1 of game 0. So thank you, chat. We appreciate you. I pray to you guys every single day we start because I need to be reminded of these kind of things.
Yeah, I'm curious if we'll see like more of the front to back team, or if we'll see the triple backline team that we saw have more of a showing later on into the ERM phase, because at the very start we saw the the Mayusinas being picked by almost every strong powerhouse National League team, and then later on we see all these teams swapping back to the triple backline.
That's why I'm really concerned on how well adjusted these teams are going to be with all of that thing, right? Even if I said earlier that KL teams have to have multiple team compositions on the backside, it's never going to feel good to divert away from the main composition that you play, right? Whether it's a character swap up because of one ban, or you swap up your composition entirely because of the crucialness of that one character getting banned, it just never is helpful.
Yeah, my guess is we'll probably see a mix of both, because I do think both team comps are pretty strong, and obviously triple backline is still really good because you're just able to shred that tank that's trying to look for that engage. So that's the reason why triple backline has shown quite a standing for the phase, is because or not just the phase, but just in general, right? Triple backline has been really good, especially because it kind of solved how triple backline works with the heart pick, and having that Cicella, or having that Henry to sort of combo off of that Peacemaker.
I also think it's just simply the fact that there's way too many targets that a lot of these bruiser initiation-focused compositions have to play. You try to knock one down, Peacemaker is there, and while all that is happening, you're getting attacked from multiple different directions, which is really difficult for typically one tank or even two bruisers to deal with all at once. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why it has been becoming a little bit more popular. So let's see what these teams do decide to go for. Songnam Rock starting out with the Cicilla. We do see Cicilla over on Logan. Ooh. Triple Cicillas for Zerojin. We know Gyeonggi NA was also running the triple DPS yesterday, and we're already seeing it from the get-go.
Yeah, and we have the Charlotte lock-in from Team Auto Arm, so it looks like they're going to be deciding to go for the, I think, double frontline Tazia, probably Yan with the support as well. And then a lot of these teams, we're seeing a lot of triple backlines here. Segnum Rocks on that Cicella, or 3 teams on the Cicella. Going to have the Hearts coming in as well. So Cicella Heart going to be banned out. Busan Vespa going to go to their Sua, Rio, Haze that we did see in the previous phase, and always Incheon. Going to go back to their bread and butter with the Mai, Lenny, and Shoichi here. So a lot of different team comps, I would say, for this lobby, but a lot of duplicates as well, right? Segnum Rocks, New Rise Gangwon, and Gyeonggi NA, they all have the same idea. Cicella Heart is going to be that triple backline that they're going to lock in.
Yeah, I think the cool thing here too, by the way, is that Tejan Auto Arms this time around is actually diverting away from what we saw in the group stages and starting the roster with Taegyung instead of Fable today, right? Which is going to be a pretty interesting change-up, which is the reason why we're seeing a Yan coming out for this player. Fantastic pick for that.
One circle back on the Tazia. When was the last time we saw one circle on the Tazia?
It's been quite a while, but we do know that Tazia has been such a mainstay inside of this tournament, right? We've had Soe as well as Totem being such foundational Tazias, but this man right here is the
One circle,
OG
yeah,
of the
he's the
OG
pioneer.
Tazias.
He is the pioneer of Tazia. Like back in season 1, 2, I think even in season 3, you know, One Circle loved to play the Tazia. He played it a lot in ranked as well. Always got to rank 1. And then I think, you know, there was rumors going around calling One Circle a Tazia one trick, so he ended up deciding to swap off of it. And now he's back. Now he is back.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually the funniest thing in the world, just seeing Tazia like 90-something% for his play character during a couple of seasons, changing to like 3 to 4 different all of a sudden ones. Everybody just started doubting One Circle, and he quelled all of those doubts on that player, which is the reason why you and I are so excited to be able to watch him play that Tazia in game number 1, which has now started for the final stage.
And he has Taeyong on the Yan to set him up. So I'm really excited to see Team Autoworms, you know, utilize his team comp. Cinema gonna be on that Charlotte, you know, Charlotte unfortunately gonna be on that Charlotte duty. Yeah, just gonna have to jump on in. I think Charlotte is a pretty solid support for this type of team, just because Charlotte does have, you know, that dash of hope to sort of follow up on the engage of that Yan and Tazia.
Still feels criminal to put players like Cinema on the Charlotte though. I feel like I've kind of said this quite often recently, where a lot of good players being put on the Charlotte duty, it just hurts.
Hey, someone's got to play the Charlotte, someone's got to play the Alonso, you know, it is what it is.
It's the pain that you feel all the time as one of the players in Eternal Tournament Masters, or at least as a caster when you're trying to watch all of this happen, because you know it's gonna have to happen, right? It's exactly as you said, someone's got to play it if the composition asks for it. But what is it, a mechanically gifted player like Cinema being on the Charlotte, it does hurt a little bit. Do see a little bit of picks every now and then. It's a bit of a slower game for the start of game number 1. Only 1 kill going in favor of New Rise Kanwan. I think that was inside of, what was that? I think up on the northern side of the map, right? Fortunately, the Shoichi getting taken down, but we are still going to see a little bit of pick attempts coming through. Hyungi trying to jump over on towards the heart, but unfortunately, the Peacemaker is still there. Auto attacks are going to get blocked, so not going to be a kill going in favor for the Bernice. 1 going in favor for Oizinton up on the northern side is CNJ Esports in a bit of a pickle. Probably KCW not going to be able to deal with this just for the time being because he doesn't have any transitions just yet.
Oizinton picked up another kill, and on the bottom side here, Young maybe gonna push into the side of Team Overpride, but not gonna have to, or not gonna be there to chase into that Eva and Nadine, so just gonna slowly back themselves on out. Busan Best one on the other hand, Romantic can look for maybe some damage on Centavine. Ooh, is gonna get hit by that Spring Trap, and Lumo's gonna be there to maybe look for something. Just gonna walk up on the Shoichi. There is a Ruthless, and they should be able to get the full combo. Nice clean combo there coming out from Luminol, able to get that kill for the side team Oizinton.
Yeah, easily done for Luminol, right? No real biggie whatsoever. Standard Shoichi combo as well. Once you pick up 3 daggers, you just put down one of your daggers on the ground, immediately on top of him. Dash through, and then dash to the last dagger available for you. Easy kill pick up there. KCW gonna get taken down once again over on the north side of the map. It's just classic day number 1. Nothing really big to see here.
Yeah, all these teams just gonna slowly farm up as well. It's actually a pretty quiet day 1 than usual that we usually have, as there's not actually too much team fighting going around here. Looks like Jenny is gonna get caught out by Bernice here. Youngie should be able to get the kill. There is the play that is gonna be popped down. No cameras though. Can this Jenny get away? Blink was invested actually by the Bernice, and bullet goes wide. Can Youngie get it? Maybe one more Q does end up tagging the Jenny, and it will be a nice kill going for the side team Sagnum Rocks.
Bernice's early game 1v1 potential is definitely a lot higher than Jenny, so really good capitalization there from our Bernice, which now are in a little bit of trouble himself as Luminol actually gets batted away. Full swing straight over into the wall. Luminol trying his best to catch up. Soul Stealer is there, and the speed gate is also going to get taken, but the resets for Luminol could potentially be there. Not available for the ultimate, which means no, Luminol still will not have enough. I thought the stun not being there might have been enough to at least trade for one, but it still wasn't enough.
A little unfortunate. I think the exclusive just ended up getting cancelled because ended up popping it just a fraction of a second too late. I think just wasn't in range. A little unfortunate for the side of Team Oizinton, as Luminol did up getting baited in. Looks like Auto Arms has a 1-up onto the side. of Team New Rise Gangwon there, just forcing the Heart to use a Peacemaker a little too early, and yeah, all the members of the side of Team New Rise are going to be forced to back themselves on out of there, and Autoarm's going to be able to pick up a kill and grab this tree here. Lone contestant in Hotel.
This is a bit of a dangerous fight because look at this. Day number 2 has started, and that means terminates are an actual valid factor. Rocket launchers from Suns are doing a decent amount of damage over onto Lumino, but with the Wolves intact, Always Into wants to back away. Unfortunately, Lumino did end up missing a Q onto the wall, so he's not going to have the basic combo for Shuichi up just yet. But it is still going to be a go-ahead call for Kyungkwae. He's going to jump on in. Ruthless is going to go down, but nobody really within target other than Jinawar, who is still deciding to stick onto the fight, will get taken down eventually. Nicely done from Always Into, but a little bit of a suspicious decision-making from Jinawar to stay in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think just great lockdown for the side team Always Into. It's kind of hard for the Suwa to get away when, you know, you have that Mai and Lenny kind of on top of you. Not going to be able to use your Don Quixotes to get themselves to safety. So it's going to be a nice easy pick for the side team Always Into there, as they do end up getting down that Suwa. Great peel back from Romantic on that Mai, but yeah, just not going to be enough.
Yeah, indeed. Pretty classic start to day number 2 as well, right? Trying to fight around some of these objectives. This time around, we had the one inside of archery range. Not that much fighting around the map other than that, though. The pick over onto the Sicilla was kind of nice, but a little bit of a slower and quieter start compared to what we saw and we're used to in the past couple of days for phase number 1 Super.
Wow. Centering on the Dragon's Fury to provide more damage for their team. They are sitting on that, I think, Titan Armor for to have a little bit more tank stats, because usually Lennies like to go a tank item. It's either on their headpiece or on their chest piece, so they either go like Ghost Bride or they go for that Commander's headset. But yeah, opting for more damage, and I think Cenifine is probably going to be going for that Elf as well, so yeah, that Lenny is going to be really, really squishy and can easily get susceptible to getting just targeted down in these fights. But they do have that Mai and Cenifine. I mean, one of the best Lennies over on the KR side. As long as they're playing the fights well, they're able to, you know, sort of navigate the team fight. I think they should be okay.
I'm going to fix a little bit of that for you. I think the best Lenny in KR, hands down. This guy's Lenny is so confident play, which allows for things like this up on the northern side, because Lumino just rips through everybody on the side of CNJ Esports. Play that activated too. I don't think the blink is going to be enough. It does end up using it and still gets taken down. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be good value for CNJ Esports, as they're not going to be able to contest for anything during night number 2 either, because of these death timers being right before the phase change.
There we do have a fight over this Alpha. Romantic is going to get pulled, but there was that spell shield to keep them alive there. Look at the damage on Romantic already. Romantic getting chunked down to 1 HP, but the pushback from the ultimate, is the Cicella going to be enough? Yes, it is. Romantic going to go down, and I think, oh wait, they can't get the White Lily in time, and I think the haste should be okay. The missed auto attack on the body, I think, just made it so Busan Vespa was just barely able to escape and get out to safety.
Super lucky on that front, right? Because if they did end up getting taken down, it was a terminate angle for Busan Vespa. Triple DPS composition falling down early is never a good sign. But here we go. Dimensional Rifts are going to start. CNJ Esports still was able to capitalize on this somehow. I don't know how that ended up happening, but that's a very early Divine Intervention. Sorry, not Divine Intervention again. I keep saying the wrong thing. But Peacemaker goes down as well from the other side. Curry's HP bar looking pretty good, but there's 2 members still alive on the side of CNJ Esports.
Play
that is activated. There's the healing from Radiant Brilliance. Brilliant Radiant Brilliance as well. No pun intended, because the Johan just makes it impossible for the Heart to try retaliating against that Jenny. Will be CNJ Esports, despite falling down right before night number 2 started, still getting the victory inside of the Dimensional Rift. Pretty good value.
Very nicely played from CNJ Esports, just staying in that Peacemaker, and then the Jenny still having access to that play that they were able to actually trade some more of their HP bar down, and then just still staying alive and just able to outtrade that Hard. Very nicely played.
Yeah, absolutely. Well played on this side. Riori's going to get caught out. Will also get taken down, but it's more of a pick than anything else. Always Into still on a rampage, trying to knock down one additional member because Peksu is already down on the ground. Always Into is just feeding today. This is their feeding ground for game number 1, already sitting on 6.5 points compared to everybody else. The closest one after that is New Rise Gangwon, but that's a triple DPS comp that Always Into has just been rolling over in the past few minutes as well.
Yeah, 6.5 points already. You have to be feeling pretty good. They have enough credits to get maybe a 4 score here. Maybe Luminal saving for that blood sample. There is going to be the meteorite dropping here in Alley, but they have to push into this triple DPS comp. It'll be a little tough, but maybe Seraphine can look for a nice spring trap to start the team fight, or Amai can maybe look for an engage. Here it comes. They're going to look for the heart here. The heart is actually completely isolated. Peacemaker is actually not going to come down in time, and there's going to instantly kill the heart. And there goes the cell as well. A huge find coming out from Always Inchen, able to get the heart down before the ultimate even comes down. So yeah, just actually not able to actually out-trade the side team Always Inchen. Great pick.
Yeah, the game itself might only have like 4 ping delay for these players, but the brain can't function that fast, right? Really, really well played for Always Incheon, immediately bursting down the heart before even a chance to retaliate whatsoever. Well played. It's going to be a couple additional kills going for Always Incheon, but I don't think there were any credits invested from the side of, what is it, Yurai's Conway to get that heart back. But if there was, early minus 200. If it wasn't, very, very lucky for Yurai's Conway.
Should have been a minus 200.
I think so
right?
too, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty close to the phase change again.
Yeah, I think it did end up swapping to day 3, but I'm not entirely sure there. But Sangnam Rocks is just gonna back themselves out in Research Center. We could see where the Omega is gonna be spawning. It's gonna be down there in Uptown, and I think the Auto Arms are probably gonna go down to contest for that objective here. You can see the sniper skills getting some vision for the side of team Sangnam Rocks, and there is gonna be that rift coming down in Stream or Pond as well. So all these teams have to be a little careful, as there's still 8 teams alive, and these zones are slowly starting to close.
I don't know if you noticed, but Hyungi is sitting on 4 seconds for that Bernice. It could be a little bit bad later down the road. Tejan Auto Arms now duking it out up against CNJ Esports. Tetragon already down on the ground. KCW with a beautiful disengage, right? Because that's a big ultimate invested from the side of Tejan Auto Arms. As long as you disengage and maybe look for another initiate back, they don't get any executioner bonus, which means cooldown is still gone. Here we go, a fight between Always Incheon versus the triple DPS composition. Never mind, it's not triple DPS, but they do end up still getting the kill over onto Romantic. Luminal just takes 0 damage from the entirety of this fight, so Busan Vespa can't even afford to fight on this. It's a 1-for-0 so far as Sendafine gets brought back. Does Busan Vespa want to fight on this again because the Shuichi doesn't have Ruthless? No, they're quite safe.
It's a good bet, but yeah, they have to be a little safe here because I think they probably see some pings that are nearby. Always Incheon have a great matchup into the Haze and Suwa. So that is one of the reasons why Busan Vespa did end up backing up there, right? They don't have that single target damage, and Shoichi just able to just dodge out and just jump around in the team fight. It's really hard for Haze and Suwa to land any abilities there. Sendafine getting chunked down about 1 HP, but a huge spring trap able to lock down the Haze, and the Soul Seal is going to be used to get Busan Vespa out to safety, but oh! It's not used correctly, but it looks like they're gonna be okay. They're just gonna take some red timer, and on the other side, Team Auto Arms actually able to just lock down KCW here. They should be able to get the kill, and now the members of CG Esports are gonna be forced to run away. One circle chasing the Jenny. We got 2 members chasing down the Johan down here, but it looks like Jenny was actually able to fight off the Kazuya there, and they should be able to get themselves out.
Great decision to back away. Storm Chaser, somehow Curry ended up getting pushed out of the Peacemaker. That means he's going to get taken down. Hyungi has nothing else in his arsenal. We have an early terminate for game number 1. Sangnam Rocks unfortunately falling down to Team Overpride, the team that I wanted to see today actually succeed in the earlier portions to show us that they have what it takes to go to the season finals already from phase number 1. Looking like a fantastic start for this team as their pacing is great, and they also just managed to knock out an entire team out of game number 1.
And we weren't able to really see the start of the team fight, but I'm guessing that Mai did end up just setting it on in. The Heart used the Peacemaker a little too early, and Nadine was just there in the Peacemaker, just getting enough value before going down, and it's just easy pickings for Storm Chaser on the Eva with such long range, just able to finish off the members of the side Team Sangnam Rocks.
These people make it look easy, my guy. Holy moly. Alright, we got about 5 seconds to go until day number 4 is going to begin, which means the next set of objectives will also spawn. We can already see these players positioning inside of Forest, potentially looking for a little bit more positioning between Busan Vespa and Tejan Auto Arms. No objective for these players to fight over, save for that purple box over on the side. Tejan Auto Arms taking a decent amount of punishment, but yeah, you're right. Third party from the backside. CNJ Esports wastes nothing to get the kill on that side. Tejan Auto Arms looking for a fight once again. Round 2 between these two teams. Technically, round 3 if you even consider that first initiation and attempt. KCW getting a little bit confident. There's the Fury jab over on towards Taegyung. Divine Intervention will save the Yen, but that's a lot invested on the side of CNJ Esports too. Foraging in around this area once as well. That's 2 purple boxes right next to each other. There is no way CNJ Esports gets away with this.
That is huge value for the side team CG Sports. Bori is just stopping right here and getting the box as well. Busan Vespa, we're only 2-man, but Auto Arms have to respect the third party, right? Still can't push up. I'm actually surprised Busan Vespa did end up wrapping back around, but I think it's probably because of that Bori that it did end up getting baited back in. And it looks like it is going to be Rheumatic getting caught here from the side of Team Auto Arms as they do pick up another kill.
Crazy, crazy, crazy ways that these games are moving. Taking, unfortunately, jumps over the wall. Hyungbae is right there to intercept. Problem is, this is always Incheon. The wall is just going to do absolutely nothing. Ruthless is not going to get that much done. Taekyung actually gets a lot of good combinations, but the rest of his team aren't there to follow. The rest of the team aren't there to follow. Where is the support? Taekyung pulls it off again, but this isn't Sad Hands. This isn't Fable. This isn't Loken. His team just abandons him inside a research center.
I think the call was probably
It's the
probably just a
smart
split
play,
away.
but
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, the call was just to turn tail and run there, but I do think, yeah, maybe they could have turned it there. There's a huge combo coming out from Taeyoung, but at the same time, maybe Always Incheon just wasn't really playing around it because it was just that Yan by himself there. There's going to be that wick line coming down, and it is going to be, I think, Team Always Incheon going to be able to secure by them. I think completely uncontested. Oh, actually looks like Auto Arms is going to contest. They are playing down a couple items here, but Team Always Incheon, they can maybe find an angle. Centipede already getting chunked down to about 70% HP. Taeyoung is going to get hit by a spring trap there. There's a taunt lockup. One circle going to try to find an angle on Luminal, not going to be able to get it, and Luminal is going to be able to secure that wick line, and Auto Arms going to be forced to get nothing out of that. Always Incheon getting the full wick under the nose of, Always Incheon getting the wick completely under the nose of Auto Arms there, and they get the wick buff as well. They get the wick buff, they get the items, they get everything.
Really good timing from Team Daejeon Auto Arms to back away though, because CNG Esports was actually coming from the south side for a third party. Centipede jumping in, immediately getting out. It opens up an opportunity for Luminal to jump on in. Peacemaker is there, but remember, Kyungkway still has the Peacemaker if they need it. It's not even close. Oh my goodness, Centipede will end up getting taken down, but Luminal's still alive. He does have about half his HP. The rest is going to come through onto Tazu. I think the kiosk was called, so everybody's going to have to back away instead. Overpride hanging around the outside, trying to find Luminal to the best of their abilities. We'll be able to find it using the Raven, but I think Luminal has made enough distance. There's the kiosk call. Everyone will be back. We're back to 18 players, but yeah, Centipede, that's the kind of plays I want to see from this guy. That's the kind of plays that justifies the Dragon Spirit.
He's just so aggressive on this lane, just jumping in, no fear, using the spring traps, able to connect some as well, and just set up his team so nicely. Always Incheon in such a good spot, having that blood sample on this Shoichi, that Scarlet Dagger. All these teams have to respect the Shoichi, and yeah, I don't really know if there's any team that could, sort of stand into the way of Team Always Incheon here.
Everyone's trying at the moment, definitely are, but it doesn't change the fact that they're just too strong, right? The lead that Always Incheon got in the earlier stages of the game was way too good, and I think a lot of these teams, from the looks of it, are running coin toss, because the amount of value that you get out of it with how much these teams are fighting in phase number 1 and day 2, night 2, it's so much more worth it to bring all the additional credit generation, which just makes it so much more easier for Always Incheon to have those items. Let's see if Busan Vespa and CNJ Esports continue to fight this on the south side, as it is day number 5. Everybody is just looking for positioning. A couple of rockets will land, but with Peksu in tow, CNJ Esports is going to just shrug that off and look for a different angle on in towards beach.
And this lobby is relatively close in the terms of items, right? I think it's only Team Always Incheon that has a dominant position, where everyone else, only sitting on their full golds and even missing a couple golds on some of these characters as well. Overpride, I think, also in a really good position because they did have a really good early game. As you can see, the 2 blood samples on their carries. So these teams definitely have to respect Team Overpride and Team Always Incheon going into the final zone here.
Let's see if this fight ends up working out for anybody. Overpride is going to start the fight on early with Bear just going in from the side. Look at this. O3CU doing it again, man. If you were here yesterday, you know exactly what we're talking about. O3CU does it again, straight into the enemy's Peacemaker. Oh my goodness, this is so rough for Gyeonggi Inne because no one expects that, right? Nobody expects that thing to happen. O3CU with an insane play. Tazu is just going to VLS on out of there. What an insane play from O3CU, man.
Not only did he jump on in, but use the exposure shot to push the I think it was the Sicella out of the Peacemaker, and securing that kill. Just so well played for the side of Team Overpride.
It's actually insane. Rheumatic with 5 seconds left. He's going to get taken down. Busan Vespa is in hell. Not a great time to be alive if you're a player named Jin Hawar. CNJ Esports also looking for Busan Best, but Jin Hawar still trying his best to run away. Soul Stealer is there, Pure Rage Uppercut is there too. Unfortunately, the shield isn't there in time. Oswing will push away KCW, but Peksu is keeping him right next to KCW, or I should say right next to Jin Hawar. Double Don Quixote, but KCW is still on the chase. Center tag with the Odyssey will slow him down just a little bit, but Tazo up on the side picks up a kill. A flank of the Sentry. The solo Bolo picks up a kill against Team CNJ Esports, or not CNJ Esports. What is that? Busan Bespa? Yeah, trying to run away.
Yeah, nice kill credit, and they also get that extra placement as well. Looks like Auto Arms have Side Team Overpride trapped in the corner here. You don't want to have to be a little careful because you don't want to play into Atazia when you're all grouped up. And Taeyong also looking for an angle in, has some stacks but is getting poked down. Charlotte is able to heal them back up a little bit here, but that damage from this Eva is just a little too much poke from the Side Team Overpride, so Auto Arms is going to be forced to give away that positioning.
A lot of mid-range team compositions up against Overpride, who has so many items onto this Eva as of right now. We've got the Chaser guaranteed. I actually don't know what that arm piece is. Could be Nova Shield, right? It could be a couple of other things. Kazu is immediately just going to get sent on. Okay, yeah, all right.
Wow. Yep.
Okay, that's a little bit of...
I didn't even see the HP bar, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
It went from 70% to 0, and can Overpride? Oh, no, they're not going to be able to catch
ya.
anything from the side team CNJ Esports, but CNJ Esports is actually going to reposition with the VLS, and now I think Team Auto Arms might be in a rough spot here because Team CNJ Esports on the bottom side, Team Overpride on the top. They're going to have to maybe look to sit in the corner, maybe in that bush here, because, yeah, this is, they're going to be fighting on two fronts, and either they have to send on one team or they need to control the zone, get some timer, and then look to just walk away with their safety orbs.
Yeah, on the other side, CNJ Esports has all the information in the world, right? They know that Digital Auto Arms is inside of this zone. Same thing for Overpride, that they're going to be sitting up on the northern side of the map. But Digital Auto Arms still has control over the temporary zone. KCW is trying his best to stay inside of it, but the amount of damage coming from Storm Chaser is just way too much. That is an early healing wind activated by Digital Auto Arms. KCW trying his best to stay alive inside of these safety drones as much as possible, but with
really good for Overpride.
Storm Chaser, exactly. Storm Chaser sitting inside of the temporary zone. Can any of these teams push in? Here we go.
Wait a second, Overpride is going to run straight into the hands of the side of Team
don't know
Auto
about
Arms, and there is the explosion shot coming out from the Nadine. It's going to hit two, but it's not going to be enough. They do actually take Taeyong down though, and I think Team Overpride is going to lose all their members. The Mai is going to be able to get away. They do get the res here, but look at the timers. The timers are not in favor of the side of Team Auto Arms, so they're just going to have to full send it here. On circle, maybe going to try looking for something. Maybe going to try to make something work. I don't think it's going to be enough. There is the ultimate. Who's going to get the timer on the Mai? It is going to be the side of Team CNJ Esports, and they're going to be able to pick up the rest of the kills and come out on top. CNJ Esports versus Team Always Incheon in the final zone here. Not the two teams. Wasn't really expecting, honestly, but I think Team Always Incheon just playing phenomenally on this Shoichi, Mai, and Lenny Team Fong.
The thing is, though, did Overpride have to do that, right? Because I think I talked about this yesterday,
Yeah. So I think what happened is Team Overpride was thinking the other two teams were fighting, and they went to look for a third party.
Has to be the
but
answer.
because of nighttime vision, they just walked straight into Team Auto Arms, and that's basically just how the fight devolved there.
Both teams didn't expect each other to be there, right? Because we saw we saw Bear just walking into Team Auto Arms without responding at all. It was like a delayed response, which was kind of funny.
I think the Mai and the Tazi kind of touched each other there. So yeah, I think they just weren't expecting it. You know, the nighttime vision definitely gets a lot of people.
All right, well, here we go. Final zone of Force is going to be activated as CNJ Esports now duking it out up against Always Incheon. The fight is going to begin, and the acceptance speech is down on the ground as well, but Luminol is just completely safe. Play that is activated. Luminol is so safe. He's got all the health in the world. We'll end up getting taken down dangerously low, but the shields are there from the catwalk. KCW does end up getting the kill, but it's a trade. Peksu, you can't do this for the life of you. It is impossible for you to ever get this done. Senaphine and Kyungkwae will clean it out for game number 1 victory on the side of Always Incheon. 27.5 point banger to start off our series. GG's.
A huge game, and on the final stage as well, Always Incheon coming out on top. Luminal just playing out of his mind on the Shuichi, and yeah, just able to live for so long in that final fight, right? Just able to just buy so much time for their Mai and their Lenny to just finish off that Nikki, and it's just lights out from there. Very, very well played. 27.5 points is such a good start for the side team always in Chun.
Call it Twitch chat. I think the coin is about to rise. The amount of value. Who invested early for this? Because oh my god, what a run, right? It's been quite a while since we've seen Always Incheon. They played in group stages and we haven't seen them since then. If I remember correctly, they were either Group A or Group B too. So it's been what? 9 days since we've seen them play last?
Yeah.
That is a long time. I forgot how dominant of a performance they showed us during the group stages. If anything, I don't even think Luminal was playing in those, right? Because I think it was...
They were swapping around, I think.
Were they? I don't remember Shoichi during that. And if it was, then... Man, it's been way too long for me to remember. This right here, though, is a perfect example of how good Luminal is on this character, man. Seraphine doing Seraphine things, Kyungkwei keeping him alive, Luminal doing his job, like always Incheon. I said this during group stages, but it's like the one of the very few KEL teams that actually kept their original roster. It's such a well-oiled machine. I love watching these guys.
Yeah, and it's the same team comp, right? We've seen them play this team comp time and time again. Always comes back, and I think the meta is ripe for them to, you know, kind of get so much value. And you know, without some of these lobbies here, I think they have a pretty good shot at winning phase 1.
Yeah, me as well. Off of game number 1, we were already about more than a third of the way there, right? It's not halfway because you need about 32.5 in order to make that happen, but it's really close. If you were banking on a short series with Always Incheon, maybe making it all the way just from the get-go, it is definitely a possibility. But we know with the number of teams in this lobby that has done attempts in the past to prevent checkpoint teams from winning, it's still going to be a rough road ahead, but it's a great, great start for Always Incheon.
And a team like Always Incheon as well, it's kind of hard for them to, you know, kind of lock down a zone, right? Because they are playing that Shoichi, Mai, and Lenny, so... It's really easy, and I think they're a team that's easily susceptible to getting third-partied, right? You just run at them. Shoichi doesn't have Rootless because they use it on a different team, and there's really not much that I think Team Always Incheon can do. But here's the scoreboard for you guys after game number 1. Always Incheon in first place with 27.5, a banger start. Honestly, even well on their ways to getting into checkpoint in game 4 if they just have a consistent game 2 and 3. CNJ Esports in second with 19, Overpride in third with 13, and Auto Arms in fourth with 9. Not the performance they're looking for, and they looked a little shaky on that team comp. I think, you know, the Mai Johan, or not Mai Johan, but Tazia, Yan, and Charlotte team comp. It's a team comp that, you know, kind of needs to snowball, and the early game I think just wasn't there.
Yeah, if anything, I also think game number 1 was a good example of the team not really being well versed with each other just yet when you have one circle being the one playing, right? Because if that was Fable, you know for sure that team was going to be full invested, waiting for the Yan to actually open up opportunities like the one he found inside a research center and actually stuck that fight out. But with one circle, the call was made to disengage instead.
Yeah, I do think what happened was maybe Taeyong was so far away from their team, so probably just calming that, you know, he's dead, just leave me. But was able to turn it around. I think if One Circle and Cinema sort of believed, I think they would have been able to, you know, win out on a team fight. You know, 2-man knockups, 2-man roundhouse kicks. Lenny getting chunked down to about 1 HP. Taeyong almost actually solo killing and trading out as well. Yeah, I do think if they were there and they were able to combo off of those CC locks, I think they might have been able to actually win out on the team fight and secure that wick line for themselves.
The bob and weave and leaping knee, or not leaping knee, but I guess it was knee strike at that point, that combo single-handedly healed about half the HP of the Yan. The other side didn't expect it at all. KCW, he tried knocking down the Yan, but with that single heal coming out, triple targets, by the way, right? Bob and weave heals based off the damage you did on the Yan. The next skill that you use, or the next damage, I guess, that you do too, because you can technically auto-attack with the bob and weave bonus. But the next skill that you do, based on the damage that you do heal off of it. So, yeah, I think Tijan Auto Arms, not comfortable with their roster just yet. it's definitely all right because that was game number 1, but I want to see more where they are going to believe in taking, because they're playing this player for the first time this season. We only saw was it Fable in one circle during the group stages alongside Cinema. With Taeyong in hand, you have a lot of playmaking opportunities, which Atazia can definitely capitalize on. So I want to see one circle being a little bit more confident in this team player.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be up to, you know, Taeyong and one circle to kind of work together and, you know, combo off of each other's skills, right? Because on paper, this team comp should work. And, you know, it's two kind of, you know, kind of set up solo carry, you know, brawly type of character that can do a lot of damage as well. So we'll have to see going into game number 2 here very shortly. And we are going to have that Sicela and Hart being off the table. So no more triple backline for most of these, or almost for like every team. I don't think these teams are going to be playing triple backline with those two gone.
Yeah, the thing is though, triple DPS kind of seemed a little bit neutered in this game with how fast always Incheon was able to scale up to allow Luminal just one-shot people immediately.
Yeah.
And even other teams, I think like Daejeon Autoworms was able to control the amount of damage these triple DPSs were doing just off of sheer outplay potential and the X-factor value of the characters being played in those rosters. It's nice if you have something like a Heart to let your team stay alive a little bit longer, but when you're getting locked in crowd control to the point where Peacemaker just doesn't do anything, it doesn't matter. You don't get your damage out. The one sole purpose of your composition isn't coming to fruition. So I just love the responses from a lot of these teams against that composition.
Ooh, we actually do see Youngie Innate still staying on a triple backline, but swapping up some of these characters here. It's going to be the Priya and the Carla coming in. And for the side of Team Newraz Gangwon, they're going to be swapping over to the Busan Vespa team comp with that Heart on that heal factor support build. So we are going to see that Rio ban going to be coming in here because Newraz Gangwon, Busan Vespa, and Youngie Innate are all going to be locking in that character. And yeah, we won't be seeing them for game number 2.
It's definitely a little bit risky. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit risky for these teams opting for the triple DPS comp. Of course, for Busan Vespa and Uri's Gangwon, it's not going to matter. We've seen this composition too much at this point for us to be like, yeah, guys, that's a triple DPS comp. No, it's not going to matter. No, it does matter because that comp just works. But for not Busan Vespa, but Youngie Innate, I'm a little worried because there's not too much crowd control to deny initiations, right? You have Priya, but then after what? Maybe the Carla, but it's not like you have hard crowd control on the side of like something like Sicila to either pick people off, peel people away. I'm a little bit scared, just a little bit.
Yeah, I want to consider the Suwa team comp triple DPS just because the Suwa is full support, you know, just there to provide the spell shield. It sort of plays like triple DPS, but they do just rely on the long range mages to, you know, get a lot of damage and a lot of value. And, you know, having the ADC just play, you know, as fearless as possible, right? They just send the Rio forward and the spell shields come down. And they're just there to, you know, slowly poke you down before, you know, the fight even begins.
It is convenient that it is Romantic sitting on that side, but not gonna matter when you just don't have that much on your side to deal with everything coming on to you. Here we go though, guys. Game number 2 is now underway as well. Everybody is just building up their items, and if we go off of the pattern we saw in game number 1, we shouldn't be seeing too many kills going in the first minute or 2 of day number 1. But as soon as everybody is grouped up and ready, we might start seeing a little bit more focus on the team fights. That's what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, Carla coming back. I mean, we haven't seen Carla in quite a while, I would say, in ERM. You know, it's one of those backline mages that kind of rotates in and out of the meta. And Carla, I think the last time we've seen was probably, you know, maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. She was quite the mage that, you know, almost every single team did end up picking when she was pretty dominant.
I think the last time we saw it was actually just Alto playing, because he is pretty much the resident Carla player in KR right now anyways. Kazuya unfortunately going to get taken down. Overpride is going to be able to pick that up, but it's a full-on team fight between Overpride and Songnam Rods. The only problem is Overpride used quite a lot of resources, and it's an early game EVA, so you know it's just not going to be enough for the damage. Nice attempt from Storm Chaser trying to get a counter kill over onto Curry, but damage and crowd control was a little bit too bountiful when the Alonso gets his fingers pointed at you.
Yeah, great lockdown there from Songnam Rods. And we've seen this team comp as well, right? The Arda plus Alonso is a great combination to send the Alonso in, and then you just have access to either the backline, or you kind of split the front to back there, and indeed is going to be there to, you know, auto attack them down. So very nicely played by the side of Team Songnam Rods. as they do end up picking up a kill. On the other side, though, looks like Auto Arms were able to find a kill there. Is going to be that Jenny going to go down for the side of Team CNG Esports.
As I said, right, the first 2 minutes of day number 1, not that busy, but as soon as we start grouping up and we have a lot of these teams, we are actually going to start fighting, just like this one as well.
Oh my God,
Curry's actually going to be the one
straight
who decides
in.
to jump in first for some reason. He still ends up being the one to live, as O3CU on the other side is going to get taken down. Bear now getting 1v1 single-handedly by Curry. I don't think he can get away from this, as the Wolf is going to follow through. The exclusive is going to keep him alive for the time being. The speed gate is there. The Wolves aren't there either. Catwalk with one more. No, Curry's not going to be able to find the kill with the bullseye. But really, really close fight. Insane play from Curry, but he still doesn't get punished for it.
Jumping in, I think just baiting a lot of the cooldowns from Overpride and just blinking on out or using the Electric Shift and Monkey Wire to get themselves to safety. And then the Alonso just there to finish off the job, right? He was able to use the ultimates to just kill the Nadine there. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? They send just the Alonso or the Nadine forward, and the Alonso just has access to any real target that he wants to point at.
Disgusting. They might be looking for a little bit more, as Pegsu just completely caught out. Hoyoung is right around, but yeah, I don't think that guy's staying alive for any longer. Even Magnetic Field coming down in order to lock the kill down over onto Pegsu. Songnam Rocks is farming up quite a lot. 6 kills already in day number 1, or I should say day and night number 1. 3 points on hand. Really great start from these guys with 45 seconds still left on this phase.
Yeah, huge start from Deep Songnam Rocks here, but the question is, where are they going to group up for this objective? Maybe there's a meteorite down in warehouse that we just can't see just yet. Looks like a TP was made by their Arda to get them. Yeah, it looks like they're all going to group up down there in warehouse, so probably meteorite going to be spawning in. We do have the trees coming in, spawning in hotel as well, and all these teams going to slowly start to play for these objectives. Auto Arms actually opting to not take their meteorite in fire station, actually contest for the one in alley here to maybe look for some extra kills. Taeyong gonna go in, is gonna get the lockdown onto the Jenny. Jenny is gonna be forced to use her blade to get themselves to safety there. There is the ultimate as well coming down from Charlotte to keep them all alive. One circle not able to hit that parity, so there's the ultimate coming down, and they're trying to lock up KCW.
Oh, no.
KCW isn't gonna go down, and the team Auto Arms is actually gonna lose out on this gameplay here.
So many crucial skills just missing from Titan Auto Arms. It just gives enough health bar on the side of CNJ Esports to be able to win out on the fight. KCW is still on the chase up against Cinema. He should be able to get the kill unless Taegun comes up a little bit too fast, in which case KCW will most likely turn tail.
He should be wrapping around as well, but the parry is going to be there with that Q. Is going to be able to get the stun, but
oh no,
the White Lily
that's
going to be used. Wait
Can
a
it
second,
find
can
this?
One Circle get the stun?
Oh, he
no,
doesn't.
they don't drop the wall. I'm surprised.
Good lord. Yeah, I guess they couldn't hear the Hyperloop maybe started before One Circle ended up respawning, which means all the information just wasn't there. Romantic is the one to actually punish this though. One Circle now forced inside of a fight. There's a Divine Interruption coming down from the Charlotte. The only problem is it doesn't get any value. Romantic is still gliding. The counter side, all the teammates fighting up against each other one-on-one. Wall's gonna go down. Romantic will dodge it. Now we're still on the chase. Busan Vespa looking pretty confident about this, but One Circle still wants to fish for something. Busan Vespa is not going to take the bait.
Yeah, and Auto Arms is just falling farther and farther behind in this game. It's not looking too confident, I think, on this team comp, and yes, it's just not really working out too well for them. You can see they haven't got their 4-score buy-ins as well, so they're looking maybe to get their call-ins here in Research Center, but there's going to be another team. Team Overpride is going to be able to join the fray. Taeyong looking like they are going to TP and maybe contest for this, but playing into a corridor into an EVA is going to be a little tough. One Circle is going to walk on forward. They're going to try looking for an angle here, but Wall is going to go down, not able to connect. Team Overpride just going to slowly back themselves on there. I think they know they also don't have their buy-ins as well, and team comp like Overpride, I think, will probably lose out into team comp like Team Auto Arms without, having the right items.
It's not that bad. Muray's got 20 seconds left. They're going to look for a contest inside of Beach, as the Alpha is going to be sitting right around. Early shackling anchor from Jino, but it doesn't get anything done. Blink in plus the grappling maneuver out, which means that Carla is going to have to dip away. Kyunggi and 8 looking for a free objective, but will not be able to find anything and actually loses value out of that attempt instead.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be able to contest for that Beach Alpha. Actually, it looks like they do, but it looks like they're going to get really bursted down. The Priya looks like down on the bottom. You can kind of see the Priya just getting bursted down there. And on the other side, Busan Vespa versus the side team always in Chun for this Alpha. Luminal is going to be able to set up some daggers, and yeah, Alpha just going to go to the side. Wait, does a jump on forward from Luminal. There's the ultimate back out, though, as they do end up getting stunned by the haze, and Team Incheon just going to take the win, getting the Alpha, getting the meteorite, and they're going to be able to use the item as well.
I also think it was a good idea for them to back away because the mutant bear was actually targeted on towards Always Incheon 2, right? You never want to have that thing behind you while you're in the middle of a fight because the stun duration is quite longer than the regular bears, and also the amount of damage that thing does is absolutely insane. Good thing for Always Incheon just grabbing that mithril, as you said, and backing away. All the value over on that side, which is exactly the thing that Always Incheon wants. Just wants to continue the pacing that we saw from game number 1 as much as possible.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good engage from Luminal, but the instant response with that haze stun and the social as well from Isua to get them all out, and looks like Haze is going to get caught in the backside, though Rheumatic going to be able to trade some autos, but not be able to kill Zero Gen. So Busan Best Buy just going to lose a member, and they're just going to slowly start to back themselves on out of there. Unfortunately, just not able to get the 1-up onto the side of Team Gyeonggi.
Great investment. This is actually a really interesting way of playing a triple DPS comp where you're actually the ones aggressing with all of the value that you have, right? Big AoE from both Zerojin and Jinho. You have Dazu on the side just pumping out damage while everybody on the other side is focused on that crowd control source. It's a pretty interesting way of doing it. So we were thinking that triple DPS comps were more focused around denying the initiations and making sure that the damage support is there after they use all of their mobility skills. But this is a different flavor of this kind of composition. I'm kind of enjoying watching Gyeonggi operate this.
Ooh. And we're gonna have two teams walking in to warehouse here. It is reopening with this box. There is the bow skill. I think it did end up actually seeing sand on the bottom side here, so Nine Rocks is maybe gonna look for an angle. Gyeonggi, are they gonna send the gate in with the Alonzo to maybe look for something? I think they are. Actually, they're gonna be able to grab the box and use it to get themselves out, and they're gonna be able to get the item and get themselves out to safety. Very nicely played by the side of Team Sangnam Rocks.
Yeah, too easy for the side of Sangnam Rocks. That's the value of the Arda that we don't really get to see too often, especially in something like solo queue. You guys got one still looking for a little bit of position inside of warehouse. The bears are alive down here too, so whichever team wins this will be able to get quite a lot of value off of that. Riore trying to throw out a couple of auto attacks, maybe a couple of those rockets as well. The poke is actually landing though, which is a bit of a problem for Gyeonggi. They are just gonna have to send it, and two men are gonna be landed with the Spirit Arrow. Shackling Anchor is gonna be enough to lock down Riore as well. Nicely done from Gyeonggi. They will also be able to capitalize on the bears. Never mind, as another team starts coming in. Got another team fight up on the northern side, but with a lot of things missing, especially the guard in reverse for KCW. It will be a disengage coming through for CMJ Esports, although Busan Bespa doesn't want to let this happen that easily. Safety gadget being invested by CMJ Esports because they really don't have that much timer to work with to start.
Yeah, the sustain and the poke coming out from that Priya is just putting in work to the side of Team Gyeonggi, and just able to chunk down all the members of Team not Busan Vespa, but New Eyes Gangwon on the bottom side there. So very nicely played by Gyeonggi to get that one up. There is going to be Lumi going to be started up by the side of Team Auto Arms. They're going to be able to get it as Team Busan Vespa want nothing to do with the side Team Auto Arms here. Always Incheon is the Ruthless is going to go down. There's the combo again coming out from the Shochi. I think we're able to get any of the members here. The target is going to be on the Johan. They do end up getting one. The resets are going to be there as well. They're going to be able to get the Jenny too. The timers, it's just going to go down, and the blade is going to be procced, but they're going to come out right into the side of three members of the side Team Always Incheon as they do end up picking up too.
This is so brutal. This is so brutal. Always Incheon is just on a rampage. And we have another team fight that is about to begin. Overpride. O3CU getting poked out a little bit because he walked straight into a grenade launcher. Loki's going to fire out the Fleeting Soul. Here we go. Storm Chaser still on the run. Exclusive is enough to get him out for the time being. Riori will not chase too far forward. As CMJ Esports over on the side looking for her, jumping on towards it. Did he get it? I think he did. Yeah, you're right, because he has all of his teammates back. Did they use credits for that, or was that a Rift play?
I think that was a rift play. I think he just jumped in to steal out the rift there.
I just saw somebody calling something on that team.
Two teams, so very nicely played as they don't end up losing out any credits. There is the Nimrod's gate as they do jump on forward, and that's going to be the side Team Gyeonggi, and they're gonna go down. That is yeah, I think the strength of this Arda Alonso, right? You send it into a team like Team Gyeonggi, and they can't really kill this Alonso here. I don't think they have enough damage to kill this Alonso, as Alonso is just able to just do whatever he wants into this triple range team.
Imagine being a triple range team that wants to play aggressive but plays into an Alonso. That Yeah, no. We saw the strategy of what Kyunggi Innate has been doing so far, but you picked the wrong target because Alonso is really good at receiving initiations and then countering. Typically, that's a bit of a problem for the Alonso because the person you're countering upon is a bit tankier, right? So you're not getting that much value. But where's the tankiness in Kyunggi Innate's comp? It just doesn't exist, so that Alonso actually getting a lot more value out of that fight than an Alonso normally does towards the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, Kyunggi Innates have a lot of damage, but they need those items right in the early game here, especially when the Alonso is sitting on 2 items for themselves. I think it's just a little too tanky for the side team Kyunggi Innate to really go through there. We didn't really get to see the full fight, but my guess is, yeah, the Alonso got sent in with the Nimrod's Gate, and they're just able to focus whoever they wanted on the side team Kyunggi Innates, and yeah, it's just going to be lights out from there.
Indeed. Well, we got about 15 seconds until Night 3 is going to be over. I really like keeping track of those timers. You guys are going to see a lot of that probably throughout the season. Once again, if you're unfamiliar with how I cast, I love timers. So, yeah. Timer can be a number, but for us, it's things that we actually keep track of. 3 seconds to go. It's about the day number 4, which means Busan Vespa is going to be met with a surprise right on the south side of school. Daejeon Auto Arms potentially duking it out up against another box that these guys are just not going to be able to have for free. Busan Vespa says thank you very much and immediately leaves. You know, Loken in a little bit of trouble. That's a beautiful shield coming through from the Suwa, but she gets completely isolated. Great isolation from CNJ Esports. We'll be able to pick up a kill against the Suwa instead.
Yeah, great spell shield coming out from the Suwa, but unfortunately it cost them their life as they're a little too far forward. And I think once again getting caught out, and the Don Quixote is being blocked from the side of Team CNG Esports, just not going to be able to get them out to safety. Riori is going to try using TP, but is going to get caught by the carpet. And that's another kill for the side of CNG Esports. And New-Rise Gangwon going to lose out on 2 members, so that's going to be a minus 400 unless they can look for the Rift. Looks like they're going to be able to get 1 res. Not the second one, and now they're going to be in a really awkward position here as the side team CNG Esports is going to be rotating back into the zone.
Really interesting that we're seeing Uri's Gangwon struggling, considering this is the composition we saw dominate during knockout stage number 5 and number 6. But that's just the way that these kind of games go. All of these teams here in the finals are already adept at dealing with so many OP combinations, right? That's why we're seeing Uri's Gangwon struggling with it a little bit. Hopefully they can turn their fates around, because it's still day number 4. We still have a few more minutes left in game number 2. There's still a lot of time to turn things around unless this stuff happens. Fury Jab lands over onto Loken. He is going to be able to get out for the time being, but KCW is still on the hunt. He wants the kills. He is looking for it. Who is he going to target? Nobody, as the shield cooldowns come back up, and Loken is just pumping out the auto attacks. Oh my goodness, the rockets are hurting. KCW on the backside. Oh, he kills! The Rio, how the hell did that happen? KCW is going to go down as well. Insane. Also falls down. The third party from the flip side on Overpride is going to come in, but what on earth was that from KCW?
Is a madman. Every time he always finds an angle onto the ADC and just one-shots him, and oh, these two are going to be racing for this rip. Who's going to be able to get out?
Where's the Phantom wavering, man? Oh, it wasn't even on cooldown.
They used it.
No.
It's the... Oh no, it's the haze that does end up getting in there. Bruh. And CNG Esports are going to have to eat the minus 400, but there is going to be a team. It's going to be the side of Team Auto Arms going to be contesting them for this rift. Who's going to be the one to come out on top here? Taeyong has the stacks. He's going to be able to find anything. One Circle actually going to jump on board with the White Lily, and they should be able to get this haze, but oh, the abilities are going to go wide, not going to be able to connect the ultimates in time. One Circle does have the passive stacked up here, and Team Auto Arms are going to be in a really awkward position. Dawn not going to have any stacks here as well.
Now they're the ones on the flip side. How much timer can Daejeon Auto Arms play around with their TTK up against this kind of composition is a little bit high. Divine Intervention being activated, but that's a desperation play from the flip side. Taegyung is looking on one side. One Circle is playing on the other. I think the fight might be over, but they're trying desperately to turn things around.
No,
Cinema goes down first. One Circle has nothing left in his arsenal. It terminates inside of the Dimensional Rift. Again, I think that's another example of this team just being uncomfortable with each other. Why are we fighting on 2 different fronts when we have a playmaker making plays on the other side, One Circle?
Yeah, just uncoordinated. I think One Circle is just missing a little too many Paradisos there. Just a little unfortunate for the side of Team Auto Arms as they do go down in 7th place, only 5 points, and just not looking too comfortable on this team. We'll have to see if they do end up swapping back to it, or if they end up subbing in Fable going into game number 3 and 4.
Alright, yeah, I honestly think that's the play, right? But I don't know if this is even Taegyung's fault, because he's doing what he can. It's just one circle not being able to capitalize on some of these opportunities, which is really worrying for me. But
yeah, he's not looking that comfortable on the Tazia. I mean, just missing out on these engages. A lot of skills being missed as well, right? With the full passes being missed out on. And
whoa,
my God! Where did the Dean go? Or not the Dean, but the Nikki. They had almost 70% of their HP bar as soon as it got out of that guarded reverse. Because of that damage reduction is gonna disappear. They just immediately disappeared. The Eva, I think, place their haze or place their vortex down, and then the Dean damage just a little too much. Team City Esports gonna be on the back foot now. Gonna be down a member on day 5.
Somebody on Overpride sat on top of KCW's health bar, and then as soon as they walked out of it, it just disappeared. There was a health bar, and then there wasn't. What a weird way to die. I wonder. I'm guessing KCW was also wondering how he died too, because there is no way on earth. Even if he's building a little bit damage side, Nikki still has really good base stats. You shouldn't really be getting taken down that fast up against a composition like Overpride, because they're really good at poking, not too much on the burst side of things when it comes down to it. Regardless, it is the Nikki taken down. It's going to be unfortunate for CNJ Esports, but a Lumi play is all they're really going to have. Does have enough credits for it, but with these two players split apart, it might be a little bit difficult to capitalize on something like Lumi.
Yeah, and while you know, we've been taking and looking at other fights, always Incheon, they have the Omega Alpha buff, they have the Wick buff. Look at those buffs underneath them. They are so strong right now. And oh, wait a second, the Haze does not have their chest piece. It looks like they sold an item here, and they're going to be on the back foot. That is a lot of app missing from this Haze. The chest piece, I think, provides the most amount of stats for you on an item, so they're just gonna try full setting it here on the side team. Always in China. I think it's probably a good opportunity to look for something.
Since when does a Haze Rocket get healed by a single carrot? Oh my god,
they get hit by the spring trap, and the Sua's gonna get caught out. Great bat skill though. Actually get them out here, but here's the engage coming out from Luminol. They will be able to just dash. Oh my god! Luminol gets hit by that White Lily, but the Ruthless was down and just dashed right back in. That was crazy. Instantly. Wow.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be alive.
I've never seen that before. You get hit with a White Lily, and then your daggers are positioned in the perfect pathway for you to just dash all the way back and get that reset to kill off that Rio.
I'm pretty sure it's not a fun time to be alive if you're a player for New Rise Conlan. Same thing for CNJ Esports, as unfortunately Pexu didn't end up getting taken down somewhere, which leaves just the Jenny, as the last one alive. We don't have anywhere close enough on the distance for the Lumi capitalization either. Hoyoung will probably go down in a few seconds. Acceptance speech does end up landing, but with 5 seconds left on their timer, Hoyoung will end up taking the fall in a few moments. See the zone closing down. Yeah, Forest is closed. Do they have gadget points to at least prevent the -1, or is it? Pop goes the weasel. Okay, there we go.
Actually, they didn't pop up on the left side, so I think the kill crit actually went over to... I think it was the Overpride that ended up tagging them somehow.
Was there some kind of maybe debilitation?
Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe they delayed the D-Bill, or maybe a delayed Ghost Light maybe ended up rocking on him.
Okay. Well, from the way he was playing, I was guessing he was trying to prevent the +1 and actually go for a -1 instead, which is a really interesting decision, but it didn't end up coming to fruition to begin with anyways. We're going to start going into our temporary zones. Always Incheon now duking it out up against Overpride. They do end up getting close enough of a distance onto Bear. This Mai will blow up pretty fast. Actually, Lumino decides to back away, and now they're the ones that have control over the temporary zone.
The exclusive
Look at Insane on the bottom side. He's trying to do what he can by himself. Overpride will actually activate the Wolf against the
timers for
Overpride is looking really bad. That's why O3CU is playing desperately. He does end up getting the kill, but a lot of cooldowns were gone, which opens up Storm Chaser as a liability, a vulnerability for Team Overpride. Always Incheon cleans up. That is one of the easiest kills they find through this entire game, because Storm Chaser just walks in blind. On the flip side, temporary zone inside a school still going on, as Hungnam Rocks, the only team remaining as a full set. Busan Best Boy will end up going down. So Hungnam Rocks versus Always Incheon going into our final zone of Forest. Once again, got it. Forest again too.
Who's gonna come out on top? I think Always Incheon are slightly the favorite here, right? Because Alonso doesn't have as much lockdown onto the side. Actually, I mean, they should be able to just point at Shoichi, but Shoichi's just going to be very patient, just going to wait for Alonso to use their point before going in. And once the Shoichi is back there in the back line, I think it's going to be really hard for Alonso to jump in. But Alonso has a good matchup into Mai, so we'll have to see exactly how this will play out here. And look at the items on the side team of Jinchen. They have 2 Bloods on Luminol. They still have that Alpha to Omega buff. So they should be able to get a lot of extra burst damage from, you know, hitting their skill shots here.
See how it goes, because we are getting positioning for always Incheon. Satin can always send it in immediately with the Nimrod's Gate, do remember. But was that the Soul Stealer invested? No, none of them actually have Soul Stealers. There's just a lot of movement speed on the side of Songnam Rock. Senaphine's going to try to send it in. Great break on the shield. This does actually open up. Even Hyungi being a threat. Nicely done from Kyungkwae to just back away. But that is, well. Yeah, E-Shift invested, but Quake was also invested from Kyungkwae, which does lower the threatening ability of the Mai just a tad bit.
Yeah, but it also means that the Dean isn't going to have that extra dash that might be needed if they try to look for an engage onto Luminal here. Oh, Luminal just getting tagged up by all of these cubes on the backside here, and can't really follow up onto this engage. And they're going to try locking down Luminal with that Shoichi.
Okay,
yes, they do end up getting Shoichi down. I think that should be it. Great lockdown here coming out from the side of the
Senapine and Kyungkwae do this before.
I don't think I have enough damage. Wait a
this.
second.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Wait. Oh my god. The damage coming out from the Lenny and the Mai is going to be there. They actually get... They get Sat there. I think that's going to be enough.
I'm telling you, man. I was like, I swear I've seen this situation before, and Senapine Kyungkwae will find the kills. They do indeed do that, as a matter of fact. Satin will fall down to it. It's a 1-for-3 trade, with Always Incheon taking the victory once again. 2 games in a row for this roster, and Popstar Mai will take the stage for the performance of a lifetime. GG, well played to Always Incheon. 2 games in a row.
I kind of forgot, you know, how much damage the combo can still do, right? Senapine sitting on that that damage headpiece. I think they're on the Dragon's Fury and then the Elftress as well. It's still a lot of damage. Mai is one of those tanks that still can pump quite a bit, especially with that Quake. I just didn't realize that, yeah, the Nadine ended up getting caught out a little too early as well, and that definitely sealed the deal, as it's not enough damage from the Arda and the Alonso, I think, to kill the side of the Lenny and the Mai.
Even more so than that, it might have been a really good call from Kyungkwae, because Luminal got tagged down by the Alonso for the time being, and then Kyungkwae ended up pulling him into the middle of the fight, which really looked troll for a second until you realize that a Nadine was right on top of you too. So all you have to do as a Shoichi is just press the Ruthless. You're going to spin around, do the AoE damage, and then the dagger's probably going to land right underneath you just because of the terrain. You pick that up. That should theoretically be enough damage this late into the game to be able to kill a Nadine from around 50 to 60% HP, which that Nadine definitely was, right? And then after
I mean,
that,
they basically just traded 1-for-1, right? So I thought it was a little, definitely looking a little shaky for Team Always Jinchun, because the Mai and the Lenny sent it in, and the Shoichi was getting completely zoned off just by the little cubes from Arda, but yeah, I think they were able to catch the Nadine with that taunt, and it's just really easy for Shoichi to just trade their life there at the very end. And Always Incheon with, I think, 21.5 points, so they're pretty close to getting checkpoint going into Game 4.
Yeah. The thing is, by the way, towards the end of that fight as well, one of the reasons why Satin ended up getting taken down by Kyungkwae and Senapine is because of that early investment of the Quake, right? Typically, Mai's are going to heavily prioritize that level 2 Quake pretty early on, which actually does end up reducing the cooldown of it. And because of that failed initiation where Kyungkwae used the Quake pretty early on was a factor, it came up by the time Satin was the next target between the two. So that's another thing that you do really have to be careful for when fighting against the Mai as a squishy character. She does do a lot of damage, which a lot of that comes from Quake level 2.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate, you know, how much damage these tanks can sometimes do, especially when it's paired with, you know, that support to keep you alive and having that Elftress for those extra stats. Mai can do quite a bit. You know, I'm pretty familiar with it for myself, because I do play that character quite a bit, and yeah, just able to just finish off that in It was pretty fast, right? They just were able to get the taunt onto the Arda. Lenny jumped in and they were able to kill them, and it's just really easy for them to win out. Obviously the 2v1 into the Lonzo at the very end.
Exactly, a really scary composition to fight up against, but this is just what Toei Shinchan does. I'm just so glad that a lot of people who are new to the ERM event is able to witness what Toei Shinchan does and do exactly what they do best. Give us a perfect example as to why so many people are infatuated with watching these players play in the Eternal Return Master stage. You can see the results right here too. 49 points. They are nearly two-thirds of the way, actually past two-thirds of the way now that I think about it, to that checkpoint mark. So if this goes on, Super, we could be in for an extremely, extremely short night.
Yeah, 22-point lead between first and second place. Such a dominating performance from the side team, always in Shun. But remember, it is that checkpoint breakpoint. They still need to get 16 points and win out the game. And we've seen, what happens when a team gets into checkpoint first. But they will have a couple of games that maybe they could try their hand at and close out the series.
Indeed. Just because it's checkpoint, though, what we do does not change, Super. That was game number 2, an even number of games, so you know what that means. Everybody in chat should also know what that means. We're going to go on to a break for a quick moment. We'll be right back with you guys for games 3 and potentially, well, no, guaranteed actually, game number 4 for the finals of phase number 1. So grab some water, go grab a snack, go take a stretch. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Take care.
생존자가 사망했습니다. 생존자가 사망했습니다.
You're ready to get in the game now. The last thing you want is to wait. WD Black, performance storage, purpose-built for gaming. SSD speed that obliterates load times. Performance to transform your game. Expanded capacity to store more. Customizable RGB. WD Black. Because the game never waits. WD Black. Drive your game.
예기치 못한 사고는 언제나 발생할 수 있지. 통제할 수 없는 힘은 저주야. 적어도 사람인 채 죽는 게 낫지 않겠어? 내가 죽거나 네가 죽거나 존재도 흔적도 남김없이 지우겠어. 시간 끌 필요 없겠지. 이걸로 과거를 바꿀 순 없겠지만 미래라면 지겹게도 몰려드는 쓸모없긴. 사활을 걸고 넌 반드시 데려가겠어. 찾았다. 얌전히 죽어. 결국 괴물 하나가 죽는 건 변하지 않겠지. 내가 괴물이 되기 전에 날 죽여줘. 천도는 만악을 좌시하지 않는 법. 백기야행은 수도 없이 겪어봤다고. 배워야 할 악이 있다면 마땅히 될 뿐. 악귀, 멸사, 악령이건 악인이건 전부 베어주겠어. 악은 뵐 뿐. 어디 한가롭게 떠도는 악기 없나? 지옥에서 참회해라! 비아부하, 불나방은 불에 뛰어드는 법. 길 잃은 망자들을 다른 길로 인도할 뿐. 길 잃은 영혼이 방황 않고 성불하시길. 후회도 늦었어. 피켓, 제반의 갈시. 이 맛에 산다니깐.
자, 반갑습니다. 루미아 섬의 생존자 여러분. 9.3 패치노트 다이제스트 진행을 맡은 농루트입니다. 시즌9 마츠리의 세 번째 패치가 어느새 여러분의 곁으로 찾아갑니다. 새로운 상품들을 포함하여 어떤 변화들이 기다리고 있을지 지금부터 같이 알아보시죠. 먼저 새롭게 추가되는 상품입니다. 원한이 사라질 때까지 몇 번이고 원원들을 베어 넘기는 고스트헌터 히스이가 루미아 섬에 찾아옵니다. 멋진 가면과 검을 들고 다니는 고스트헌터 히스이는 제작소, 교환소에서 마츠리 토큰으로 교환하실 수 있습니다. 부와 권력이 겉모습부터 느껴지는 언더보스 얀이 출시됩니다. 언더보스 얀과 함께 루미아 섬의 챔피언에 도전해보세요. 수험생 혜진이 대표 이미지와 모델링 교체를 통해 여러분에게 다시 찾아갑니다. 새로워진 수험생 혜진에도 많은 관심 부탁드립니다. 실험체 수아의 새로운 이모티콘 4종도 상점에 추가됩니다. 수아의 다양한 모습들을 이모티콘으로 만나보세요. 잘 조율된 캐릭터 조합과 전략, 유기적인 전술과 팀플레이를 겨루는 사전 구성팀 간의 진검승부 유니온 대전이 돌아왔습니다. 유니온 대전에서는 최대 4인이 하나의 유니온을 구성할 수 있으며 한 플레이어는 최대 4개의 유니온에 소속될 수 있습니다. 유니온 대전은 계정 레벨 30 이상부터 참여할 수 있지만 유니온 팀 생성은 골드 티어 이상부터 가능합니다. 유니온 대전에는 별도의 티어
Welcome back from the break, everybody. Hope you guys had a good one. For those of you guys in the YouTube chat, you know exactly what I was doing. But for those of you guys in the Twitch chat, might not know about it, and I'll keep it that way. Super Games 1 and 2 so far has been a complete curb stomp from Team Always Incheon. This team has been doing insanely well so far with an incredible lead against everybody else in the lobby in a checkpoint format. Do you think they're going to be able to walk away with it scot-free, or is this going to be one of those good old politics handshake moments from everybody else in the lobby?
And that is the question. Will they be able to take it home, or will we be able to see them take it home in 4 games, or are we gonna see that politics type of gaming, or maybe they don't even do good in the next couple of games here? And actually, they're gonna be subbing out Luminal for Blaster here, maybe thinking that this is gonna be better for the checkpoint type of team, or I guess they just think that this Nikki and Nausea team comp is better for winning out games.
Here's the thing. The good thing about Tazia is that she is not really ult reliant, right? Paradiso is awesome. It is a great skill. Good amount of crowd control, good amount of controlling of an area to begin with. You do have a lot of good damage on it if you can land it, but we know a lot of the Tazia players in KR actually doesn't heavily rely on Paradiso as a sole primary DPS resource, right?
Yeah.
That means with this kind of composition, Always Incheon is a lot less reliant on ultimate cooldowns in comparison to the Shoichi, which in theory in a checkpoint format, when you're going to be getting bombarded by multiple teams if you're the only team in there, is the right call. So I do like this decision, even though it hurts me on the inside that we're not going to be seeing Luminal at least for the time being.
Yeah, and the one good thing is all those characters, like the Nikki and Tazia, both have a lot of mobility, so they're able to, you know, sort of navigate to these temporary zones when they do get into that checkpoint breakpoint. But I don't know. I feel like they won the first 2 games. I feel like they should have just kept to, you know, what's been kind of winning them and, you know, giving them this dominant performance in the finals here.
I'm a little bit scared about this. Was this the right decision? And is it the right call for the members of Team Always Incheon? Can other teams even deal with this kind of swap around? Let's see how it goes, because Game 3 is now underway. If Team Always Incheon secures more than 16 points inside of this game, they will be the only team in checkpoint with no other teams even closely behind. If they can hold on to that, maybe for a few games, maybe there will be one game where these guys are going to be able to take it away. That could be game number 4, that could be game 5, 6, it doesn't matter. They'll hold a really good spot in the game though.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense to me, right? Because it's still 16 points away, so even after game 3, not really guaranteed to get into checkpoint breakpoint. And with the first 2 games that they had, you know, the performance that they had, I'm really surprised that they ended up swapping. Maybe Luminol is busy or something and had to go, but yeah, I don't know. I think sticking with the original team comp was probably better, but I think other teams maybe also realizing that you know, Team Always Incheon is the threat, so there's maybe swapping their team comps up to, you know, maybe sort of try to predict what these other teams are going to be, you know, swapping to try to counter them.
But it's a lot of just rock, paper, scissors, right? Looking at one team, predicting another thing, but then as soon as you predict that thing, the other team decides to do something else. A lot of that happens inside of the Eternal Return Masters, which is why we're so happy that a lot of teams end up playing against each other over and over again. At least as a caster, I'm kind of happy about this because it really shows that these teams know each other, right? Whether it's from scrims or just experience playing up against each other, these kind of change-ups are exactly what you need, just like this, because Curry, oh, never mind, tries to get a pick against Storm Chaser, but will get slammed down to the ground from a pillar straight from the heavens from Arda. Fortunately, Satin will also get taken down. Hyungi is trying his best to waddle away, and he will be able to, thanks to the effort of the speed gates, but still more picks going on as Jino gets taken down. I believe that was to a Ghost Light from Sonzar.
Yeah, nice 3 early kills for the side team over Pride, once again showing that they can compete on this stage here. And One Circle is going to get caught out by the side of team over Pride as, yeah, Cinnamon not going to be in the fray. And I think Fable did end up subbing in, and they do have everything that front to back with the My Kadia Celine. And I think we do have 3 Kadia, so Kadia will actually be banned going into game number 4 here. There is both of the ultimates from the Charlottes. Everyone is just immune to damage, but the damage coming out from the side of Team New Rise is going to be quite a bit. There is the engage though. The Tazia is going to be able to connect onto the Justine, and they're able to get a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. The side team Always Incheon going to be on the back foot now.
Yeah, unfortunately, not enough damage just yet. Paradiso also at level 1, you saw how little effect it did, right? 2 people actually got tagged by it, but their health bars did barely moved. Barely moved. That thing is really good later on into the game, if you can even manage to land it, but Paradiso isn't exactly what we want to see from an ultimate, especially at level 1. It's exactly what I mentioned earlier. It's not the main priority for this team. We saw more damage coming out from the stilettos than anything else. So it's a bit of an example of what I was talking about earlier. Always Incheon might lose a little bit of pacing, but it's still day number 1 and night number 1. It's all good.
And Canning were able to get a kill down there in Hospital, so not too bad of a pick for them. Always Incheon are going to group back up here in Temple. And yeah, just a rocky start. Not able to get that first win, but probably going to look for some more team fights to see if they can find anything there. Great battle coming out from the sewer to get Fable away. But the damage, and yeah, One Circle is going to be here to join the fray here. And Romantic is just going to go down. Nice auto attack there from Fable on a great blink away in response. Great reaction from One Circle to dodge out on the Haze EQ. And they're going to be able to get a clean break into the side team Busan Vespa. Looking a lot better and a lot more clean on the Steam comp.
Fantastic. CNG Esports struggling a little bit in the earlier stages of the game, but we know this team also doesn't care, right? It's funny because we have a lot of teams that are getting taken down early on from these breaks, and you would think that they're going to fall behind because of these timers, but luckily for Busan Vespa and CNG Esports, they actually fell down around the time where it actually is recoverable, right? Look at the top of your screen, 10 seconds to go until these objectives are going to spawn. CNG Esports and Busan Vespa has an idea of what the map distribution looks like, and they're going to be able to spawn alongside it. So whether it's farming for things, should be fine. Songnam Rocks will jump over onto Daejeon Auto Arms, not punished hard enough for not checking the bush, but it's still going to be a fight regardless. Unfortunately, the dice combo is not going to really land onto anybody on Daejeon Auto Arms. Babel is trying his best to pump out the auto attacks on the Kadia, but with all of the pressure away, it's going to open up an opportunity for Sigma to get the tree for completely free. Nicely done on the side of Daejeon Auto Arms. Sutton pushing a little bit too far forward. There's the Blitz. Is it enough? Yes, it is. With all the explosions and all the red sprites popping all across the map for this Arda.
Yeah, very nicely played by the side of Team Auto Arms. They're just able to completely zone out the way of Team Sangnam Rocks. They tried to look for an angle, but one circle on that sling, just able to just zone out the members and the backliners of the team of the side of Team Sangnam Rocks there. Was a good trade onto the tanks. Both the tanks got down to about 30% HP as they slowly start to split away, but the value from this lead and the Kadia are just going to be a little more than the Arda and the Nadine on the back line.
It's all good though. Day number 2, it's still a little bit of a slower paced game compared to what we saw, although day 1 was explosive compared to what we saw in games 1 and 2. In comparison to what we saw in the previous days, on the other hand, it's still slow, right? Not too many kills, not too many points, which is strange considering there's a team with 3.5 points already.
Yeah, and that's going to be the side of Team Nirai's Gangwon. Just a great early game start for them. And Team Auto Arms, it looks like they're actually going to sit out of Vision and maybe look to get a Vision play here as CNG Esports. Are they going to buy? It looks like they have already spent their credits. So yeah, Auto Arms not going to be able to find anything, unfortunately. There is going to be that rift down there in Beach. I think these teams are probably going to try playing for it here. Auto Arms going to walk in. Maybe going to look for CNG Esports. There is an engage coming out from the Mai, and oh, the Suwa's going to go down. Or let's sorry, not the Suwa, but the Kadia's going to go down instantly. The Haze is going to get caught as well, because that's going to be the members of the side team of Busan Vespa going to be forced to retreat.
Okay, well, CNG Esports trying their best to run away right now. Pixu doing what he can, but they're still going to be forced out by Daejeon Auto Arms. Looking for a reinitiation back, actually. KCW going to be able to dodge out against a 4-stack bomb, but that was a blink invested from the Nikki. Pure Rage uppercut being him out. Oh, never mind, bye-bye. Perfect response from Daejeon Auto Arms. That's what happens when you got a point-and-click ultimate that traverses you to a very predictable position.
Trying to look for something, not going to be able to find anything. One circle just playing the backline so well on that Celine, blinking away, perfectly outspacing the Nadine, or not the Nadine, but the Nikki, and then just baiting Nikki back in with that Beer Uppercut. Just easy pickings for the side of Team Auto Arms there. We do have the Alpha going to be contested. It is going to go to the side of Team Young Hyena, and they're going to be able to get the item and get out with the Nimrod's Gate. Very nicely played once again, utilizing the Nimrod's Gate perfectly for the side Team Sangnam Rocks.
Will Curry get taken down though? Yes, it will. So it's a trade between the Nadine's life over a Mithril, still definitely in favor of Sangnam Rocks. Dimensional Rift inside for night number 2. I don't
himself.
Yeah, I can't tell if that was that. I think it was, because everybody else in Daejeon Auto Arms is still alive.
I do remember there being a rift down there in Beach, and I think just trying to coin flip it, see if it's going to be a free rift. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it, as it will be CNG Esports going to be able to get that rift and a nice item for himself there. So very nice for the side team CNG Esports, as they desperately needed that because of the team fight that they ended up losing in Beach.
Jino farming himself. Let's see. Triple DPS still doing what they can inside of this game. It's actually not that bad of a situation right now for these guys at all. Daejeon Auto Arms is unfortunately going to lose out on one circle, but it's still night number 2. So a lot more picks than what I would normally expect for this caliber of a game. But it really just still goes to say that these teams are looking for credits all around the map.
Yeah, I mean, Auto Arms there, you could see their members was a little split away. So one circle just getting caught on that Celine, but still day 2 dead and not going to really matter, as it will be able to respawn back up for this contest here in Beach. And I think Team CNG Esports is going to try to run it back here into the side Team Auto Arms.
Are they going to find anything though? Nah. Overpride is going to group up together on the southeast side of the map as well. Doesn't seem to be a lot of fights happening, but it will definitely occur in a few moments. 10 seconds to go until this purple box is going to spawn. Gyeonggi Innate trying to push forward up against Always Incheon. The problem is there is a Charlotte on the other side, which means a lot of this poke is not really going to matter. Pure Rage Uppercut is going to be sent pretty early on, but this is also a really bad Peacemaker, because look on the other side, a Charlotte with Divine Intervention. You outplayed yourself, my friend. Tazu will get taken down. Zero Jin is just going to pull himself over the wall, but that's a minus 200 plus a purple box lost on the side of Gyeonggi Innate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combo we've seen, but unfortunately, it's gonna bite the side of Team Gyeonggi Innate's in the butt there, as yeah, the Divine Intervention perfectly timed. As soon as they get out of the Peacemaker, just gonna go down, and oh no, looks like they're okay. It was a bad White Lily, but the Jenny still having the ability to get over that wall with their dash there. They should be able to get out. Blaster, gonna look for an angle in. Looks like the enhanced passive is gonna go a little wide, and on the other side there, Busan Vespa. US Gangwon has to get out of here. But I don't think this Houston can get away. There's Suwa should be there.
It's over.
There's the Astra Barrage, but it's not gonna be enough, as Busan Vespa gonna get a clean 3 kills into the side Team US Gangwon.
Triple DPS does have its downsides. Nicely done from Team Busan Vespa to pick that one up. But another fight is Songnam Rock's in a little bit of trouble, but Nimrod's Gate, baby, let's go. The value is always there.
Yeah, just able to get both the Yarda and the Alonso out to safety. And it is going to be minus 200 for the side team Songnam Rocks, but yeah, huge find for the side team Overpride here. And CG Sports. Hard is going to get caught, but they get sent straight to the members, straight to 3 members here. The Peacemaker is going to go down, and it's going to be able to keep KCW alive with the damage coming out from the Kadia. Is it going to be enough? The Jenny is going to go down into the Play Dead, and a huge Radiant Brilliance. KCW going to try jumping back in. The healing from this Johan is going to be quite a bit. The res gets cancelled once again. Yujin is not able to get the res onto the heart, and they're going to go down. A disastrous mistake from Gyeonggi Innate. I think canceling the res 2 times onto the heart.
Dude, the Johan is so stupid, man. Every single time he walks up, every single time his team wants to disengage, there is the Radiant Brilliance plus the sensor combination to snipe down somebody trying to chase him down, right? The root is really annoying when you're trying to chase into a Johan. But here we go, we fight over the Omega. It's going to be an initiation from Overpride. Not going to find anything just yet, but not that much invested from both sides, except for the Nimrod's Gate. Alonso is going to send it out for the time being. Hyungi is going to force out the exclusive. There we go. The dice is not going to be enough to actually kill Bear. Actually, Alonso is the first one to fall down, but O3CU jumps in again. Oh my goodness. O3CU jumps in. The other Nadine says, me too, me too. But the problem is, Overpride is the one to take it away.
Yeah, both of them just jumping in onto Nadine, trying to get the 1-up onto each other, but on the side team Overpride, the Nadine was supported by the Eva, and just too much damage for Curry to really work through there. So a little unfortunate, as they do end up going down. Songnam Rock's going to lose out on 2 members once again, and that's going to be another minus 400 that's going to be eating.
There's some crazy ego play, man, between those two. But that's the kind of stuff I want to see in ERM a little bit, just to make sure that these players are fighting with each other instead of just fighting for the greater good, right? Who needs to fight for the team when you can show off your ego, especially when this is being streamed pretty much live to the entire world?
Yeah, I mean, on a character like Nadine, you kind of have to, you know, look for those angles in, or you're not going to get enough value, right? Because you are sitting on that crossbar. You don't have that extra range that, you know, these other backline ADCs, these backline mages do. But it's kind of funny that both of them just decided to jump in at the same time, and yeah, it seemed Overpride are going to be the ones to come out on top.
That was actually amazing. All right, well, how much time do we have until we go into, what is that? I think day number 4, right? Yeah, there we go. 30 seconds, and another fight is going to begin this time around inside of Fire Station. The CNJ Esports is going to be able to lock down the Kadia once again. Romantic will get taken down as Chinawar completely trying to bucket. Not even looking to fight up against the Jenny, but the damage output is so big. The full transition of Jenny, including the 3rd shot plus Persona reset again, it's so much for the Suwa to deal with.
Yeah, and a huge find coming out from CNG Esports is always the Kadia, right? KZW always finds the angle onto these ADCs. They're able to get them down early into the team fight, and yeah, it just makes it so there's just not enough damage on the other side. So very nicely played by CNG Esports, picking up another 2 kills for themselves. They're feeling They're definitely in a pretty comfortable position here.
Really good. Okay, here we go. Songnam Rocks trying their best to now run away from CNG Esports. Everybody is running away from this team, but the White Lily is messed up a little bit. Now Curry is the one in trouble. It's a little bit of a desperation Nimrodski, but it is enough. The value of Arda shines once again. CNG Esports, I mean, they're putting down the pressure. They're laying it down.
Yeah. I mean, I think they see the items on Songnam Rocks because of how many credits that the team had to res, and they're just deciding, you know, I think this is something you'll see pretty often is when a team is really far behind, they're just gonna get run down by every team, right? Because they see the item disparity, they know that you don't really have the combat power to really fight back in these team fights, and we could just full send it and just still win out on these skirmishes.
Okay. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Wicked line coming up in 45 seconds. It seems like Team Overpride wants to contest for this, and rightfully so too. Look at the amount of items this team has. No, we're not gonna go for that. That's kind of crazy because they also have the Omega plus Alpha buff as well. You saw the purple swirling buff underneath them. These guys are decked out right now. If they get Wick, it's pretty much game over until final zone, I think. No one can
just
fight
playing
that.
it safe though, right? Because if you enter from that bottom side, especially if there's a bunch of teams in that zone, because you won't be able to get to that console, right? In Fire Station, it's going to be a little hard for them to really work with here. Bear is going to engage on forward. Nimrod's Gate is already on cooldown here, and the Alonso is a little too far. The damage is going to be there, and the laser from the Evo just going to be able to snipe Sad, and Curry's going to go down as well from the side of the UltraCU, and that's going to be an easy, clean 3 kills from Overpride. 14 points already. They're looking for more.
That's what happens when you try going up against that. Really unfortunate timing too, because Unleashed Power was just not available for the Arda. He tried to buy time, which means staying around your Alonso, right? You gotta be able to throw out your skills as fast as possible, trying to support him as much as possible too. But guess what? The Eva lasers go through people. VF Eruption just disintegrates through people. Oh my god, the Arda just couldn't even stand a chance. Really unfortunate for Team Songnam Rocks, but that does mean Overpride really showing us what they got, right? This team has been really solid throughout the course of the games today. They're looking even better as time goes on.
I love this play from Always Ancient. They all dashed on into the bush, so they actually avoided the cam, and I think they're going to run straight to the hands of Always Ancient here to catch them off by surprise. There's a damage. Blaster ready to get chunked down to half HP. But look at the damage from the Nikki. Fable is going to be forced to get themselves on out of there, and they're going to set their sights onto the Celine here. Can Blaster find anything? Can they be able to get this Celine? They're going to get a lot of damage, but it is getting poked down. Oh no, Blaster doesn't dash on forward into the dagger, but it's okay. They're going to be able to get the Celine there as... Yeah, great play coming out from Always Ancient. Is able to split the fight away, and they're gonna be able to turn it. So Always Ancient getting a kill, getting themselves closer to that checkpoint breakpoint.
Oh my god, man, it looks so easy. I will say though, really good plays from One Circle, because he also knows how to play Tazir. Despite what we saw in the previous couple of games, he knows how to play that character. Dodged out on a lot of stilettos to make sure that Blaster didn't capitalize on kills early on into the fight. But now, round number 2 between these two teams, still within the same zone. It's still pretty clear from a lot of the other teams, so it should be a clean 3v3 fight. But now with the position on the top right side of Beach, One Circle does not want to let that team walk on in. As soon as Forest opens back up, they say, nah, we are out of here. Just books it into the zone instead.
Yeah, I think they don't want to fight the side of Team Always Ancient, because you kind of don't want to play into a team like Always Ancient having those 2 dive characters, especially with the items as well that they have, sitting on 4 blood samples in total, spread across that team. So you have to be a little careful, gonna respect it, and also don't want to feed any more points into the side team Always Ancient to get them into that checkpoint breakpoint, because right now they're only sitting on 5. So even if they win out the game and get the rest of the amount of kills, it's not gonna be enough.
Here we go. Overpride still looking to push a little bit further away from their comfort sides. I think, if anything, maybe they were running away from Busan Vespa, who still does have the wick, right? You gotta be careful about that. Even if you're super strong like Team Overpride right now, once again sitting on double blood items onto Storm Chaser, you still have to be careful. There is never a guarantee that you're always going to be the winner just because your items are this good. So I like the play across the board from these players. The macro is looking pretty good, but you have to remember that Daejeon Auto Arms has a lot of items on their side too. Chaser available for the Celine means even the Mai is going to be taking a huge chunk of damage when you walk into a couple skills, which you just saw.
Yeah, all these teams are relatively strong, and you can see the side team CNG Esports, they're going to try to use this White Lily to catch a team by surprise. They were originally positioned on the top side, but I think they saw a ping on the bottom side in Beach, and they're going to try just jumping and looking to one-shot the side team Always Incheon. But Always Incheon is playing that Charlotte, and they're playing two relatively tanky bruisers, so it's going to be a little hard. But with the way Always Inchan is splitting up here, I think Xenophine could get caught out. Looks like there's the engage, but this parry is just going to be used instantly in response with the ultimate coming out from the Charlotte. They're going to try to set their sights onto the Jenny on the backside. Their Jiki's going to get hit into the play dead, and it should be an easy win for the side team. Always Inchan going to be able to kill the Jenny, and yeah, the members of the side team CG Esports are going to be forced to back away.
That wasn't even close. My god, what a beautiful fight in towards the Jenny, because Acceptance Peach was down on the ground. With that many graphics going around too, it's sometimes really hard to time your Garden reverses, but perfectly timed from Kyungkwae to keep himself alive and still put the pressure onto the Jenny. As soon as that Jenny is gone, KCW really can't punch through the shields of the Tazia, forcing KCW to back away. CNJ Esports now down a member. Always Inchan in really good position to maybe push this all the way into the final zone once again.
Oh, they do end up dropping a cam there, and they should see Always CNG Esports. They're going to be forced to go into red. And yeah, Always Inchan in a really good spot here, getting into that checkpoint breakpoint. They need 16 points, so 10 more points here, getting a couple more kills. Maybe a couple more teams does end up funneling into the zone. Should be able to get themselves there.
All right, Tejanano Arms, are you going to try pushing your best into Busan Vespa? Yes, they will. Cinema's going to send it all the way in, right at the edge of the hitbox. Cinema will be able to find the taunt over onto Silencer. Down goes the Haze. Busan Vespa, in the blink of an eye, loses out on one of their core DPS members, so they're down to 2. Add that to the list.
Here's second KCW with the Johan is going to be enough. No, the damage coming out from Overpride once again just instantly shreds that Neki, and they do end up going down. But yeah, Busan Vespa using the sewer shields, it's not going to be enough, especially when the sewer only has, one item there. They tried to put it down, but the Celine damage was going to just break it, and just easy taunt there coming out from Cinema, able to connect that, and it is going to be a nice clean kill for Always Inchan, or for Auto Arms, so they're gonna be able to secure the zone as well. But Overpride is actually gonna contest them on the bottom side there.
Okay, let's see if they can even match up to this. Jinhauer will try their best to stay alive, but Pure Rage Uppercut follows you to the moon and back. Dramatic left alive by their lonesome will end up getting taken down.
Really
9 points for Always
Inchan.
Inchan. These guys need 7 more points, which is guaranteed. From going up a couple of points already, all they have to do is just win the game. Exactly. Yeah. But the placements on the other teams are looking really good too, although Overpride is giving up a lot of position considering they're this strong of a team. Knows exactly where Pexu is, should be able to recover their timer just a little bit. Doesn't invest a lot for that, but these safety drones going away is gonna hamper their efforts and pushing back on in. 29 seconds, and they're now pushing into a Celine.
Yeah, and both of these front to back teams with that Maya as well. We have an angle, actually, a flank angle on to from this Nadine on the backside here. It looks like OTC was gonna blink before, but oh no, Stormchaser ends up getting caught out by the Kadia and the Celine. It's just too much damage. Celine's still alive, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for the side of Team Overpride as they do end up pulling down here. They're trying to get to maybe trade out on the Celine, not going to be able to find it, and Auto Arm's going to be the one to come out on top, but the items from the side of Team Always Inchan is looking so good, sitting on 4 blood samples, and they could definitely look for an easy angle onto the back line here, but it is going to be off the backs of Fable and One Circle. Our two of our best, backline players on or in Korea, so we're gonna have to try to find an angle here.
Really rough. Always Inchan, can you do this? Cinema is going to take a little bit of punishment. One Circle and Fable has the safety nets of those double guillotines on the backside, but the problem is those are actually away from the Chronosphere. Looking at the positioning of it, there is a high chance that the Chronosphere will move to the top right side of the map, which is what I think these players are looking to capitalize on. But with Always Inchan backing away, those double guillotines aren't really going to be a factor for the next about 30 or so seconds. Cinema sitting out the front side, really good poke away from Pigeon Auto Arms, which is being shut down immediately by Xenophine. That's a triple taunt going over towards the members of Always Inchan, but it just doesn't matter because the container just denies so much. All of this poke is getting denied from Xenophine. Even with the blast wave, nothing's happening to the health bars on the side of Team Always Inchan. These guys are so safe. Cinema forced to use the healing drone. Now they're the ones down on resources.
Yep, this cut is just pelting bullets onto the side of Team Always Inchan. They have to find a good angle, and they're just slowly starting to trade some HP back, but Cinema is going to be able to rest up on this Mai here. The damage coming out from this cut is going to be a little too much, and the Chronosphere is going to be pushing into them with these double guillotines. He's going to be able to Always Inchan to maybe try to find an angle, try to look for a mistake on the side of Team Auto Arms, but there might not be an opening. There is the engage coming out from the Mai. They're able to get some damage back in. A lot of investment was used. Can Blaster find it? One circle is going to be forced to use a taunt. There is a fairy jumping up, but it is going to be buffered by Fable there. Damage going to be traded back. And look at the auto attacks. It's just way too much from Fable on this Kadi, and I think that is going to be it. Team Auto Arms going to be the one to come out on top. Just very nicely played. Is able to play the front to back so well, kiting back, able to get the buffer on that Nikki ult as well. And unfortunately, Auto Arms, or not always Auto Arms, but always Incheon just barely not there to get into that checkpoint breakpoint.
And with that, we are guaranteed a game number 5. Nice attempt from always Incheon, but that's exactly what ends up happening when teams prepare for the Chronosphere to move up, right? It was definitely a gambit in the way that Daejeon Auto Arms play, just simply because you're never guaranteed for that Chronosphere to move to the top side of the map like that, but a very, very well hedged bet paying off in the end. GG's to Daejeon Auto Arms as they're going to take away game number 3 with about 20.5 points within their arsenal, but this doesn't deny the fact that Always Incheon is even closer to getting the checkpoint now.
Yeah, I think only about 4 points away for the side team Always Incheon should be able to get in there for game 5, unless they have a disastrous game before. And team Auto Arms, they're slowly coming back, and they're definitely going to be able to catch up here.
Really, really good plays across the board. The final zone well managed by both of our teams. I think it really does emphasize the importance of playing the Charlotte into a lot of these late game poke compositions though, right? You guys said it perfectly where the Kadia was pelting bullets onto the members of Always Incheon, but Charlotte just nullified pretty much all of it. We saw how bad the fight was going at the beginning too. Always Incheon was pushed out of the Chronosphere's range because of all the pressure coming through from Cinema, but you just press one button on the Charlotte and nullified so much of it. So that is the value of this kind of character when you run a composition like this. Divine Intervention is also there to keep your teammates alive just in case of trouble, but it's also on the other side to respond really well, which Daejeon Auto Arms did.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the Charlotte was there just healing up the members of the side of team Always Incheon, but I think the damage coming out from the side of team Auto Arms was a little too much, right? We saw the healing fact, or the healing wind being used a little early when they were getting poked down and getting hit by, all of the auto attacks from the Kadia, the bombs from the Celine, and that's a key cooldown to not have in that final fight. And I think that's kind of what's kind of turned it around into the side of Team Auto Arms' favor. And obviously that Kadia from Fabled, just the perfect timing on that buffer, right? Like if you're able to use it on that Nikki peerage uppercut, the Nikki can't really get on top of you anymore, because not only do you make the distance, but you get that movement speed from hitting it as well. So just very well played from the side of Team Auto. I'm just able to play that front to back so well. If it was any other ADC, I think Team Always Incheon would have had it there, but Kadia is going to be banned. So I do think going into game number 4 here, Team Always Incheon have a pretty good standing. Just kind of unfortunate that all these teams decided to swap over to that Kadia pick going into game 3, right as they ended up swapping their team comp entirely to maybe try to mind game and try to counter these other team comps, but ended up getting countered instead.
A lot of the decisions on changing things up, like your roster or even the compositions, is all about stability, but getting that broken is definitely going to hurt. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream. Changing over to backup compositions never feel good, but when you're a player like Fable, I really don't think it's going to matter, right? Let's be real here. He can play pretty much any ADC in the game and we'll still be able to see results on it, which is going to be good, because now looking at the scoreboard, it's still going to be a Always Incheon run. Despite winning in that game, Daejeon Auto Arms is still in 4th place, 34.5. They may have closed the gap, but it's still a long ways ahead. They're nearly double the points behind Team Always Incheon, who is sitting at 61 in comparison to their 34.5.
Yeah, but it does suck for the side team Always Incheon, right? They're not going to have that one extra game that they can maybe, close out the series, because they did end up losing that final fight into the side of Team Auto Arms. But going into game 5, they can sort of decide if they want to keep Blaster or they're gonna swap Luminal back in, because the first 2 games they had a really good showing. I'm honestly really surprised that they ended up swapping out, because I think carrying the momentum going to game 3 and 4 here could have gave them the opportunity to maybe close out the series in 4 games.
It's It's gonna suck for you and me because if we end early, we go to sleep a little bit early tonight. I know people in chat don't want that because you guys love our voices. Am I right? You guys want to hear us talk the entire night. I love yapping away on stream too, but we have also got to get our beauty sleep tonight. Regardless, yeah, I think the games are looking really good anyway, so it doesn't matter what I want or not. I just want to watch good games of Eternal Return. That is exactly what I want. I'm getting all of that, which means I am down for more games. Well played from Team Digital Auto Arms, but everybody else also trying to do what they can, right? Overpride, I think, is another team that I want to highlight today. But the only thing I'm seeing from this team that is making me a little bit worried in their long-term investment for the series is they seem really unconfident in late-game fights despite being so far ahead. I think with their roster, they should have had plenty of time to get either control over the temporary zone inside a fire station or at least pressure out Digital Auto Arms instead of having to use the safety drone away from it. I'm a little bit confused on why they ended up doing that, but that's the thing I want to see improved from Team Overpride.
Yeah, they are losing out on these late game 3v3s and getting wiped. They are still in second place though, right? So it's still a really good showing from them, especially, you know, into all of these National League teams, just able to utilize this EVA so well. And it's just great to see them come out and, you know, play their own game. We are going to be having Auto Arms going to be swapping over to the Rio, looks like Loken as well. So Rio going to be that substitute pick. And actually, I didn't even know this, but Kadi is going to be banned for 2 rounds. There was actually 4 Kadis in that last game.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we're not going to be able to see the Kadia until, what is that, game number 6? Am I correct?
Yeah.
1, 2, yeah, exactly. Game number 6. That's the reason why she's like in that middle area where earlier you might have seen the Cecilia and the Heart being banned on that left side. It says banned 1 round compared to banned 2 rounds because she was picked 4 times instead of 3. Compositions are now locked in. We are seeing a return for some of these Sua, Hayes, and the Rio compositions. Which one are you looking at now?
We got 4 Rios, so Rio is going to be banned for 2 games. So they're going to be swapping around these ADCs, but Rio and Kadi are both going to be banned for game 5. So I'm really curious on what these teams are going to be picking to substitute these long-range ADCs, because I don't think there's a 3rd long-range ADC in the game, Juvie.
Yeah, it's really just going to come down to Nadine, right? But she's not even that long-range. You're looking at most, mid-range dogfights. We've seen it between 9ㅅCU as well as Curry. These 2 people gave us a show of the lifetime earlier at Chapel. If we're gonna see more ADC players do that, I think I'm all in for game number 5, man. I want to see these Nadines just play ego all the way. Mid-game fights are going to be really difficult with all the characters that are being played, like the Mai, who I don't think is banned going into game number 5, which means playing Nadine is going to feel like absolute hell. But, you know, that's what I want to see. Here we go, folks. Game number 4 now locked underway. Our last game before we go into a break once more. Game 5 is guaranteed, right? We're going to have to see it because Always Incheon is not in checkpoint just yet. But with this game, we should kind of be at that point where starting from game number 6 is going to be a little bit finicky on whether or not that game is going to be guaranteed.
Yeah, you say it might be hell, but Mai also pairs pretty well with actually Crossbow Nadine, so I'm curious if we'll see that type of team comp come out, that all these teams are going to be swapping to maybe that Mai Nadine type of team comp, and maybe we'll see more of the Lucina. I'm actually really surprised that we don't really see much Lucina here in the finals, but maybe in the group stages it was maybe a different meta that all these teams did end up swapping off of it in the finals here.
Okay, how our team is going to deal with the fact that it's going to be a fiesta starting from minute 1, right? It doesn't matter if the team compositions have changed. We've already seen the pattern for a lot of these teams. As soon as we see teams group up, expect there to be fights. But we saw a lot of them getting baited in, just like this. Rox, I think 9ㅅCU should have let that happen. If I'm going to be real, that Alonso was completely by himself, even without the information that they had on hand. Chromatic will get taken down. This could be the first blood of our game. Actually, never mind, I say first blood, but there's been 3 already from Always Incheon. Or not Always Incheon, but Daejeon Auto Arms. Where the hell did they find those?
Oh, yeah, looks like the EVA is going to get caught out by the side team. Sangam Rocks is, look at the members of Overpride. They're just going to teleport themselves on out of there. And yeah, unfortunately, they will end up going down, and it will be 3 early kills though for the side of Team Auto Arms on the other side of the map.
Let's see, Team Star grouped up. Songnam Rocks is going to look to contest down on the south side of the map dock. There is another team hanging around. Overpride should have Storm Chaser coming up in a few seconds. KCW picked out as well. Just your standard day number 1. Have we seen any kills from Daejeon Auto Arms on some of these people? We're finally going to see one as Ryori gets jumped on immediately. Loken has to run away, but Ryori is already taken down. The Sandstorm going to be taken. One circle still on the chase. Blast Wave not there in time, meaning he's going to be able to get himself away. Another pick onto Storm Chaser as the Eva dies once more. This Eva's, I think, been dead longer post-finishing build than been alive.
Yeah, and Fable here is going to find the members of the side team. Junchun looks like Nikki is going to get hit by the Mutant Boar and is just going to go down. Blaster going to be the one last member alive. Is going to try to force themselves away, but try to use his ultimate back in. Great response there from Fable, able to E-shift out of that ultimate and pick up another 2 kills. Auto-Arm sitting on 7 early kills in phase 1 here. They have to be feeling really good, and they're making their way closer and closer into that checkpoint breakpoint. Can they get there? They need about 30.5 points. Most likely not, but we have seen a 30-point game this weekend, so
Still
could be
possible.
doable.
Yeah, 33, right? I think was what Team Merc Gaming was able to get during what knockout stage number 4.
It should be.
Yeah, I think it was 4 too. It's definitely a possibility. Maybe?
I think it was 5 to 6, I think, because I remember it was. I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, was it yesterday? Or was it on Friday? I'm actually not too sure now.
Somebody chat might remember, right? Because they have better memory than we do. Unfortunately, our brain too small. Kungkwei stuck out in the middle of nowhere. He is going to use the Garden Reverse, but unfortunately, getting stuck down in one place, it's a little bit difficult. Unfortunately, the chains that came to dial in Spirit of Kicks, not there for the Nikki. She can't go through people. If she's guarding and reversing on top of somebody, high chance that you're just going to be stuck in place.
Yeah, it kind of falls into the same category, like, you know, Suwa getting caught by, or getting their Don Quixote kind of blocked here. And there's engaged. They are going to be able to find the members of the side of Team New Rising Island 1. Loken is just going to get immediately collapsed on from 3 different angles from the side of Team CNG Esports. They do end up picking up that kill. Very nicely played, and a great flank angle from that team. Yeah, Rio gonna go down, and once Rio goes down, that's a lot of your damage out for the count there. Ooh, a huge monkey wire is gonna connect onto the Rio there, and it's gonna be a nice kill from the side of Pride.
Insane trying to do what he can, but yeah, I think he picked up maybe 1 or 2 of the Mutant Wolves. It's not going to be as worth as picking up all the other ones. At least there wasn't a transition in there for the Suwa to not capitalize on. Will be an extra kill going in favor of Team CNJ Esports, and because it's now phase number 2, that's a whole point going in their favor. CNJ Esports is being really productive, and Loken gets cancelled out thanks to the work of an explosion shot. Curry on the chase. Squirrel Trap's not going to land, but the final auto attack is there. An easy kill pickup for Sungnam Rocks.
Nice pick for Sungnam Rocks, and yeah, once again, it's that full point value that they are going to be able to get. Looks like Sungnam Rocks is going to be able to TP over as well to make sure they are going to be grouped up for these buy-ins. You can see these teams slowly and already getting the 4-score buy-ins off of the new change this season that there is going to be slightly more credits that is given to you in the early game. So that's the whole reason why we're able to see these buy-ins happen so much earlier than in the previous seasons.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned earlier too, I think coin toss has been a lot more valuable to people than it has been in the past, just because of how much people are fighting in phase number 1. You do still get the full value out of it after all, so coin toss value, stonks are looking good. Daejeon Auto Arms fighting up against CNJ Esports for the value on the Lumi. Lumi will end up getting taken down, but the fight still continues. KCW stuck in the middle of nowhere, but the Faith of Wavering, I keep saying Divine Intervention. KCW still goes back in, but there's not that much sustain remaining anymore on the side of CNJ Esports, so another Garden Reverse will get KCW out. He's charging back up, and he might be looking to fight back in. There's the Pure Rage Uppercut, but the damage is there this time around. Daejeon Auto Arms with yet another great response up against KCW. KCW's feeling it a little bit, though. I kind of like this.
Yeah, blink on forward. Immediately, the members of Team Auto Arms were able to dodge out on the stun, but still just pushing on forward there. CNJ Esports, just no fear at all. Unfortunately, the Johan value is going to get mitigated. They were able to sustain back up, but Auto Arms had that heal plant that they were just able to sit under and get their HP bars back up for that team fight. So a little unfortunate for the side of Team CNJ Esports, as yeah, the heal plan just going to the favor of Auto Arms, getting their HP bars to turn that fight back into their favor.
Night 2 will begin now, meaning alphas are going to be available. Alonso goes straight in on towards the triple DPS composition, but he actually takes a good amount of damage. Healing drone has already been activated, but the Alonso is out. Peacemaker activated on the side of Gyeonggi and 8, but the lockdown from Satin actually pushes away Chino instead, so I actually think this is positional advantage going towards Songnam Rocks instead, because they also have the healing plant on the south side. Don't really see too many teams around, which means it's a clean 3-4-3 fight, but without Peacemaker, can Gyeonggi and 8 reliably walk into this team composition knowing there's an Ardo with Nimrod's Gate and the Alonso on the other side?
But the HP bars is not in the favor of Sangnam Rocks here. Look at the damage. Gyeonggi is going to be able to get the mid throw. I don't know if they were able to get it actually. Yes, they do. And Rocks is actually going to be the one to come out on top in this whole exchange.
It's so rough as a triple DPS, right? That Peacemaker is basically your entire life. If you don't have that, then you really can't afford to invest into an Alonso, which is why despite knowing that the alpha was going down, they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, 100%. An item going to the side of Team Busan Best on the top side here, and Overpride got wiped off the map.
When did that happen?
Don't know which team killed. I think it was Team New Rise that killed them because they do have 4 points, so maybe Team Auto Arms, but yeah, Overpride just don't know exactly what happened. Weren't able to actually catch that, unfortunately.
Interesting. Okay. Well, in Always in Chun, looking to fight up against Taejeon Auto Arms, or maybe might have been the other way around. Great dash of hope is going to keep Senefine alive for at least the time being. Kyungkwae all the way in the backside. Paradiso is there too to try keeping them alive. One Circle is the first one to fall. Kyungkwae still lives. Blaster up on the backside. Fable trying to stay alive. He will get the trade over onto Kyungkwae, but how did Kyungkwae get away with that? And also, the fact that they didn't check the bush but still missed out on a kill opportunity over onto the Charlotte. The CC stacking just isn't there right now for Taejeon Auto Arms.
I thought Auto Arms would have been able to have it there because of that huge exclusive to pull, One Circle of safety, but I think also playing down, you know, a couple items here, not having that next couple of buy-ins. A little fortunate for Team Auto Arms, but yeah, Always in Chun just able to get the picks once again. The Nikki just able to find it, just dashing on forward, able to get the right angle, and yeah, went on that team fight. So very nicely played by Always in Chun, and now they're 1 point away from getting that checkpoint big point.
Yeah, that's the big part. I think that a lot of these teams have to be focused on. Thanks to Team Overpride falling down really early, despite only having 2 points on the kill side of things, you still get the extra point from placement, right? 7th place, you get 1 guaranteed. Now, CNJ Esports is trying to look for a fight up against New Rise Gangwon. There's the Pure Reach Uppercut, but going to be cancelled out by the shield, and KCW will get sniped down by the grenade before he ends up going down first. What was that? From Hoyoung, I see what the opportunity was, but you're not really going for anything, my friend. A minute and 15 seconds before the rift comes up. I think that's what Pixu is targeting, because look at the credits on the side of CNJ Esports.
Yeah, I saw the angle, but unfortunately you're jumping into 3 members of the side of Team New Rise there. Just going to get bursted down. Great response to immediately punish the Jenny from dashing on forward.
Lumi going to be prioritized by 2 different teams as well. Taejeon Auto Arms and New Rise Gangwon looking for the opportunity on grabbing this, but it's going towards the direction of Taejeon Auto Arms, sorry. Busan Bestbell will also join the fray, and Cinema is about half HP. Lumi is walking down into school now. Now it's going to be in favor of Busan Bespo, which will be the team that picks up Lumi all the way until the health bar drops to 0.
And they get a lot of credits for that, but there is going to be an Omega spotting up there in a gas station, and the only team positioned for it so far is going to be the side Team Auto Arms. There's going to be Team Busan Best actually going to be walking in to maybe contest. Auto Arms are actually going to opt to VLS out, as I think they saw the items on the side Team Busan Best, but they're looking a little too strong for them. 5 items on Rio, 4 items on Sumo, 4 items on Hayes. It's a little too hard to fight into this team, so yeah, teams are just going to slowly back themselves on out.
Gyeonggi and 8 still sticking as 3. Are their items good this time around? Gyeonggi and 8, it's okay. They find Bori, but there's a team inside of Forest. I don't know if Gyeonggi and 8's composition is well built for this. It's another double purple box situation that we have on our hands inside of Forest, but look at the poke out back over onto the triple DPS comps. Oh my god. Yeah,
that's pretty good. They do get a 4 score as well, so it's gonna be that dragon skill, gonna be built up for that Celine, and you can see the credit counts as well on the Rio. Looks like they're saving for those bloods. Basically sitting in a pretty comfortable spot right now.
While all that happened, CNJ Esports was able to reliably get over on towards the Rift, meaning all 3 members are going to be up and no fights inside of that zone, allowing them to pick up a gold box for themselves. That's going to be up to, I believe, a Mithril. No, it's actually going to be a Force Core. Although that Rio, is over there by themselves. Kyunggi and 8 will end up losing out on 200 credits, which they pretty much have none of it, so needed to save on those. It's not going to be a choice anymore.
Yeah, Blatt split away from Rio there. Busan Vespa gonna be able to immediately punish on that and get the kill. We do have the Nikki gonna join the side of Team Always Incheon down here in Factory. Where is... Oh, no, Charlotte is just tagging along with that Tazia there. Always Incheon still just needing 1 extra point to get themselves into checkpoint breakpoint. There's auto arms. They're going to be able to force a Peacemaker down early. And I think that's going to be a call for Team Gyeongyene to retreat here. Jino is going to get tagged up by this rate of the arrows, and I think Team Auto Arms should be able to pick this extra kill up as well. There is the blast way forward, and 1 circle should be able to pick up that Rio, and 2 kills going to the side Team Auto Arms. A great showing from them so far with 8.5 points. They could honestly still make it in, you know, getting 22 more points from this spot isn't that bad.
Even with 6 teams alive, every single one of those kills will count as a whole point, but there's still a lot that Tejan Auto Arms is going to have to do, right? Really well set up for it. We should see the blood buy-in for the Rio in the time being, 492 credits on their side, alongside a ton of other teams being focused on the complete opposite side of the map because they're all fighting. Purple box inside of Factory. That's a double wall. This is going to be looking pretty good from Always Incheon. They will be able to find the snipe over onto the Rio. These guys are officially in checkpoint. As long as some weird shenanigans doesn't happen and they don't -1. They will now have an extra point on their hands. -2 is what they're going to somehow have to do in order to get out of checkpoint instead. But this will be the first team of Always Incheon in checkpoint for our Phase 1 finals.
I mean, a huge fight from Blaster and a disastrous mistake from the side of Team Rise Gangwon there. 2 members getting hit by that Tazia wall. I mean, you just get locked up there. It's just easy follow-up for the side of Team Always Incheon to finish the members of the side of Team New Rise Gangwon there, right? The Haze, I think it was the Haze. No, it was the Rio and the Suwa getting tagged up by the wall. The Parage Uppercut was just used on the Rio, and the Spell Shield was already used because the Suwa did end up getting caught there. So I'm not going to be able to be there and be used to help out on the Rio. Exactly. New Rise Gangwon trying to recover and stabilize as much as they can, but the wall is perfect. The wall is picture perfect. Logan had nowhere else he could go. An instantaneous pick out of nowhere again up against New Rise Gangwon. There is no stabilizing here for this team. It is impossible. It was a good spell shield, but the problem is the wall is just splitting you away, and the spell shield was immediately broken by the Tazia there. There's a huge find, a huge engage coming out from CNJ Esports, able to finish off, or not O3C, but the Nadine. And yeah, there is a nice Nimbus going to get them to safety, but Sad getting caught out once again on this Nadine. A little unfortunate for the side team. No, again! They get caught by Auto Arms. A huge spear arrow coming out from Loken. Another -200. Link was invested by the heart, but it looks like it's actually not going to opt to take that that rift there. Why? I know somebody was probably walking up, but that one's not taken. Is that I'm looking on the minimap, it's not grayed out. No, Signum Rocks is right there, so I think just decided not to take that because you have to be a little careful for an Arda and Alonzo, right? They could easily lock you down and shut you off, but I feel like they're in range in time to take it in. I don't know why they didn't end up taking it either. Well, we do have a fight inside of the Rift. New Rise Gangwon trying to stabilize. Same thing for Gyeongyene. Both of these teams have been having a little bit of a tough time, but that's an early invest on the Peacemaker. Not looking good, and the Rain of Arrows not going to be enough to knock down the Heart, but she's effectively out of the fight. SMG Burst not going to be enough, but the Grenade Launcher is. Down goes the Heart as well. Zero Jin, goodbye, my friend. It's not happening. Loken will be able to pick up the kill. Gyeongyene terminated from game number 4. It will be Team New Rise, not New Rise Gangwon. What is that? Team Gyeongyene going down indeed. And that is 3 full points, I think, going to the side of Team New Rise because it is a day 3 rift. So these are permanent kills. Very nicely played for New Rise, and they're sitting on 10 points as well. They get all those items. They get a blood as well because, yeah, if you do end up fighting in the rift on a night 4 cycle, you do end up getting that blood that you could use on your carry. So US Gamron, they're back into this game here.
What this also does is relieve a lot of pressure on the map too, right? In comparison to 7 teams, I think I talked about this yesterday for a lot of you guys in chat, but once we go down to 6, the map is somewhat manageable, which is actually really good because we have some really small maps that are going to be left after we go into day number 5. Warehouse is a very, very small zone. Uptown looks big, but with a lot of the zone kind of blocked out thanks to the terrain. Uptown is not that big of a map either. You can fit a lot of teams in there, but it is so contentious that you move just a little bit when teams are already stabilized, you're going to find yourself going up against 2 to 3 teams at once. So I don't think the zones are stable enough that having 7 teams would have been a viable option, but with 6, it is possible thanks to Force existing.
Yeah, I think Team Auto Arms are just going to bunker down here in Warehouse, so they're probably not going to get that many more kills in this game, which means they probably won't be able to get a checkpoint breakpoint going to game number 5. But they're definitely looking to win this game. They're looking pretty strong. Team New Rise as well, because they were able to win out on the Rift. They're in a pretty good position as well. But look at the positioning from Sangnam Rocks here. They're stuck in between 2 or 3 teams. Have to be a little careful. Busan Vespa was the team that did end up getting Wickline as well, sitting on that Suwa double backline team comp. They are going to get some poke damage. Sana already getting chunked down half his HP from just a haze grenade.
Oh my goodness.
And they're going to be forced to use that Nimrod's going to get themselves to safety.
So hard, man, playing these mid-range characters because everybody else is just playing long range and we're all in late game together. We're all in this together, I guess. Oh god, it's going to be so hard for Team Songnam Rocks to play this out. Their items are somewhat behind. It's not terrible, but in comparison to everyone else's, yeah, you're struggling. So a little bit rough. One other point that I do want to make is that CMG Esports 24.5 points behind the checkpoint mark themselves as well. 6 for themselves at the moment. I don't know if the point remaining in this game is going to be enough unless they pick up everything. They got to get everything.
Yeah, it's possible, but pretty unlikely, I would say, especially if you look at the items on the side Team CMG Esports. They're also not in too good of a position themselves. We do have the Wicked team going to be coming in and maybe contesting the side Team Auto Arms. Great Rocket's going to be able to connect, and I don't think Team Busan Vespa wants anything to do with Team Auto Arms, as they're going to slowly just back themselves on out and probably contest for this Forest final zone instead.
And always in turn, trying to pressure New Rise count 1. For these guys, this fight is a formality because they are in checkpoint. It doesn't matter what this happens to them anymore, but the spell shield's going to break. Insane is now the one in trouble. The resets are there. Shield isn't going to be enough, but it definitely is enough to knock down Insane. Riori trying desperately to recover from this, but their timer is also bad. Songnam Rocks on the flank side, safety drone, whatever. It doesn't even matter for that one. Songnam Rocks is the one in a little bit of trouble. Nadine will join back up, but this Alonzo is isolated away. Protocol violation is there, but it doesn't even matter. Down goes the Alonzo. Always in turn, still on the driver's seat.
Yeah, Sangnam Rocks is going to go down, unfortunately. The Alonso jumping a little too far forward, and they do end up getting both of the kills, but is it worth it? You know, you're not going to have a chance to win this game anymore, as it will take over to that day 6 spot, and it is going to be CMG Esports, unfortunately, getting caught on the bottom side. Will end up going down. Jenny is going to get caught, and then Nikki, you can see on the mini-map on the bottom right there, just going to try riding it out for a couple more placement points.
Pretty good for Always Incheon. These guys are still looking confident. What's really nice for Always Incheon, yes, these fights are a formality, but by knocking down the other teams, it prevents them from getting more points, right? So it's a fight for survival at this point for Always Incheon. How low can you put the rest of the other team's points that you're going to be able to give yourself a decent enough of a buffer space where you might be the only team in checkpoint, or 2, maybe even 3 games if you get lucky. That's what Always Incheon is looking for now.
Yeah, unfortunately for Auto Arms, no team is gonna want to just walk into them here, as every single team is up here in Forest, so they're not gonna be able to get any more points until the final fight here. There's gonna be Team Busan Vespa and the side team Always Incheon. Our only full teams left in Forest here gonna try to zone each other away, but I think this solo and this duo might wreak havoc in this final team fight, especially into a team comp like the side team Busan Vespa, who want to play this front-to-back kind of zoning type of team comp to make sure they're able to make space.
Always Incheon has no idea. They're about to find out that there's another team in a few seconds. Camera down, but it's not Team Always Incheon's. Busan Vespa will back away because that camera actually signifies that there's another team. This actually buys Team Always Incheon a little bit of time inside of the temporary zone, making it difficult for KCW to catch a breather himself. Gardner reverse over onto the left side, but it's going to give an easy kill. I think that was Busan Vespa that somehow picked it up out of nowhere. Maybe a Hanare.
Yeah, I think just a Rio W was able to finish that that kill. And now Team Busan Vespa are going to have to slowly have to push back up. Team Sangnam Rocks, they don't have any timer left, and they're the duo. They're going to be the Weavers here. Are they just going to decide that Team Busan Vespa? There is going to get poked out, actually. And Busan Vespa are going to be able to grab all the kills. Spell Shield is going to come down. There's the ultimate coming down from the Charlotte as well. They're turning onto the Rio, but the Spell Shield was there once again. Huge play from the Suwa, as they're going to be able to actually kite back here. Is Dramatic going to be able to live? Yes, they will be able to. And a huge play coming out from the Rio and the Suwa, just kiting back perfectly, and the spell shields were even more perfect.
Disadvantages of nighttime, right? We have all the information in the world as spectators because we have the spectator vision advantage, but for the teams, you're very limited on what kind of information you actually have, which means Team Always Incheon didn't know the two rats were about to get taken down. So Busan Vespa actually capitalizing on the fact that they have more timer, and I think these guys actually played it perfectly in comparison to what we've seen in the past, right? Play off of advantages instead of over pushing things. Make sure that because you know you have timer advantage, force the other team to be the ones that push into you instead. Make it a favorable situation for yourself. The problem is now Daejeon Auto Arms, last team against Team Busan Vespa, and these guys hold against this.
And that is a 3-blood Rio. This Dramatic is going to be doing so much damage, and it's kind of poetic.
Yeah.
Dramatic versus one circle here in the final zone for game number 4. Who's going to come out on top? Will it be Fable on the Rio instead? There's a blast wave. The spell shields are going to come down a little too late though, as the damage was already done. The poke damage, I think, has to be there for the side Team Busan Vespa. Dramatic needs to just walk up and do a lot of damage, but Cinema on the off angle on the bottom side here, they don't even know where this Mai is, so they have to play a little cautious. And Mai just sitting in this little corner, should be able to jump the wall if they have an angle in.
These Salim bombs are making it so difficult for Busan Vespa to walk in. They don't have a designated tank. I actually do think Busan Vespa knows where she is. I think they saw her on a recon drone, but still ends up getting caught out by it. What the heck is going on here? Solensar has to immediately use all of their resources to get out. The only problem is none of these guys have timer. You might have safety drones, but you have to walk so far away in. Daejeon Auto Arms knows exactly what's going on here. Timer advantage is so easy. It tastes so good. Nobody from Busan Vespa can walk in, and by this point, it's way too late. There is no way you're going to be able to find kills. 2 seconds left. What a masterclass on how to play the final zone. Daejeon Auto Arms making it so simple, making it look easy up against Busan Vespa, who didn't stand a single chance. GG, well played.
That's just so well played by Team Auto Arms there. Cinema just playing that corner wall, and yeah, they're able to catch out the members of the side of Team Busan Vespa, and then despite them having full zone control, they're just sitting in red timer, zoning them away, because you're able to play. When you're playing these backliners and you're trying to trade, you want to make sure you're able to kite back into that chronosphere. And Busan Vespa's timers were just ticking the whole time, so eventually their hand is forced, and they all just explode at the very end.
A lot of times, you know me, right? You know me. A lot of people in chat also know that I just say pull the trigger, right? You're at a disadvantage. You're going to have to just send it eventually anyways. But this is an impossible situation for Busan Vespa because Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the problem is they're playing Rio Haze Suwa, so they can't really pull the trigger, right? They have to let the Rio and Haze try to outtrade, but they were just getting outvalued, I think. And it was actually Auto Arms the one to pull the trigger because they walked up a little too far forward, and they didn't know the Mai was over the wall. The Mai just was able to get a nice engage, get the Quake down, force a lot of cooldowns, and yeah, just let Team Auto Arms just win that one out.
Funny thing is, I could have sworn that Busan Vespa recon droned out the Mai earlier. I saw a recon drone hovering exactly where the Mai was. And it was red, considering the fact that the observers were highlighting over Daejeon Auto Arms. I thought that was the recon drone from Busan Vespa's side, but either way, they lost vision of the Mai eventually and ended up losing the fight because of it. But another thing that I do want to mention is that I always say to these teams, if you're at a disadvantage, just pull the trigger. You gotta send it. Might as well go out fighting for your lives instead of just falling down flat like that. But Busan Vespa was caught in an impossible situation because you're fighting into a late game Celine with no designated tank to try eating some of the damage from those bombs to find yourself in initiation. Late game Sua is great, but is she a tank? No, she is most definitely not. She will eat a ton of damage against the late game Celine. I don't think you want to go into those two with half your HP as a Sua. You're not winning that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the one downside, I think, to Busan Vespa's team is it's a team comp that can't really send it, right? It's like Sua can dash in, but I think Sua will just instantly die. It's really up to, the Rio and the Haze to make space to push them away, but they were just getting out-traded the whole time. Rheumatic just not able to get, enough value, I think, on that Rio. As you have to push into the Celine, you have to push into the Rio. That's team comp is really good when enemies are pushing into you, but when you're pushing into another team, that has these backliners to kind of zone you away, it's really, really hard for them to play.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw yesterday with the Eva versus the Haze matchups, but the only problem with fighting into a Celine is that her bombs don't really have any cooldown if you set them down solo in comparison to the Eva, who kind of still has to manage a gauge, right? So it's going to be hard. It's going to be much harder. The bombs also stay in place if you don't pop them as a Celine, which means you can't easily push past those, whereas the laser can turn off here and there. It's just a really difficult situation for Busan Vespa, as we've been saying for the past, 3 minutes at this point. Regardless, here's the scores after game number 4. We do have Team Always Incheon in that checkpoint spot, 74 points, but Daejeon Auto Arms is getting close, Super.
Yeah, now the question is Team Always Incheon going to swap back to Luminal, or are they going to stay on Blaster? I mean, the first 2 games, their only win so far has been on that Shoichi, so we'll have to see, right? Because I think they swapped over to Blaster because they thought maybe it was a better checkpoint team, but they weren't able to utilize it in checkpoint, right? Because they did end up not having enough points in game number 4 going into game number 5.
Exactly. This might be the time to bring...
Game 3 to 4.
Bingo. This might be the time to bring back Luminal, but that is all dependent on the teams, and that's going to happen during the break, which is going to happen now. So grab some water, go grab a snack, and go take a stretch, folks. We're going to be here once again for games 5 and potentially a game number 6, which is not guaranteed yet, because if Always Incheon wins game 5, we are done for the night, but we won't be able to find that out until the break is over. So we'll see you guys in just a moment.
Take care, take care.
잠시 후 최종 안전 부대가 해제됩니다.
You're ready to get in the game now. The last thing you want is to wait. WD Black. Performance storage. Purpose-built for gaming. SSD speed that obliterates load times. Performance to transform your game. Expanded capacity to store more. Customizable RGB. WD Black. Because the game never waits. WD Black. Drive your game.
예기치 못한 사고는 언제나 발생할 수 있지. 통제할 수 없는 힘은 저주야. 적어도 사람인 채 죽는 게 낫지 않겠어? 내가 죽거나 네가 죽거나 존재도 흔적도 남김없이 지우겠어. 시간 끌 필요 없겠지. 이걸로 과거를 바꿀 순 없겠지만 미래라면 지겹게도 몰려드는 쓸모없긴 사활을 걸고 넌 반드시 데려가겠어. 찾았다. 얌전히 죽어. 결국 괴물 하나가 죽는 건 변하지 않겠지. 내가 괴물이 되기 전에 날 죽여줘. 천도는 만악을 좌시하지 않는 법. 백기야행은 수도 없이 겪어봤다고. 배워야 할 악이 있다면 마땅히 될 뿐. 악귀, 멸사, 악령이건 악인이건 전부 베어주겠어. 악은 벨 뿐. 어디 한가롭게 떠도는 악기 없나? 지옥에서 참회해라! 비아부하, 불나방은 불에 뛰어드는 법. 길 잃은 망자들을 다른 길로 인도할 뿐. 길 잃은 영혼이 방황 않고 성불하시길. 후회도 늦었어. 티켓, 최반의 갈시. 이 맛에 산다니깐.
자, 반갑습니다. 루미아 섬의 생존자 여러분. 9.3 패치노트 다이제스트 진행을 맡은 농루트입니다. 시즌9 마트리의 세 번째 패치가 어느새 여러분의 곁으로 찾아갑니다. 새로운 상품들을 포함하여 어떤 변화들이 기다리고 있을지 지금부터 같이 알아보시죠. 먼저 새롭게 추가되는 상품입니다. 원한이 사라질 때까지 몇 번이고 원원들을 베어 넘기는 고스트헌터 히스이가 루미아 섬에 찾아옵니다. 멋진 가면과 검을 들고 다니는 고스트헌터 히스이는 제작소, 교환소에서 마트리 토큰으로 교환하실 수 있습니다. 부와 권력이 겉모습부터 느껴지는 언더보스 얀이 출시됩니다. 언더보스 얀과 함께 루미아 섬의 챔피언에 도전해보세요. 수험생 혜진이 대표 이미지와 모델링 교체를 통해 여러분에게 다시 찾아갑니다. 새로워진 수험생 혜진에도 많은 관심 부탁드립니다. 실험체 수아의 새로운 이모티콘 4종도 상점에 추가됩니다. 수아의 다양한 모습들을 이모티콘으로 만나보세요. 잘 조율된 캐릭터 조합과 전략, 유기적인 전술과 팀플레이를 겨루는 사전 구성팀 간의 진검승부 유니온 대전이 돌아왔습니다. 유니온 대전에서는 최대 4인이 하나의 유니온을 구성할 수 있으며 한 플레이어는 최대 4개의 유니온에 소속될 수 있습니다. 유니온 대전은 계정 레벨 30 이상부터 참여할 수 있지만 유니온 팀 생성은 골드 티어 이상부터 가능합니다. 유니온 대전에는 별도의 티어 시스템이
Welcome back from the break, everybody. Hope you guys had a good one. A nice and short one in comparison to some of our previous days because we're not switching between one knockout stage to another. We're keeping it same. It's still the finals. There's no like finals 1, finals 2. It's not that. There's nothing of the sort. So a 5-minute break is what you guys get in comparison to the past couple of days. So welcome back once again to the finals. We are now getting ready for games 5 and a potentially game number 6 depending on how one of our team does in this game. Always Incheon, the only team in checkpoint at the moment by a pretty decent margin, and now they do bring Lumino back, our star of the show for games 1 and 2. He is here, but now what are the responses from all the other teams?
I'm excited. I mean, Lumino was the reason why they are here in Checkpoint Breakpoint, right? Because they were able to win the first 2 games. And look at the amount of mines coming into game number 5 here. We have 4 mines locked in after the Rio
5.
The Kadia
6
are going to be banned. Oh, wait a second. 5, 6 Mai. So that's a 3-game ban. We're not going to see Mai for the rest of the series, most likely.
7.
Wait.
Come on, CNG.
You're right.
No, they're playing their classic COD. We're not seeing an 8
no.
Mai. Gyeonggi and 8, don't do this. Come on, man.
Ingu could go Mai. Yeah. I mean,
Come
I'm
on,
surprised
dude.
they still not the Mai here.
Please, just do it for the lols.
6 Mai's. We see the ABC players rotating onto the Nadine as well. 4 Nadines. Oh my god. 2 Sacellas. I don't think I see a 3rd Sacella, but Nadine coming back in as well. Like we said, Nadine Mai, classic. Right?
Yeah.
It's a classic. And it's being played by 5 different teams actually. They're all playing. Oh no, 4 different teams because
2, 3,
we're gonna
4,
have the
yep.
Tsubame instead on the side of New Rise. So we have yeah, I mean 4 Nadines, 2 Tsubames, 6 Mais, yeah.
6 Mais, yep. Ingu, you're letting me down, man. CNG Esports, I get it, right? They're playing their not world-winning, but season-winning composition that doesn't have a Maya as part of it. But I get it, right? It's okay if they don't play it. Even though Pexu has played the Mai for them in the past, we haven't really seen any good results of it. So if you're realistically playing, right, not for the lows or anything like that, it is smart for CNG Esports to not go the Mai. But still, Ingu, you make me mad just a little bit. But here we go, folks. It doesn't matter what the characters are picked, which characters are picked, because the game is going to start anyways. Game number 5 is going to begin with 6 Mais in tow, 4 Nadines alongside of it.
Yeah, unfortunately the cap is 5 picks, so it's only going to be 3 bans, not 4 bans.
Yep.
But it would have been funny if a character did end up getting banned for 4 games. I don't think we're going to get there, but we'll see if we do end up getting to a game 9, because that is when Mai will be back on the table.
This does mean that the record still hasn't been broken, Super.
5,
7...
6... Oh, no, game 8. Game 8 is when Mai will come back.
Yeah, but this does mean that the record still hasn't been broken. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a blast to the past for a lot of us here in chat, and some people who are new to the scene. Well, this is going to be a story for the olds. You might wonder why the ban system exists. Now, the reason why is because we actually didn't get that until a decent amount of time into the competitive kind of life cycle of Eternal Return. There was a game with 7 Lauras. So yeah, there you go. Very simply put, 7 game with Lauras. Nimble Neuron said enough is enough. We'll end up going for the return instead. Nice attempt from Loken. Almost got the 1v1 up against Romantic, but he will be able to lock it down. But there you go. There's the reason why the ban still exists. And with a 6 Mais, it does not beat the record out on that just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Crossbow D just having way too much damage, especially on that Adrenaline as well. They will be able to get the kill. Fable on the bottom side, though, will get actually taken down by Overpride, as they do end up getting a kill for themselves as well. Riori on the top side going to be able to get a pick on Romantic, but the members of the side team CG Esports are all grouped up, and they all collapse on the members of, I think that was Sagnum Rocks, and actually no, it's New Rise Gangwon and Loken. Not Loken, but Fable there on Auto Arms.
Senafine with a really nice initiation over onto Pubba. The clean combination is going to come through from the Shoichi. +1 is available, but of course it's not going to matter. Nicely set up from Senafine. And while that's happening, Kyungkwei is setting up a nice kill on the bottom side of Police Station as one circle is completely caught out. With the bush, he is going to be completely fine. Sapphire Protocol is really nifty, although it is not rainy weather. So somebody in chat was asking about the weather stuff. Theo could use it because of the extra bushes. Not going to be a factor for this game. Curry trying his best to get away from the fight. Yeah, it is clear, so food.
So it's actually less bushes. It's actually less bushes for the Theo there, and it is going to be a clean 3 kills coming out from the side of Team Youngie, and ain't going to be able to finish off the members of Sagnam Rocks here. Nadine on Jinho, getting a little more value there than Nadine on Sagnam Rocks there. Unfortunately, Curry did end up going down a little early in that team fight.
I am seeing this Theo from Tijan Auto Arms. I think Tijan Auto Arms really know it's time to get serious, because a lot of times in the history of Eternal Return, or especially at least when FN Sejong was playing One Circle on the roster, Theo meant that this team was getting real, right? So this is a good time for Tijan Auto Arms to lock this in alongside the Tsubame too.
I mean, Theodore, classic for One Circle. Obviously one of his best picks, and every time we see it come out, you know stuff is going down. And especially, I think, because of all the bans, right? The Rio and the Kadia, just makes it so, you know, they're gonna be forced to play this with the back team comp with the Mai, right? The Mai pairs really well with these dive heavy ADCs like the Tsubame and the Nadine. So pairing it with the Dio as well to, you know, sort of look for those catch potentials, and also, you know, just having that extra damage on the back line is really good.
Curry's going to get sniped down by a laser. Unfortunately, the healing drone not enough, as the Ghost Light there permanently adding a minus healing reduction. Although this is a snipe on the backside. If Satan somehow manages to stay alive for quite a bit, although that's not going to happen, maybe the res could have turned something around. But Curry dies once again as Loken on the backside. Tsubame is able to lock that down. Exclusive will actually keep the Tsubame alive too. Potentially the Mai is going to go down and another break could be within our hands. But while that's happening, always into looking for a kill. Zerojin in a little bit of trouble, but the Ruthless is already down. That means a lot of the damage output from Shoichi is gone, but he's got the resets, gets the kill over onto Jinho, and another member of Kyunggi is within the sights of Lumino, who's going to cancel out on the shield bash. That should be the Estelle falling down. Beautifully played from Lumino. Both Kiro and Lumino has been really good at canceling those, because remember, Kiro canceled a lot of Don Quixotes during our knockout stages. We get to see one from Lumino on the shield bash for Ingu.
Yeah, Lumino just looking so clean on the Shoichi, but the question is, will they be able to secure the win here? Bear is going to get cut out by the side team Sagnam Rocks, but is going to have that mobility to get themselves to safety, so Overpride is going to not lose their member, and they can maybe look for a contester down in Factory. I think Bear is getting some damage once again, and it is going to be Sagnam Rocks actually going to push off Overpride and get an item for himself as well off of those wolves.
Yep, this is going to be a bit of a problem. By the way, I will mention this for people as well. Always Inchan, I still think it's going to be a bit rough, right? These guys are snowballing really well for how early in the game it is. But with the Shoichi, everybody knows that's always Inchan.
we have to remember which team in the finals in the last season was the one that got ratioed by 4 different teams, and it was Team Always Inchan. So I'm not liking their chances, honestly, for this game, because they are the only team at checkpoint this time around. Yeah,
you know, another fight on the south side of the map. Afterburst nicely dodged away from Storm Chaser, but he still gets the Ghost Light tagged over onto him. Insane taking a decent amount of punishment as well. Bear with the healing drone will keep himself pretty healthy. O3CU jumping in again like the maniac this man is. Bear on the flip side trying to follow through onto Loken. Nice mobility, but it's not going to be enough to dodge against this exposure shot. Indeed, that means with that, control over Warehouse goes over to Team Overpride, but with 30 seconds to go until Alpha comes up, that can get taken away from some teams really, really quick.
Overpride are going to be able to get their item buy-ins here. Actually, New Rise already did end up getting 2 of their force for buy-ins, but yeah, the Mai still not having their buy-in, so Overpride going to have the advantage here. We do have a lot of different teams actually joining the fray on the bottom side here. Sagnam Rocks are going to be able to look for an angle onto CJ Esports, but KZW is going to be able to just jump on forward and get the pick onto the Nadine, but yeah, San is gonna be able to get the pull and actually hit the White Lily away from Bobo there, and Bobo should go down, and I think that CJ Esports gonna get wiped off the map because the Jackie is already dead.
No, that means one of our non-Mai teams are gone. Mai might be broken, guys. Whoa, who you? What the heck? That really sucks for CNJ Esports. Unfortunately, there is no safety with this composition other than just kind of making yourself your own safety net with all the crowd control. If that doesn't land and your team is just in a little bit of shambles in the middle of the fight, you are going to struggle, which is exactly what we saw with CND Esports. Will end up getting taken down means an early terminate, making it easier, by the way, for Always Incheon.
Really
That's
good,
one
yeah.
less team that those guys have to deal with.
That is really good for the checkpoint team, right? You want to try to wipe any of these teams early so you could make it so there's less teams to contest you for the final zone. Looks like Newrise Gangwon is going to lose Loken here as Biori is going to slowly back away as, yeah, it looks like they were split farming there in school and archery range, so they weren't really grouped up to take that team fight.
Yeah. Okay. Romantic over on the west side of the map could potentially deal with. Never mind. It's just insane. He does end up stealing away double mutant wolves. So in the grand scheme of things,
pretty good.
Worth with a question mark because the mastery went on to a Mai, but you do get the credits from it. That's definitely
the credits
worth.
Is big. Yeah. The credits is huge from those mutant wolves. I think it's like 9 or it's like 6 to 9, and then you get some extra on your teammates as well. It is a lot of value. So. You'll definitely take that, and the side of Team Newrise are going to start to group back up here in gas station. Maybe going to look for this team fight as Romantic is a little too far forward, but yeah, the poke there coming up from the haze is going to deny any engage attempt. And look at the damage coming out from Romantic. There's the exclusive being pulled back. A huge fight from Loken though with the ultimates, able to just dash on forward and finish off the Nadine, and it is going to be a nice 2 kills going to the side of Team Newrise Gangwon.
Swear, it's the worst feeling in the world when you think you've caught yourself a Subami, but then she puts down caltrops and you can't chase her anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks so bad. Really unfortunate for Busan Best, but luckily it was still a phase 1.5 death? What do you even call this anymore where you still get the reses? Like, I guess it's still phase 1 with a question mark. No, phase 1 is the half point.
Phase 2. It's phase 2. This is phase 3, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, it's still a phase 2 death for Busan Best, but they'll be back up by the time day number 3 starts with the satellite radar in their favor too. So Busan Best has an idea of what the map is looking like at the moment, but that is all they've got. They're going to land themselves inside a police station where there is Ingu over on the side for Kyungin hanging around, but a little bit split away from the rest of their teammates.
Yeah, Team Always Incheon, our checkpoint team, has been a little quiet, so I think they've just been farming up, getting their items online for the Shoichi to try to carry the game, but yeah, again, I'm a little worried because they are playing the Shoichi comp. They're really susceptible to getting third party, especially once the Shoichi uses their cooldowns. That Ruthless, if that Ruthless is ever on cooldown, it's a lot of combat power gonna be gone from the side of Team Always Incheon.
Tejon Auto Arms still pushing their way on through, trying to find some positioning inside of Fire Station, as the only team hanging around is Busan Vespa. We can see the items on this team looking okay on the side of Fable, but can they find a lot? Good poke with the lasers from the side of One Circle. This is a pretty good area to fight as a Theo, but we'll see if he decides to ever pull the trigger with the Energy Blast Field. Busan Vespa is looking interested in fighting this, whereas Tejon Auto Arms is actually the ones to peel away from that. Are the item differences really that big right now?
Not too big,
it's okay.
but yeah, Busan Vespa has most of their items on their carries, so they have to be a little careful that they don't get hit by this Nadine diving on forward. Real Team Busan Vespa now fighting the side Team Kyungin this time, and the Haze Rockets are going to go down. Zujin are getting chunked down to about half HP. Maybe they'll look for a pull here on the cell. Not going to find anything. And they're getting slowly zoned away by this Wilson, and here comes an engage from the Mai. Zujin is going to be forced to use the blink instantly there. There comes a re-engage though from the Nadine, and they're going to be able to catch the Haze. The Mai is going to go down, and Romantic just barely able to live with his life. 1 HP, able to get out, and a minus 400 for the side Team Busan Vespa. Definitely not what you're looking for.
Really rough for this team. Not going to be able to capitalize on the rifts either, because we're pretty deep inside the red unless Romantic gets a god hyperloop on this. The furthest point, he's not going to make it. He is not going to make it with 2 seconds to go. Might have made it if he landed in that building at the top right side, but even then it was close. Very nice attempt from Romantic, though the bottom side of the map is pretty clear. The only team hanging around is the one inside of Factory, but they are pathing down, so that actually might cause an issue for our Nadine.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that, because it would have been a battle to the death in day 3, right?
Yeah.
Because Newrise Gangwon did end up going in, so yeah, unfortunately just not able to get there in time. Kyungin are gonna get a red box here though. You could see the little the red thing on like above the Estelle's icon at the bottom there, so that means there is going to be a blood box dropping down very shortly. We'll see if anyone does end up wanting to contest them. We do have the VLS can be used for the side team Busan Best, but to get themselves out of this sticky situation, as I think Team Overpride wanted to try to zone them away, but they will use it down here, and they will be able to get themselves into the cemetery.
Problem is, Cemetery is going to be really full of players since Factory is closing in a few moments, which means Overpride will probably be pushing their way in towards Cemetery as well. Despite the fact that there's nothing really in the zone, right? A couple of teams have been here already, but Overpride doesn't really want to take the VLS since it's a little bit risky at this point. Everybody has cleared out of the zone, but look at how many people are inside of Forest for some reason, hanging around the research center too. Oh, this Sicilla is so isolated. They have no idea, no idea. Where's the information? Busan Vespa sneaking around like a rat will be able to find themselves a meal.
Yeah, and they get some credits off that body, so they should be able to get another item for themselves. Sign Ross, unfortunately, a -200 for this team. Not what you're looking for. Insane is able to get actually engage onto one circle. If he wants to use the blink to get themselves safe, the movement speed is going to be able to get them out. And Fable going to jump on in, going to get a lot of damage onto the Mai, and the Mai is going to slowly back themselves out of there. There is the Astro Burst actually going to be invested a little early on the side of Team Rise Gangwon, and yeah, damage just being traded by both these teams, but nothing really going to come out of that.
Busan Vespa joining the fight a little bit late to the party. New Rise Gangwon still backing away. These guys are looking pretty decent on the items, but I don't know why. New Rise Gangwon always seems to be the one struggling a little bit. Logan now caught out by the Quake. The taunt should be coming in just a second. There's a double taunt coming through. The lasers are just lined up perfectly. Logan gets caught out by a White Lily of all things. Not like this, man. Riori in the blink of an eye cannot do anything to save their teammates. We'll have to just walk away, as we do have the rifts coming up in a minute, but it's too far away. Look at the credits on New Rise Gangwon. It was a blood call coming in for the Justina that is going to be denied, unfortunately. No blood happening for that team just yet.
Yeah, they'll have to get another 100 credits to get that blood sample, but yeah, huge spark grenade coming out from one circle, able to tag two, and it just sealed the deal for Team Auto Arms to win that team fight there. Team Auto Arms are good now in prime position to play for this wick line. There are going to be a couple teams that are going to come down to contest. We do have Team Overpride, Eva already sitting on that chaser, once again having the Alpha and Omega buff every single time. We always see them have it here, especially on a team like Team Overpride with that Eva. That Eva is going to hurt with that extra, damage from that double buff.
We know how Fight to Pawn goes, though. It's a straight line down, making it really easy for something like a Theo to land that Energy Blast Field. Very, very easy to set up post the Energy Blast Field as well. Ultimate's value is going to be absolutely massive, but we do have two teams fighting up against each other inside of gas stations. Satan will eat a grenade straight to the face, which is going to do quite a lot. Wilson pressuring Romantic a little bit. I don't know why he was just standing there for a second, but it does actually end up baiting out Bear instead. What the heck just happened? Never mind, it's not Bear, but Hyungi. Now Satan's the one caught out. How did this happen? Romantic was supposed to be the one that gets caught out, but no. Busan Vespa somehow salvages it.
It's kind of happy Pete from Romantic. He was kind of playing mind games, trying to dodge out on the Wilson pull, but the pull just never came through. And then a huge exclusive coming out for the Mai to pull Romantic to safety, because Romantic was a little too far forward. But yeah, the Mai just gonna be able to get them out, and they're gonna be able to turn the fight at this side team into the side of Team Sangnam Rocks there. So very, very well played.
Key point in this game right now, Tejan Auto Arms is the one that has Wick line, and you know what happens when one circle has Wick. We're going to play the macro game. It's going to make it very difficult for Always Ancient to most likely win out on this game, just from the looks of it right now. Fight between Busan Vespa and Songnam Rocks will begin once again. Romantic on the backside trying to stay alive as best as possible. The items on Team Songnam Rocks is looking pretty decent. Same thing for Busan Vespa, but when it comes to aggression and actually meaningful damage, it's in favor of Songnam Rocks.
Yeah, this time Romantic did end up getting punished for it, right? Did end up getting taunted by the Mai, and the auto attacks from the Nadine were just a little too much for Romantic to really deal with there. Here comes Injage again, but is going to get denied by the haste stun, and they're going to try trading some damage back into the Mai, and the Mai is going to go down first on the side of Team Busan Vespa, and a great exclusive to keep themselves just healthy enough to keep themselves alive. Great pull out coming out from the Sella, and a huge link on board. Actually, he is going to get actually caught out by the third party on the top side. And on the other side, the Mai did end up jumping on forward, and Sangnam Rocks is going to lose a couple members as well. Busan Vespa and Sangnam Rocks both down to the last member there. I don't think I'm surprised that Maya went back in to try to. I mean, I saw the angle to deny the res, but the sniper skill was already there from Auto Arms, so they should have recognized that a third party was gonna be taking place there.
This is the strategy for Team Tej and Auto Arms. They're making sure that the flank is completely covered. Nobody is going to be within the range of possibility of even stepping foot into school without Team Tej and Auto Arms knowing. They're going to push slowly into Fire Station, make sure that starting from the left side, no one is going to be threatening this team whatsoever. But from there, it's all going to be about finding Always Incheon. Where is this team? We need to make sure that our checkpoint team is not the one that's going to have the freest zone in the universe, which shouldn't happen right now with Tej and Auto Arms in sole control over one of our temporary zones right now. Can these teams find them? Can they find the team in checkpoint?
Yeah, San just able to roam free here. I think these teams recognizing that maybe we should keep, you know, some more teams alive, and also just don't want to really send it onto a Sicela just because there might be a lot of other teams in the zones. There's still 7 teams going into day 5 or night 5 here. It's not looking good for Team Always Incheon, as I think these teams are going to slowly start to try to hunt for this checkpoint team to deny them from getting that checkpoint breakpoint.
Yeah, but Always Incheon is also playing the map game. Look at this. They're actually maintaining control as the sole team inside a pond right now. There is no way teams inside a fire station can walk inside a pond without knowing, letting Always Incheon know about this.
That is true, so it's definitely good for Always Incheon, but we have seen what has happened in the past when Always Incheon gets a free zone on checkpoint breakpoint. All these teams might just VLS over because they just need to shut down this team if they want to continue the series here. But you are correct. Look at these teams. All these teams are still just staying in the top side here. None of these teams are actually going to walk down or use the VLS system just yet, as Always Incheon is just completely zoning off any of these teams to come down and maybe contest them in the cemetery zone here.
Expect to see VLSs being placed down in about a minute starting from now. The no point of return.
The problem is these teams, the bottom teams here in Pond don't know where Always Incheon is. It's a gamble. It's a 50-50 if they think they're on the top or the bottom side here.
Tej and Auto Arms also have control over the CCTV, so they see the shenanigans happening on the south side. They know Fire Station is a little bit of a hazard, that there's a few teams around, but it doesn't change the fact that these guys also have no idea where Team Always Incheon is. Satan is going to start moving their way down towards Cemetery, but he's just a solo. If it's just Satan sitting around this area, it can be really difficult for this player to make it through. 1 second left on their timer with a miss onto the Wilson as well. Busan Best Ball also left by their lonesome. This is going to get rough because if Jinhao somehow baits everybody from Team Uri's Kangwon up top, this is going to look a little bit finicky. Is anybody going to put down the VLS? Because you need to stop Team Always Incheon. This could be the first time we see politics not being a factor in this game. Satan's out too.
The zone. Yeah, checkpoint team getting the zone completely for free is unheard of here. Because I don't think these teams know. These teams do not know where Team Always Incheon is.
With the amount of pressure, there's no way you're going to have free time to put down a VLS either. Somebody has to stop Always Incheon, but everybody is so busy fighting each other that they're not going to have time for this. 17 seconds to go. You need about 5 seconds to charge up the VLS. A little bit of time flying up into the air and then fly over to the zone. Nobody's putting down the VLS. We're going to see Always Incheon go into the final zone unless one team is going to do it. They're going to stay in the zone too. No! Always Incheon could theoretically ended in game number 5, one of our shortest series of Eternal Return Masters. Massive macro mistake from all of the teams combined, but let's see which team is the one to fight it out up against that team in our final zone of Pond. Jinhao is sitting here, but he is just by himself. 5 seconds until the Mai is going to die, so this is going to be the easiest temporary zone of Always Incheon's life.
Look at how strong Luminal is. Luminal is 2 bloods here, so this is looking pretty good for the side of Team Always Incheon here, depending on who ends up winning the zone.
Oh god.
It looks like the damage is going to be done, and Cinema might get taken down, but the third party is going to be here. Auto Arms, I think, is going to get caught by so many teams in the zone, and it's going to be Auto Arms going to go down for the count. Overpride is still alive here. This opens the door for Team Always Incheon, as Auto Arms is one of the stronger teams.
There's no Mai's left in this game that can single-handedly tank the Shuichi anymore. Overpride Mai is 2 items down. The Estelle on the side of Team Gyeonggi Innate is looking pretty good. Bear is going to go down too. Timer's looking pretty bad for Storm Chaser. He's going to go down. But we have no Mai's left other than Kyungkwei. This is not good. The shield from Estelle is not going to save a squishy character.
Are we gonna get a 5-game series? That would be crazy here. Always in Chun, about to make history once again. Young Yenates, they're gonna have to be the ones to stop Team Always in Chun here. The politics just wasn't here for this game. I think everyone was just kind of doing their own thing, kind of forgot about Team Always in Chun, didn't really recognize or scout out the zone before holding down the fire station there, as every other team was just there in fire station, and no team went down to contest them in cemetery. And
Centipede,
no,
you are
here.
disgusting. Oh no, it's not going to be a simple catch out as we would expect. Ingu, unfortunately, did end up sending out the Soul Stealer. The Spring Trap doesn't land on you or anything. The pullback is going to whiff out as well. A great opportunity taken from Always Inchan. Exactly. Ingu going a little bit too far forward will be able to maintain a lot of their health bar thanks to the shield. This Chronosphere will also come down. Centipede up in the front side will actually get denied. Oh my god, the Wilson! The Wilson! Nice response from Zerojin. He still has everything in his arms. The bullseye, that's a crossbow. Centipede, please, please.
You have to be a little careful, and I think
Chronosphere is going to start moving.
They want to full reset because they need their cooldowns to come back up, and
that's a lot of safety gadgets.
The Chronosphere is going to move into them here. Zerojin is going to look for some damage. Centipede getting chunked down once again.
Another whip.
Trying to look for the Spring Trap. Not
There's the
going to find anything.
Just reset.
The Nadine, they're just going to try to full reset here, but I think Centipede is going to get caught.
The backside.
Lumina looks for an angle in. He does it. Getting one. It's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. They have to look for this Acela here.
Do they have the damage for it?
I think they could look. No, the damage from this Acela is way too much. Wait a second, there's the heart, there's the engage. Is it enough? Is Acela gonna go down? No, the bike gets pulled back. And Yogi and Nate are gonna come out on top in this game. It looked so good. Centipede just getting poked down, and Always in Chun aren't gonna do it. Young Giene come out on top with 26.5 points. Such a solid performance from them.
As the rest of the lobby celebrates, Kyunggi in 8th will be able to knock out our first place team for game number 5, bringing us to a game number 6, somehow stopping the rampage of Always Incheon. The entire lobby mistaking the macro play, all made up by Kyunggi in 8. What an amazing play. Jinho stood his ground, ruthless right on top of him, but he kept pumping out the autos. Just barely enough HP to stay alive. One more dash would have done it, but he landed a crit on his final attack, which makes sense because he's on 100%, and that was enough to kill the Shuichi before the Nadine went down. Now, it was traded, but because it wasn't the Shuichi that ended up killing the Nadine, Cecilia was able to get away from the Mai for the time being, which actually bought too much time for the trade. What an insane fight towards the end there. Kyunggi and 8 running their classic Nadine and the Estelle combination. This is the reason why I was actually a little bit confident in Kyunggi and 8. These guys love these two characters. Was able to hold down the fort and allow for a game 6 to happen. What an amazing fight from that team.
Yeah, and you have to feel for Team Always Incheon there. They had the opportunity. It was just in their grasp, but unfortunately not able to secure that win. Yeah, Centipede just getting down, I think, a little too early in that team fight. I think at the very end as well, used the Spring Trap to try to kill the body. But I think if they just ended up trying to maybe hit this Acela to maybe turn that 2v2, maybe it could have actually turned into their favor. Just a little unfortunate. Didn't really go their way. And yeah, it is going to be the side of Team Youngin, the one to come out on top there.
Really brutal. I thought we were going to be able to see a repeat of what we saw in game number 2, but it just was not the case. Really brutal for Team Always Incheon, as you said. But with that, everybody's drops in chat are saved. We get an extra game, which means an extra about 30 to 40 minutes of the stream that is going to be continuing on. Let's see what the results are looking like after that game, because who was it a doozy?
Yeah, that's so unfortunate, right? The Mai ult was forced to, or was forced to be used early because Centipede didn't have been caught. Yeah. So it's not going to be there for the Shoichi, right? The Shoichi, if the Mai ult was there, Shoichi gets to kill. Mai pulls her Shoichi back. They full reset, and it's just an easy win. But yeah, just not going to go their way this time. Always Incheon still going to be in checkpoint, but joining them, it's going to be the side of Team Auto Arms this time.
Imagine if Team Always Incheon was able to get in from game number 3. They would have actually had 2 safety net of games in order to be able to maybe win it out on the end. But now it's not safe anymore. Always Incheon is not the only team in Checkpoint. Daejeon Auto Arms will join them alongside in that format. The only thing is that I'm noticing right now too is despite that game and series winning victory, Gyeonggi Innate is tied for 6th. It's 41 points. That is how rough of a series this team has been having. So that fight is like
that. Yeah. That game is going to turn around their fates here because they were deep down in 8th place. And winning out that game got them so many points, 41. They only need about 24 more points. If they have another pop-off game like that, they definitely should be in that checkpoint break point as well. But yeah, I don't think there's too many other teams that are, too close. Overpride needing 12 points. It's not too bad of a game. I think they could definitely get that. But I think with how the series is going so far, it's just Team Always Incheon and Auto Arms show.
This could set up to be the magnum opus for Gyeonggi Innate because we know how good of a composition and a team, Team Gyeonggi Innate is as well. They have the possibility of running something similar to this, save for the Nadim because she was also picked out a decent amount of times before. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. There's going to have to be a lot of change-up for these teams. Do expect Estelle's to come in a little bit more than what we would expect because we know Always Incheon runs the Shoichi composition with the Estelle. We know that, FN's, well, not FN Sejong, but we know that Gyeonggi Innate was running the Estelle. Ingu's probably going to go back onto that unless they're going to completely change up their composition. We also know that, Daejeon Auto Arms can also play the Estelle because Cinema is on their roster. Estelle players are plentiful in this lobby. Expected to get banned for game number 7 if that even ever comes to fruition.
Yeah, but this kind of sucks for the side team Always Incheon, right? Because the Mai was just doing so much work, right, for the side team Always Incheon. Having that exclusive, the damage coming out from the Mai. We saw the Mai Lenny combo together. It's just really good, but now the Mai is off the table. I wonder if Team Always Incheon is still gonna stick with this Shoichi Lenny, and maybe they play and they substitute with another tank, or if they're just gonna swap entirely.
I think they should still stick with the same composition identity at the very least. Xenophine, you can definitely tell, is still in form. A couple of Springtrap misses, but I think that was just Gyeonggi Innate playing extremely well with their positioning, just baiting out the Lenny every now and then, alongside the Cecilia just being in really good position to punish the Lenny because he knows that kind of play is going to come through. On the flip side, the other characters that we've seen Luminal play in the past, if we decide to change up the entire roster, is things like the Theo, things like the Zahir. But we haven't seen that great of performances on those two characters other than the Theo. But the caveat with that is you need Blaster in there with both the Tazia and the Theo for the double DPS alongside Xenophine. We don't have that right now, so I think we need to still stick on the Shoichi.
Yeah, I think if we do go to that, break, we most likely, I think we will probably see Blaster coming in just because MI is going to be banned for 2 more games even after the break. So, yeah, maybe if we do go to a game 8 or 9, I think we probably will see Luminal coming back in. But as it stands, once the Mai is off the table, it's going to be a little hard, for them to, utilize this Shoichi Lenny type of team comp.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. Definitely not a prediction by any means, but it could be the funniest thing in the world. What if Team Always Incheon just says screw it and puts Xenophine on the Abigail?
Ooh, I kind of like that. Maybe,
we have seen it in the past.
Yeah, but who would their third be? Like, okay. What are they gonna pair the last pick for that team? It is gonna be that Lenny gonna be locked in here. What are we gonna see? I think are we just gonna see the Estelle? I think the Estelle might be the most standard here to give Shoichi that extra durability he needs when jumping in. Oh,
I don't know about this one. Lennox is okay. It can actually really synergize well with the Lenny. But I think Lennox's value in terms of somehow trying to find some of these openings and maintain that opening is a little bit low. So we are going to see Luminal going over onto the Theo. I'm not in agreement with this, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's just looking at the history of Theo for Luminal without having Blaster into the composition at the same time.
Yeah.
But it is the decision this team will go for.
I don't really like I don't really like Theo Letty together. I think I feel like there's a lot less damage on this team, especially since they have the Lennox as well in the front line. They could just easily get caught out, right? Lennox is one of those tanks that's not really gonna have any mobility, And it's going to be really hard for this team to plan on close out the series. And look at the rosters and the deep comps we have on the left side. It's going to be 4 teams that are going to be playing it, except it's going to be an EVA on Team Overpride. We got the Suwa, Kadia, and the Celine's coming in. I think all of these teams recognizing we need to win this game. So we're going to play, the team comp that can win the game and shut down these other checkpoint teams from winning. But Team Auto Arms is going to be playing it as well. So I think that's 5 Kadias.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also have 4 Suas as well.
4 Suas.
Hey, did you guys miss bans from yesterday? Well, here's all of them.
Yeah. 3 Selines or 2 Selines? 2 Selines, I think.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, we have a Haze and a Eva instead. So we're gonna have a lot of bans coming in. Kadia gonna be off the table until round 9, and Sua gonna be off the table until round 8.
Assuming we even get there.
Assuming we get there, that is true. Because it could definitely end on this game here, and this is actually kind of perfect for Team Auto Arms because there's another team playing their team comp, so it could kind of disguise which team is actually low.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was talking about earlier with Team Always Incheon, right? You see the Shoichi, you know for sure that that's going to be Always Incheon, which is typically not the greatest thing when you're playing in Eternal Return Masters, because even if game number 5 wasn't a great example of it, this region is really well known for making sure that the single team in checkpoint does not have it easy, right? We usually see all the VLSs going over to the zone that they're contesting. For some reason, and it's the reason why it was a surprise for us, nobody did that in game number 5. It's a little bit harder to do that, to single out a specific team if there's 2 teams playing the exact same thing. So you're completely right. I think this is really smart for Pigeon Auto Arms and really nice for them as well. Romantic will be able to find a kill over onto Kyunggi Innate, but he gets immediately found out right after by the rest of the team. Revenge kill over on the side of Kyunggi Innate. Overall, a 1-for-1 down on the east side of the map. There we go.
Not too bad for these teams because they still need those points to get into that checkpoint breakpoint. Right, Busan Vespa and Kyunggi Innate not there just yet. Sinji Esports are still also going to be playing their bread and butter type of team with that Yan, Jackie, and Nia. We're going to have to see if it still ends up working out for them here. Auto Arms are going to be able to find a pick, and they're going to TP down into Uptown to maybe look for the Wolves. But unfortunately, looks like it is going to be already farmed by the rest of the lobby.
35 seconds. Because of how many new picks are in this lobby right now, a lot of teams have no idea where everyone else is. It's the reason why, in consideration of what we've seen so far in this series, where we see a lot of teams actually group up pretty early on to find team fights instead of these individual picks. This time, it's completely different because of the new environment all of our players are being put under. Nobody has any idea what's going on right now. It's all a new look for them. These picks all over the place, it's exactly the kind of thing you would see when these kind of environments start coming through. Curry's probably going to be the next victim of it, as in a blitz, still level 1, it's not going to find its target. There's the ballistic advantage. Do they find the last one? They do! A break over on the Songnam Rocks, right at the edge of the hitbox. Nicely done.
Great sniper shot there, and yeah, that last shot is gonna have that executioner damage, so Sonamok's gonna be taking a little time out there as they all end up falling, and they're gonna try looking for some farm, but unfortunately at this level of play most of the farm is all just gonna be gone, as these teams are gonna be able to get to these zones and get to that night 1 rotation.
Songnam Rocks, Curry stuck in the middle of nowhere. Songnam Rocks is not having it at all, but Luminol is actually the one that CNJ Esports decide to jump onto. Nice spark nade, he gets out. Tetragon invested too. Luminol just toying with the mind of KZW.
Yeah, we're already gonna get tagged by a couple shots from this sniper skill, and there is gonna be Cinema in the fray. They're gonna try looking for Riori. Does end up hitting the Don Quixote, getting that knock up as well, and Cinema is gonna be able to find that kill. But wait a second, it's gonna be traded back by the auto attacks from the Kadia, but the ultimate from the Charlotte isn't gonna be there in time, and that is going to be Team New Rise gonna get broken as well. As Auto Arms, great start from them as they pick up another 3 kills, and always Incheon on top side getting a break too, getting a couple kills for himself as well. So both of our checkpoint teams doing pretty well in the early game.
Unfortunately, too much invested from CNJ Esports onto Luminol, right? Will end up losing out on all of their members. Split across pretty evenly throughout the map. Will end up getting the pro game, but this does, again, as I mentioned before, right? This is something that all of you guys should also think about if you're playing in solo queue or something like that. Take a look at the satellite radar. If you die around the time you do have objectives coming up, it might actually give you a free objective, or at least allow you to have an idea of what the map situation looks like. Zero Jin gonna get poked out a little bit by Storm Chaser, but as day 2 starts, we will also get the day vision advantage. The one good thing about Eva, you can do something like this. Look at her just use the telekinesis. We'll be able to grab the Tree of Life. Kyungki realizes it too late and will lose out on more health bars as triple in the Blitz will tag. Gino, it's the last shot. It's level 1 for the in the Blitz. Not enough damage to knock out the Kadia just yet.
A lot of AoE damage from Overpride, but it's not going to be enough to take any of those members out. They do get the Tree of Life though, so still feeling pretty good about that for the side team Overpride. I do think another reason why all these teams are flopping to this team comp is if they do deny this game from like Team Auto Arms, they're not gonna have this team comp going forward, right? As all these characters are going to be banned out for the next couple of games.
Indeed. Yeah, Fable, you're not getting away from this. It might seem like overkill, but realistically speaking, the only thing that allows them to catch up to the Kadia is the Nia's game route. Really good pick, and a great bait from KCW. Double in the Blitz is going to land over onto Jinawar and Romatic. A ballistic advantage, one's going to miss, two's going to miss, and the last one, of course, is going to miss. Zero Jin looking for something as Romatic dodging out on a couple of things. The shotgun is a little bit of a cheat, as we will see the Kadia falling down. Riori also getting picked off on the north side of the map. Always Jin will be able to find that one easily by themselves. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of picks. These teams are desperate for credits at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they need points. They need to get to that checkpoint breakpoint, right? It's only Team Auto Arms and Team Always Chen that have such a big lead over the rest of the lobby. We'll have to see if they can close out the series here. Buy-ins coming in for the side of Team Always Chen. Those 4 scores are going to be there, and it is going to be that Holy Orders. And most likely going to be another 4 score going to be bought from this Lennox. Probably going to be that Sports Watch or Trillion Timepiece for that Theodore as well. And yes, it is.
Yep. Sinji Esports still making their way around. Fable will be able to get themselves a meteorite thanks to the work of the Sua around. Map is really evenly distributed. Look at this, and I like the way that these zones that are closing are situated as well. It actually creates a lot of ways that teams can still maneuver around the map despite these zones closing. But with 10 seconds to go, I see a couple people deep in yellow right now. What is with Tejan Auto Arms? They're gonna hyperloop out in a couple seconds. There we go, inside a factory. Should be the Rift. I think I see a Rift in there. Celine's gonna take it. Yep, there we go. We will have Tejan Auto Arms duking it out in there. Alpha now being taken by Team Overpride. A couple of other teams inside Chapel, but no one's contesting for this, interestingly enough. Huh.
They are going to be able to get that mithril for themselves and getting that buff. And oh, Zero Jin running straight into the hands of Team Busan Vespa. Great patience from Team Busan Vespa. I think seeing the ping on the bottom side of Warehouse and just sitting in that bush. We do have a team fight though between Team Sanctum Rocks and CG Esports. Can CG Esports find something? Chase something for England. Isn't going to be able to find anything though. As a great response with a huge Neo's game world, they is going to be able to get 2. And they're going to get so much damage, but the ultimate from the heart, the Peacemaker, all 3 members are still going to be alive. That's the power of the heart in this triple backline. You get caught, but it doesn't even matter because, yeah, the Peacemaker just going to be able to keep all your members up.
Kangi living on life support inside of that Dimensional Rift as well. Riori trying his best to run away because Insane is getting ran down. Uri's Kangwon in trouble. If Charlotte goes down, it's all on Riori to stay alive. Bear is on the chase. There is no speed gates left, but chasing down the Justina is still a little bit difficult, even for a Sua.
Yeah, so Riori is going to be able to get themselves to safety. And, you know, if I was a team not a checkpoint, I probably wouldn't look to try to wipe your, you know, allies, quote unquote, because you need, you know, some of these other teams to help you stop these other teams that are in that checkpoint breakpoint.
Yeah. The only thing is, are you really thinking that far ahead as teams who aren't in checkpoint right now, right? We might be kind of setting up all of these storylines, but for these players, they're playing for themselves, right? We have to think about what their point situations are looking like too. As Nia's game road is not going to be enough to save KCW, unfortunately, Pixu will also have to run away. It's the exact same team they fought inside of the Dimensional Rift, but this time stronger than they fought inside there as well. A little bit too split on the attention means it's not going to be so easy for CNG Esports to knock down anybody from Sanctum Rocks.
Yeah, I think one thing to keep in mind as well is this is not like the ERM finals, right? Because the ERM finals, that everyone's playing for that trophy, but in here, people are just playing for circuit points to try to get you know, to the ERM finals, and yeah, just getting a couple more points, a couple more placement is kind of all these teams are, you know, sort of looking for, right? If they're not in position to, you know, take take home the series.
Great decision there from Bobo to hang out inside of the red just before going into school, even at the cost of some of their timer, because they wanted to use the satellite radar from some of their teammates coming back alive to know for sure that school was a
that's
safe
pretty
zone to go
good.
back into. A Gamma Key card being picked up by Team New Rise Kangwon, this should definitely catch them back up a little bit more than we have seen them in the past couple of games.
Yeah, because they are, I think, slightly behind the rest of the lobby as well. But getting this Gamma Key card is going to definitely accelerate their game here, as they are going to get a couple more items and get that extra attack skill for themselves and some extra credits as well. So definitely going to be nice for the side team New Rise Gangwon there. As Team Over Pride is going to get caught in the middle between a couple of teams, but yeah, Team CJ Sports knows there's another team in the fray because of that vision plan, and they're not going to send it because don't want to be in that third party scenario. And CG Sports is also just on the weaker end. They only have 4 items to their name. I think they're going to get caught here by Saturn. Is the ball going to come through?
Okay.
Oh no, wait, Saturn is going to jump on forward. The Round 6 is going to be there, but a blink on forward from
nice
Fury is just going to chunk down the Yana. Yana's going to go down for the count. I think Bobo is going to get caught here by the Bernice, and that's going to be a -400 for the side of Team CJ Sports. Ooh. Xu almost getting caught as well. The Jackie, I think, should be able to escape. Bobo should go down here. Good sidestep coming out from Hyungi on the Bernice, and a couple more auto attacks, I think, should secure this Nia kill. And if anything, San's going to be there to finish the job as well on a -400. But third party's going to be here. Ignite, they're triangulating. The side of Team CG Sports are going to have to try to get themselves out of there. Great double. Odyssey is going to be able to lock down the Jackie, and that is going to be it. CNJ Sports again in 8th place. Their fate is not going to be in their hands.
That's really unfortunate. 53 points is where they're going to be sitting, 12 points away from checkpoint, despite having 2 teams already sitting in there. One of our 2 teams, 2 of our 7 teams still remaining in this lobby as well, making it really rough for CNG Esports.
It's about the same time as well, right? Going out in 8th place. And now they just have to hope that the rest of the lobby can stop Team Auto Arms and Team Always Incheon from winning out this game.
They died 3 times to the exact same team over and over again. I don't know how it happened, but Songnam Rocks constantly sniffed out the entirety of CNJ Esports. Once you lose the first fight, of course, the ones afterwards are going to be even harder. Loken just tanking the laser. What the hell was that? With the Charlotte power in hand, O3CU just gets obliterated.
Oh, and he's dead.
Storm Chaser will get marked out by the end of Blitz. Down with the snipe. Nicely done from Loken. I think it might have been enough with the Ghost Light, but you know what? Hey, we take that. Secure the kill.
Yeah. Might as well just throw your ult in there to, finish and make sure that the Evo will not be getting back up there. So very nicely played by the side of Team New Rise. Just able to just full send it there. And yeah, they just trade out on the Kadia. The Suo is forced to back away. And just the amount of range that this Kadia has with the sniper skills. And the Inna Blitz just able to secure the Eva here. And Fable. Great reaction coming out from the side of Team Auto Arms. Fable just able to use the shift to get themselves to safety, but the shift not going to be on cooldown now. So that's definitely something that Team Busan Vespa can utilize to your advantage for this team fight.
I know for sure that if that was me on the Celine, I would have instantly blinked in and blast waved, man. I love just doing that play all the time, even if it doesn't work. I just love doing it because it's such a fun way to start some of these initiations. But with that, Busan Vespa unfortunately loses out on positioning because even with the item advantage for the most part, I guess Honzer just doesn't feel comfortable enough duking it out up against One Circle for rightful reasons as well. There's another objective on the south side. One Circle Celine, also another disgusting pick, well known within the Korean community. Just rough. Those single bombs being placed down, you lose positioning over time. By a certain point, you just can't recover from it. So good stuff on Team Pigeon Auto Arms to win out on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Team Auto Arms just slowly making space, right? You see it time and time again. These backline teams just slowly start to just create space and just push the enemy away, right? The Celine bombs, I think, were in favor of One Circle, and they're able to just push them off the meteorite. So very nicely played by Auto Arms. They do get that Blood buy-in as well, so they're going to be sitting in a pretty comfortable spot. Fable sitting on that Blood Ripper should be able to outtrade these Kadias. But the problem is there is that Chloe, or not Chloe, but that Charlotte on the other side to keep the members of Team New Rise topped up.
Positioning is still in favor of New Rise Gangwon. I think this team was able to get the CCTV and is able to consistently refresh it thanks to the work of the Kadia. One Circle and Fable trying to rotate back and forth between who is pushing forward as much as possible. Ryori has no say in this fight whatsoever either. Justina lasers are fantastic, but it's not enough to be able to outrange the single bombs. And even if they're single bombs, it is a full item Celine. You have to be careful around this, which is why New Rise Gangwon is being a little bit careful, but they're going to full send it. Blink out from One Circle. It's going to be the Soul Stealer activated for Tejan Auto Arms to immediately get the heck on out of there. Ballistic advantage out, but positioning-wise, it is still in favor of New Rise Gangwon. In the Blitz will also whiff, which means for New Rise Gangwon, a lot of resources invested, but same thing for Tejan Auto Arms.
Yeah, there's a lot of cooldowns, but the Soul Stealer was used, and it is only that Soul Stealer level 1 on Natsuo, so not going to have it for the fight, but that in a Blitz, or not in a Blitz, but that Asher Barrage being down is huge for the side of Team Auto Arms, as that Justina can get caught really easily, and they're actually going to just give the Wick Line as well, because of all the cooldowns that they did end up spending and not able to convert any of those skills, and this is really big, right? Auto Arms is getting the Wick buff, getting the blood sample as well that they can either put on the Kadia or Celine. They're going to be sitting here really good with most blood. Ooh, Young Yene just barely escaping with their lives with that BLS system. They were able to charge it out a little earlier, and they do end up getting themselves out. No, straight into the hands of Team Overpride, and I think that is going to be it. Wait a second. Oh no, wait, there's another TP in it as well. It's going to be Team Sangnam Rocks coming in, and they're going to be able to kill Eva Overpride.
But there's another team.
Oh, another third party is here as well.
What the?
All right, and it's Team New Rise, and
how is Stoches alive?
Escapes. Eva escapes, and the heart goes down. Heart goes down, and now Sangnam Rock's going to be the one on the back foot here. It's so unfortunate. Third parties all around. Everyone's going to be losing credits except for the side of Team New Rise as they get a nice 3P TP on in. No.
Wow, that damage.
I'm gonna go down. Wait a second.
What? There's another third party. What the hell is happening?
And it's always Incheon. They're gonna be the one to third party. This is huge, right? Because you want your adversaries to be as weak as possible, and when they're spending credits like this is pretty bad. Always Incheon and Auto Arms in a commanding position. Just so much items over the rest of the lobby here, and these are both our checkpoint teams. The rest of the lobby has to do something about it.
Oh yeah, we've also got the Widowmaker online for the Theodore on Luminal's side, most likely with the Crimson upgrade as well, right? The lead shell is, or I should say, it's probably Dawn now that I think about it, because Magnetic Burden is better, -1 for Young Yene, that they don't have enough credits anymore. Where are we going anymore?
Right into the hands of Team Always Incheon, I think. I think Team Always Incheon should spot them out here. There's a double spark nade, and that is it. Young Yene.
It hurts.
Our team that was the one to stop checkpoint, not going to be the one to do it in this game.
It hurts. It hurts really bad. All right, well, Always Incheon has situated themselves on the north side of the map. This is day number 5, so we actually know, for the most part, what our temporary zones are going to be. Yeah, most likely, Team Daejeon Auto Arms is going to be holding from the south side of the map, making their way on up, right? This is the problem now
I think,
with teams.
They're just going to be sitting in Chapel. They have Wick Line. No team's going to want to contest them. They're going to be able to get another blood as well. Like, Team Auto Arms are in a really nice spot. This is the same spot that Team Always Incheon was in last game. And now it's going to be up to these teams to try to play into it. There's the Explosive Bola is going to be invested, and Team Sangnam Rocks are actually going to bully the team of Team Overpride off of their own box. So, very nice for the side of Team Sangnam Rocks to get that ending for themselves there.
Big problem for the lobby. Always Incheon is really strong right now. You can definitely tell looking at their items. Seraphine is sitting on 4 most likely with the upgrade on the tactical. Same thing for the Lennox as well. She is sitting on what? Is that the Soul Stealer? That has to be level 2 by now.
But this is so bad for Always Incheon because there's 3 other teams here, and if you're the only checkpoint team in this zone, everyone's going to team on you, and it gives Team Auto Arms the perfect opportunity to win this game, right? Because they have this zone down here completely uncontested, and all they have to do is win that final 3v3 that is going to be coming up very, very shortly here. We do see it. Yeah, it's going to be Chapel, Forest, and School. Always Incheon just sitting in that corner there. I think they just want to hide. They just don't want to give information on where they are. But unfortunately, all these teams are going to be playing most likely for the School zone. I don't think any team wants to contest Team Auto Arms on the bottom side.
Flip the script. It's Team Daejeon Auto Arms' game to lose at this point, because if they end up losing this, oh my god, everything has been gifted to them at this point, with Gyeonggi Innate somehow creating their own magnum opus in game number 5. A perfect situation. The exact same thing that I talked about earlier with the macro play being done perfectly from Daejeon Auto Arms on the south side of the map as well. The other checkpoint team being pressured out by 4 teams in the other zone right now. Always Incheon is still denying information as much as possible.
I do like this, that they're sitting here, then
Yeah.
maybe they just use the safety orbs and come in for a third party. Our team's gonna check it. We do have a couple teams walking up. I don't know
starting
if
to
they'll
go
check
up.
this
There's
corner.
the
Oh, they
drone.
do end up
Everybody knows.
checking it, and
Oh,
this
it's
is
not a
bad
good
because they're
call.
in the corridor into Eva here, and
Oh,
I
Jesus.
think Team Always Incheon, oh, they're actually gonna stay in the zone. I was thinking maybe they go down to try to contest Team Auto Arms to try to put the fate into their own hands,
Oh, but there's a team down here
yes,
too.
safety orbs are gonna be invested by this team, but oh wait,
Oh,
oh,
the
no,
drone, okay.
that drone and just ends up barely catching them. That's so unfortunate because they probably could have got into this this bush, and no team would have known. But now they're in the little corner here, and they're gonna have to try to hold the zone in school here. I think they just have to hold it down. All the teams are on the top side though. This is
Yeah.
a good spot for Team Always Incheon. If they can just hold the zone for maybe
Yup.
10-20 seconds, they could just use these safety orbs to get themselves out and have that extra timer.
Nobody is interested in using that VLS either because it's too long of a distance from school into chapel. You're gonna need a ton of timer and put yourself at a disadvantage. So Always Incheon, they are stuck with all of these teams sitting inside the zone. 4 other teams for this team to deal with.
Rox is leaving. Rox is leaving. Oh,
Okay,
we have
it's
another team that
quite a
wants to
long
leave.
way. That's a lot of timer invested for this team. It's going to be a heavy
Are they gonna
investment
make
for
it?
these guys. They will
Ooh,
make
just
it into
barely.
the zone. We actually have multiple teams inside of the chapel zone as well. As Hongdam Rocks ended up going in, but Daejeon Auto Arms has sole control over the temporary zone at the moment. It's a Celine. How do you push into these tight corridors?
Ooh, and I like Team Auto Arms. They're just gonna slowly back themselves on out, but I think they know they want to shut
Jesus.
down
Oh,
Team Auto Arms winning
jeez.
here. There's the hard alt, and I think someone is gonna go down here at the minimum with this hard alt here. Cinema on 1 HP. There's a third party. Cinema gonna fall, and I think Team Always Incheon is also gonna get teamed on the other side. So wait a second, they do have the Theodore alt, and they should have the timer now to work with here.
Yep,
Team Always
safety
Incheon gonna
drones.
be in a good spot. Auto Arms is gonna be able to get
Timer's being
numbers
eaten
inside
from both of
Rocks.
them.
Oh,
Some
who's gonna come
Vespa.
out?
You know they need to push back in on this. Can
They don't have
Always
time, they
Incheon
don't have
somehow
time.
find the timing?
They're
Can
looking,
they
they're
find the
looking.
timing?
They're
6
trying to look
seconds
for
left
Always
for
Incheon.
Busan Vespa. These guys are looking, but it's too late. Their
Wait,
timer's about to disappear, but they
got
get
one,
a
they got
kill.
one.
They get the kill
They
over
got
onto
one.
1. That's the pop. There's another one going down from Always Incheon. What just happened? In the blink of an eye, the entirety of Always Incheon is going to fall. Same thing for Daejeon Auto Arms. Down goes one circle,
They got
down
teamed
goes
out. Wait a
Fable.
second.
Unless, wait a
Fable?
second, Fable.
Oh.
One look. Fable! What the hell was that? Fable keeps the dream alive for Daejeon Auto Arms. Always Incheon is gone. The closest auto attack of a lifetime on the Kadia. The trajectory speed, the projectile speed is in favor of Team Daejeon Auto Arms. Everything
fought
is
that.
being gifted to them, Super.
They fought that as a duo. It was One Circle and Fable. It was a 3v2 the whole time.
Oh my god, but now they have to match up into team over pride, right? We've seen this before. Daejeon Auto Arms held onto it so well. These guys are buying items, losing precious time against team Daejeon Auto Arms. We've seen what this team is able to do with tight corridors like this down in Uptown. Are they gonna do it once again? Over pride
The
has a
item
long
disparity,
way to
though,
go
is
in.
so
Bear
big.
on 1.
Item disparity is so big. I think this is gonna be it. I think Team Auto Arms might have it here, but if Storm Chaser can get some poke damage, some meaningful poke damage, it
that's a
might
lucky
be good. But
shift.
look, they have to push into the Celine. They have to push into the
it's
Cardigan.
over.
Look at the
Goodbye.
damage.
GG's.
There's the Blitz.
It's
And the
done.
Suwa is going to jump on forward. There is
Yep.
the Odysseys, and that is going to be the Kadia going down. And it's going to be Team Auto Arms. Going to be our phase 1 winners here. I don't. Oh, and the Suwa dog kill. They
it
get
just
canceled.
rubs
That is
salt on
it.
the wound.
Good. Oh my god. Team Auto Arms just. How did they win that temporary zone? How?
I have no idea, but with that victory and the clutch of a lifetime for Fable, they will crown themselves the champions of phase number 1. Eternal Return Masters phase number 1 is over, and we have
It was a
our
straight
winners.
2v3. It was a straight 2v3. Cinnabot died. They finished the Suwa's body. It was just Fable in one circle. And yeah, they just completely 2v3'd.
Oh my god, this is what happens when you mash all the best players in the region into one. You get cinema like this. No pun intended. Cinema in the chat. everybody, for you guys in the Twitch chat. Unfortunately, YouTube, you guys don't have 7TV, so it doesn't work, but you know what I mean. What a game. What a finale for phase number 1 as well. 6 games. Definitely not our shortest set of games for ERM, but it is on average what you would normally see. Perfect timing for Daejeon Auto Arms as well. It was close. It could have been Team Always Incheon up against Daejeon Auto Arms inside of our final zone, but slight misplays. It's the stupid question marks against Super. Always Incheon didn't know. They had no idea that the timers were so low.
Yeah, I think Always Incheon had an opportunity as well, right? If they just spent more time in the red, they would have blown up the other team. And the other team hand was forced, right? They came around, tried to look for Always Incheon. They ended up getting it. And on the other side, always Auto Orbs just winning the 2v3, right? One Circle and Fable together, it's crazy. I mean, the script was there, right? Two teams, or both the teams in Checkpoint, getting 2v1 by the other two teams not in Checkpoint. But even though Auto Arms lost their Suwa, they still ended up winning that temporary zone. Like I'm just still in shock.
Good God, man. This is why every single time you and I watch Team Auto Arms, we never give up hope on these guys, right? And with One Circle joining the fray, this team has leveled up to a different dimension. It's still, I say that, but it's still, you know me, right? You know what I said before about that one phase in Season 8, the most perfect Eternal Return game I've ever seen from Auto Arms. Nothing there yet. But as a whole, this team has leveled up to the point where it is so difficult to deal with these guys. And if it wasn't for the mishap in game number 5, I think it would have been a fantastic series for Team Daejeon Auto Arms as a whole too. But on the flip side, Team Always Incheon, man, what a shame, isn't it? Had such a great set of games from games 1 and 2 and just couldn't finish it.
And the fact that it's off the backs of some of the best players in Korea, right?
Yeah.
Getting straight 2v2'd or 2v3'd by One Circle and Fable there. Just wow. Like I think it was Lokin on the other side of it. Lokin, Riori.
Yep.
And I forgot their last team member, but yeah, it was just a straight 2v3. Like just a masterclass performance coming out from the side Team Auto Arms.
Once Lumino looks back at this, he's not going to be happy knowing that he ended up losing to a match where Daejeon Auto Arms had to fight 2v3.
It's kind of sad because it is Lokin as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like Lokin obviously was the original teammate from or for Team Auto Arms, and yeah, One Circle. Yeah, kind of just showing why he kind of took his spot, I guess.
Do you see that comment in chat, by the way? I'm going to read it out loud. I know you're not meaning to start anything, but I thought it was pretty funny, so I'll say it out loud. I'm not trying to say nothing, but Fable showing Lokin why he was second string on Auto Arms is bars, man. Obviously, that's not actually the case, but goodness gracious, Sad Hands or Fable today just really creating his own Fable. Quite frankly, this guy is still insane as ever. Even if the years go on by, this guy is still at his peak. Let's see the results of everything that happened today. And for Team Daejeon Auto Arms, who take away the champions with the checkpoint format, we'll be able to maintain that first place with the victory today. But overall, Always Incheon still had more points. They will take away the first place prizing when it comes to points alone, but Daejeon Auto Arms will take away that first place prizing for the tournament as a whole, and that second place for the points. So congratulations once again to Daejeon Auto Arms. And man, oh man, oh man, what a run, Super. What a run, what a run.
Yeah, and a great showing for the side team Always Incheon, getting that second place prizing. And look at the difference between our top two teams here and the rest of the lobby.
Yeah.
20 to 30 point difference between first and second and third place. It's just, yeah, I mean, it was just a Team Auto Arms and Team Always Incheon show for today.
How do you say anything other than absolute cinema? Everybody in the chat, once again, thank you so much for joining us here today. I do want to keep up the stream as long as possible for the, the circuit points to show up, but the Korean side is doing the interview with Team Daejeon Auto Arms. This is definitely going to last a while. I'm pretty sure the casters and the host over on the KR side of things have a lot of things to ask them. So I think with that, we're going to round out the stream for here. But of course, before we go, We still have one more thing that we have to show on stream. There you go. The off-air coupon for today, 11/16. The date for today, AJXIR. So write that in the chat. If you guys need a reminder, just type it in there. We'll keep it up until the stream ends. Super, anything that you want to say about Phase 1 as a whole? I know I have a ton of things to say, but I'm going to try to truncate it down as much as possible.
It was some great tournament return. I loved the finals because just so many teams swapping over to meta team comp or meta picks. We saw so many bans coming out that we were missing throughout the whole phase, right? We saw at the very end this I think 6 Mai's, and then on the next game, 4 to 5 Kadias with the Suas backing them up as well. It's just some great eternal return, and then that final 2v3. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen such a dominant performance coming up from Team Oddworms.
Yeah, we got a really good taste of what the season is going to be like. A lot of new teams, a lot of roster swaps as well, a lot of player swaps between each of the rosters too. I think Phase 1 was a really great representation of what is to come, right? And this only makes me more excited about Phase number 2 because we have to think about this now. Once Phase 2 pops, Layer is going to be available for ERM. So that is where a lot of these competitive changes might come into play, especially with the fact that even with just this week alone, we have 9.3 nerfing a lot of the characters that were heavily prioritized in week 2 of ERM Phase 1, right?
Yeah.
So things like the Kadia nerfed, Mai nerfed. I think Justina was tagged a little bit as well.
Justina got nerfed. I think Justina got pretty hard as well.
Everything that was good in Phase number 1 is getting hit, even just on the first patch out of ERM. So in Phase number 2, you can definitely expect to see a lot of these characters neutered down probably even further, even if the statistics really don't show it, because you see how good they are in competitive rotations like this.
Yeah, I think for Phase 2, we'll definitely see a completely new metagame. It's one of the reasons why, I do like the competitive side, and I do think Nimble Duran does a pretty good job in terms of kind of rotating the characters and which characters are kind of strong, right? So I think they kind of adjust accordingly, and all these top teams have to kind of adjust their team comp on the fly on what they think is the best team comp for a tournament like the ERM Masters, where you can play the best picks whenever they are available.
Exactly. Guys, that was an amazing set of games we've had over the past 2 weeks. Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this journey. We will have ERM for Phase number 2 coming around. I actually don't think I have the graphic for that. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, we have about a month break in between. Let me see if I can find the goodbye screen. There we go. I actually do have it. So let me swap over onto that real quick for you guys. It's going to be on December 26th. So this is a little bit weird, right? Because that's like Christmas weekend. So I know there were some posts going around on the KR, on the Eternal Return website posting about this. But just know that Group Stage AB, so we're going to be starting way at the beginning of what we did in Phase 1. Basically the same thing, just doing it another time with different teams, right? I'm going to start on the 26th of Friday of December, so make sure you guys are there on time. For us, it'll be on Thursday, right on the western side of things. It'll be Thursday, or I guess it's Friday morning. No, they're starting earlier. Oh shoot, that is Thursday for us, like in the evening.
Oh yeah,
because there's a No, that's UTC. That's not KST. Hold on a second. UTC is like 6 hour different.
Oh,
it's the same time. It's the same
time. Just Friday. It's just Friday. Yeah, Friday at 5 a.m. Yeah.
Stupid US UTC thing, man. They never give it to us in like Eastern time or anything, so we have to convert it on their own. But
I mean, I guess maybe they think not too many Eastern time people will still be awake. So I think UTC, I guess, is the middle ground between all of the time zones, right? So It like sort of makes sense.
Yep. Put it on the calendar. Check the website as well, because the dates are going to be posted, as well as any posts regarding ERM for Phase number 2. That's all going to be on the website, so make sure you guys are checking that consistently when it comes to Phase number 2. Other than that, though, any additional events coming up will be in line with ERCS.
Yes, yeah.
Indeed. That is going to be today as well, the Omega Block semifinals. And yes, I will be playing. Don't expect good stuff, but it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time.
Everyone going cheer Shubian. He's you know, we haven't really seen Shubi come back into the competitive scene in quite a while. So yeah,
The last time I was
come
in,
out.
I didn't play at all because I was a substitute for the Caniacs, but this time I actually am going to be a main roster player. It's going to be a fun time. We have it right here on the Eternal Return game channel on Twitch, Eternal Return over on the YouTube side of things. It'll be in 12 hours and 20 minutes from now. That's when the stream is going to start, or at least the games will start, so make sure you guys are here on time if you're interested in watching North American games. And I know, again, the YouTube side had a little bit of issues with the Alpha Block stream today, but I'm going to try my best to let Nimodron know, hey, you got to get that YouTube stream going too for you guys.
Yeah, 7 p.m. EST will be the time for ERCS if you guys are interested. It will be the semifinals, and next week we will have the LCQ and the finals as well if you guys are interested in that. So yeah, make sure you guys come around this week and next week for some more Eternal Return, competitive Eternal Return if you guys are interested in that.
I think that's going to be it from us, Super. We had a lot of fun today. I've got to go do some chaos runs on a certain different game as well. I've been typing in chat about it before I go to sleep. But for you guys in the chat, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys next time on Eternal Return Masters 4 Phase number 2. We'll see you guys over in the late portions of December. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sundays today and a wonderful rest of your November and the early portions of December as well. We'll be back in time for Christmas. So thank you so much for joining us. We are going to call it a night today. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night.
Take care. Take care, guys.
Bye.